that we've had throughout the week. It rained pretty much Wednesday and Thursday and a bit of yesterday. Yep. This ground has really come up very well.
Now, we'll get the best of the old girl this time of year. You're sort of early to late May. And once they start playing school footy and all sorts of things on this, of course, there's junior footy that's played here as well. And come the middle of August, all cut up through the middle like the MCG in the mid to late 70s. So we'll get a nice track out there for the boys to run around on this afternoon. Davis Harrigan, you're joining us on the A1 Airport parking warm-up as well. A nice sort of local game for yourself out here in the lovely suburb of Manningham.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen Templestowe since the finals of 2014, so it's really good to see the purple men out on the field today. As we were mentioning earlier, obviously the defensive work of both teams is going to be absolutely crucial. But then again, football's a funny game, isn't it, Paul? Despite the stats, it can go any way on any given day, and on any given day, any team can win. I spoke to Blackburn coach Con Caravarius a few weeks ago when they played Noble Park, and he said the same thing. So I've stolen his thunder, but the same principle applies. On any given day, whoever's the stronger team out there is actually going to win.
Oh, absolutely right. And these two sides, I look at Templestowe and you look at things like star power, and both sides certainly have that. We'll start with the Dockers and the kid Tulevski. Well, his record goes without saying in the Eastern Football League, and of course in the Yarra Valley Mountain District competition as well. Anthony Soriano, Danny Jackson, they're both boys with VFL experience at Port Melbourne. Matty Bain, he's a star. Danny Pearce was one of the unluckiest players on an AFL list for quite some time. Couldn't quite crack into a good Western Bulldogs lineup.
That's right.
Alex Brown spent some time with Port Melbourne. Before that, on the list at the Sydney Swans. The Mariani boys, we know what they're like as well. Dave DiStefano came from Lowell Plenty. He was playing super first 22 footy there. Adam Prestigiacomo, who's been doing the job in this competition for quite some time. So there's the star power from an Upper Ferntree Gully point, from a Tempe point of view. The Kings, Brenton Toole, he's a young star. Dean Grice, he's won league best and fairest more times than I've had a hot meal. Geordie Whiteman's a great up-and-coming centre forward. And Brad Keller has kicked goals for Croydon and Norwood in Division 1 of the Eastern Football League. So we're seeing a real locking of the horns this afternoon.
We are, Paul. And look, one of the questions I want to ask you, being a Templestowe follower and a follower
not this afternoon, I'm not.
No, but what's the difference that you feel so far between the Templestowe of 2016 and the Templestowe of 2015? Have you noticed any little...
Yeah, it's a good question. I suppose from a basic sort of on-field point of view, it's pretty obvious. The acquisition of a guy like Tulevski. Last year, Soriano flew a lone flag up forward for the Dockers, and every now and then he had the big pig Simon Grasser sit next to him in the goal square. But those guys weren't able to get the job done in the finals, and we must remember they limped into that final series as well. That acquisition at full forward is massive for them. And now that they've won these 6 or 7 games in a row, and they haven't just won them, they've pantsed every single side that they've played against. So there's the confidence, there's the belief, and we know what it's like around here in the suburb. You've been up Serpils Road, you've got houses as big as skyscrapers, everyone's got a tennis court. It's just a bloody good place to be when everything's going well.
Exactly right, Paul. And you talk about Templestowe really pantsing everybody. The closest anyone's got to them this year is Ringwood back in round 2, 57 points.
Yep, and we see that in Division 4 all the time. We saw it with Tempe in 2010. We saw it with the Basin a couple of years later, where winning margins upwards of 70, 80 points. They can be Warrandyte. They can be the norm in Division 4 when sides are far and away the best team in the division. We never see this sort of stuff in Division 3 and up. So
no.
I think Templestowe, you don't want to go too early with this sort of stuff, but this group could possibly be on the verge of something incredibly special in season 2016.
Obviously, Paul, because I haven't been on air and probably haven't had a chance to really put my predictions as far as the season, I personally feel that for me, this is the year. This is Templestowe's year. For me personally, this is it's their year. It's their year because they've been knocking on the door now for the last 2 seasons, and I think last year injuries cruelled them at a very, very vital part of the season last year and robbed them of whatever momentum they had going into a finals. And like Paul said, they limped into the finals and performed accordingly. But there's a newfound confidence in this club this year. There's a lot more. There's a lot more steel and grit, and the back line is working like a well-oiled unit, but it's being really well supported by the midfield and the on-ballers. And there isn't even though Tulevski's the focal point down at full forward, he's not the be-all.
Well, Matty Bain kicked 7 the other week, and Tulevski kicked 6. So there's other avenues down there, and there's Mariani boys and Soriano. They're guys. They're midfielders who can go. They can kick 6 or 7 a game.
And I tell you what, East Berwick could well do having those 2 Mariani boys back in their lineup. at the moment, that would probably make a hell of a difference. Paul, we were just talking about some of the class players of Upper Gully, but there's one guy, and I've always felt this, right, that he seems to be the yardstick of how well this club goes, and that's Tate Hickleton.
Yep.
The guy with the rock star name, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been there throughout the highs and lows, and there have been many games that a lot of people, and only the Upper Gully people know, that when Upper Gully haven't been playing well, he's always in their best 2 or 3. So not only does he not perform when the side's going well, but when the chips are down, he's always in there doing his bit.
Louie, you've seen a lot of games of footy, and a lot of what we do in here is about sort of gut feel and in terms of predictions. Do you feel like today is a day for the Rockstars? You know, two tough sides who are pretty good defensively. It's bloody cold out there. It might be a little bit wet later on. Is it a day that the Rockstars probably should take a back seat and let the real sort of warriors and the grunt-style footballers come out and strut their stuff?
Well, it depends, Paul. I mean, if you're coming in with all the confidence in the world and you got the old talk the talk but can walk the walk as well, it shouldn't matter what conditions that you go out there with. Like on a day like today where it's pretty damp out there. I mean, most suburban grounds now have got great facilities and drainage where the grounds really come up absolute spick and span. So, look, I mean, they don't want to get too ahead of themselves and try and do everything 100% to what you would do in a dry weather situation. You know, you've got to get your hair wet. You've got to get a little bit muddy in there. So just blend. I think they've got just to blend their natural ability, the stuff that makes them unique in a Stevie J type of way, maybe. But also ensure that they don't get too carried away with it and still do the team thing.
And it's a good point you made earlier about the Dockers Brash, that there's almost not so much an arrogance about them, there's a cocky sort of stride where they know that they're the best side in this division. Then they expect to come out and deal with sides the way they've been doing. So much so where I think that any sort of crash down to earth would be very detrimental to their playing group, which means that there's sort of an added incentive to go out there and continue doing what they're doing.
You're right, Paul. But the thing is, though, they've got a very, very good coach, right? Who's had to manage this side through a lot of ups and probably more downs than as ups. And I think part of the thing, and I reckon from what I'm seeing, I think and I've watched a couple of the Templestowe videos. Like I said, there's a very steely resolve and the guys are prepared to back each other. And you know, look, we talk about the Baldwins and the Vermonts, and we say, okay, yeah. And we sort of say, oh, look, yeah, it's all right for them to be cocky. And yet when we look at the lower divisions, we say, oh, well, they're getting too ahead of themselves. But hang on a sec. At the end of the day, success breeds success. And sometimes I don't actually mind if you go into a game a little bit over the edge, or because if you've got the performances to back it up, why shouldn't you go in with supreme confidence that you can do a job on an opposition?
Oh, exactly right. And I think what we'll see today is two sides who are probably both ready to play Division 2 footy. But I think what we'll see in Templestowe, and this is the real difference between the sides that are good in Division 3 and the sides that are great. If Templestowe were running up against a Knox today, or a Lilydale, or a side like that, even the bottom of sides in Division 1 as well, you'd almost be confident enough to back them in to get a win against even like your sort of East Ringwood sort of teams as well. Maybe even a Montrose, or even sides like that, they'd be competitive against those sides, which means that their work in Division 3 this year, I think will all be about just getting to finals and making sure that when they're there, they're primed to do what they haven't been able to do the last 2 seasons.
You'd almost think, Paul and Louie, that when you're playing... When we look at each division separately, it's almost like you've got to be playing a division higher football than the division you're actually playing.
How long did we see it with Mitcham? We saw it for 3 years with Mitcham.
Right.
And we saw it for a couple of years with Montana South as well before they went back up. So we've seen it across the division. We saw it with Warrandyte, who had to go out in straight sets in a year where they were clearly the best team in Division 4.
That's right.
And then win it again the next year. So you do have to be playing the next standard of footy to win the premiership.
And also by playing that standard of football, then you've got other players from other leagues, and don't get me wrong, there are other players from other leagues looking at Eastern Football League football, right? And they want to see sides that look like they're on the up and up, because if they're looking for a move and they get the right conditions, they're going to come.
Oh yeah, big recruits aren't going to attach themselves to a sinking ship, and that's what you can see with Templestowe. That's why they've been able to get Talevski. You think if they didn't make finals last year that they were going to be able to make a big signing like that? Absolutely no way. So it's very much a purple cloud rolling through Division 3 at the moment. Today, of course, the Upper Ferntree Gully boys, we have to speak about them as well and give them a lot more credit.
Well, the thing is, though, with Upper Gully, let's not forget, they played finals last year too. And
and they've added to that side. They lost Petrarca, who went to Ferntree Gully, rather. But to add Callagher into that side and Luke Strawn as well, they're two pretty good footballers.
Well,
and we didn't see the best of Dan Grice in blue and red last year.
No, and the fact is, not only was there was the other circumstances bar injury for Dean Grice. Lukey Strawn's basically a new recruit because I think he only played 2-3 games. He was hampered by injury last year. The addition of Callagher, I reckon he's a great pickup for experience, back or forward. He's a little bit of class.
Superstars are the ones that bob up and from that point of view, I mentioned before, a lot towards the beginning of the game. First things first.
Really exciting to be able to test ourselves against.
A mini sort of rivalry forming. The twos at the moment is hotly contested. Your boys beat Templestowe in the reserves last year. Is there sort of a bit of fire being breathed this afternoon in terms of let's get one up on these Dockers boys?
Look, I've wrapped how they've been playing so far. There's 5 under 19 kids out there.
Yep.
They're probably helping them in a way. They've got a bit more speed and skill level out there. But they're playing really well today. Really communicating well.
Of course, it's easy for us to speak about who leaves sides. Petrarca is the one that comes to mind. But the inclusion of Brad Callagher into this side, I mentioned before, he's kicked goals for Croydon and Norwood in Division 1 of the Eastern Football League. How is he slotted into a Division 3 standard of footy and your side, I suppose more specifically, what's he brought to the table from an off-field point of view as well?
Look, he's been very good. Probably been one of our best players over the first 7 rounds and playing centre-half back, really communicating well and setting up our defence. He's brought a real maturity to that group, and our defence has been very strong, and he's been a big part of that.
Chad, I've been away for a while overseas, but I've had a look at a couple of the tapes. The saying, premierships are built on defence first and foremost as the season progresses. You're ranked the number 1 defence in the moment, only conceding 38 points. You must be very, very happy with your back 6, the way they're working together. And I'm assuming that injury hasn't hit that back 6 and they've been able to gel very well as a unit.
Yeah, you're correct. We've really had a big focus over the pre-season of being strong defensively right from the forwards all the way down to the backs. We are very lucky to have a talented back 6. We have copped a couple of injuries that we've been able to replace with some kids. And they've been fantastic and they've been able to play a role there. And we get a couple back today as well.
One of the things I said to the boys, and I've been a big follower of Upper Gully over many, many years, right? And I was just saying before you come on air, I often feel that there's one player in your club that regardless of how Upper Gully are going, has always been the yardstick to how well you are performing, whether it's poorly or good, and that's Tate Hickleton. Regardless... When Ferntree Gully are playing well, he's always contributing and always in the best place. But even when Upper Gully are not going well, he's always in the best 3. What a fantastic clubman this guy is, and to have him in the playing group to support the likes of Carroll and Risley and Grice, he must be an absolute godsend for your club. Yeah,
look, he's been fantastic this year. He's really improved his fitness. Obviously, he's had problems with his shoulders. Otherwise, he'd be playing, he would have played a lot higher level, I believe. So, he bleeds red and blue for this club, and he really works his butt off. And we've been wrapped of his output this year, and he's really been a key leader and down to that forward line, but not just kicking goals, but setting them up as well.
One other player that I know personally, but he's had since he's come to Upper Gully, he's had a pretty injury-riddled time, and that hasn't allowed him to play his best football. But young Luke Strawn, I think, is starting to get with continuity of football, is now starting to show a little bit of form for you.
Yeah, well, he kicked 12 in the reserves last week, and he's with that we thought he rewarded himself to be able to come up due to a couple of injuries we've also had. He went away at the wrong time, went overseas, which really hurted his progress. He's a talent. He's just got to realise what it takes to play consistent senior footy.
Just on Luke, Chad, is he sort of like a stay-at-home forward like your Kader Telesky, or is he is he a player that needs to be on the run leading to the football, in your opinion?
The way he plays at the moment, he's a stay-at-home, but we need to get him to be a bit fitter and work harder and create that forward pressure that we need, because we can't be too top-heavy down there.
Thank you. Well, Chad, I guess a great thing this year has obviously been your defence. You are ranked number 1 in Division 3, but you are coming up against the number 1 attack in the comp, who are there mentally by a long way. Do you reckon the footy gods have smiled on you today with a bit of a grey sort of sky, a bit of rain down there, being more of a defensive game, or do you think that with the way modern grounds soak up now, it's not going to be much of a difference?
Yeah, it's a good surface out there. I think if both teams be able to move the ball well, our strength's been, it's been defence, but it's also been, we've been based on a good attack as well. We haven't kicked as many goals as they have, but, we've been able to win. A stat I heard this morning, we've been able to win 24 out of our 28 quarters.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I think it's about 25, Chad. So,
Yeah.
you're number 1 ranked for quarters on the scoreboard. And backing up what Louie says, that's an important thing, continuity. It doesn't matter whether you win the quarter by 1 point or 50 points. Mentally, it's a psyche that builds throughout as the game progresses.
Yeah, and look, they're just playing a better brand of football with more maturity. They're still a very young side. The average age of this group's probably 22. And, we've got a couple of older heads, but we understand that to build what we want, where we want to go, is defence is going to help us get that way, and then really working on attack. So, we are up against a very strong attack today, and it would be great to see how defensively we go.
I know the differential. I know you said you haven't kicked as many goals, but you've got a 60-point differential on your for and against. So that's 10 goals. So that's to averaging beat sides by an average of 10 goals. That's still really good figures for this time of the year.
Yeah, and that's the unknown, I suppose, today, is that we both haven't played each other.
Yep.
So we'll get to see if that is the difference in the game. It's 30 points.
Yep.
Is that a true difference? Is it the fact that we both haven't played the strength of the opposition and been put under pressure? That's what the beauty of today is, to really see where we're at. And if the other things don't go well, you learn from it.
As a coach, Chad, did you take much away from the loss in the final last year at Central Reserve and learn from that game in particular, things that you could implement into this season?
Yeah, look, it just probably highlighted where we were at as a club in terms of we lost some really important players throughout the year, and that got found out in the final. But it also highlighted that the boys just weren't physically ready, and I reckon were cooked.
Yep.
By that stage of the year, playing against a side that was probably the in-full team in 3rd Division. So
it seems like that last year too, Jab. Both you and both Upper Gully and Templestowe really got hit around that round 13, round 14 mark last year when both sides had very good momentum, and the loss of some of those key players just really robbed the team of any momentum going into the finals, so much so that neither side could actually play the game that you wanted them or what Rick wanted them to play throughout the final series because you were so hamstrung.
Yeah.
So I think it really does show that sometimes you do have to have the injury gods on your side so that your side can make it through the season and even make it to a grand final.
Yeah, you just got to have some luck. You can plan and do all the pre-season and all these things, but if you cop to the injuries, wrong. Like we lost Jason Godfrey 2 weeks ago from pulling a tyre for a wall, severed his thumb, tendon, and he's out for the year. So our second ruckman's gone. You have some bad luck. I know Templestowe's had some bad luck pre-season as well with a couple of key players. So you just really you got to go with what happens on off the field and hope that you have the luck at the right time and you get a settled side by round 14 onwards.
Now, I hope you have the luck this afternoon. Chad, thanks for joining us pre-game and enjoy the occasion and the challenge.
No, thanks for having us, guys.
Chad Rogers,
thanks, Chad.
Senior coach of the Upper Ferntree Gully Footy Club. Not too far away from a Templestowe flavour as well. The president, Rob Price, I think, is coming in, and Rick Irwin as well. But let's, while we've got some time to kill, let's go through some of the games across the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. We'll start with Division 1, and there are 21 other games as you go local for your footy this summer. Why would you go anything other than local for your footy, Louie? I don't know why you would. I certainly wouldn't. Blackburn take on Montrose at the Panther Pit this afternoon. Two sides who, historically, the last couple of seasons, Brasher have played in some very close affairs. How do you see this one playing it?
They have played some very close contests, but I actually don't see a very close contest today, Paul.
You see Blackburn easily or Montrose easily?
No, I see Blackburn. I think Blackburn at home quite comfortably. I've been really impressed with them. After they got flogged by Vermont by 20 goals, they've responded.
Montrose don't travel well.
They don't travel well. For me, they don't kick enough goals, Paul.
Yep.
They just do not kick enough goals. They rely way too much on Andrew Haining and Brett Johnson. And Billy Shillings are more stay-at-home full forward. You can't have him playing half-forward flank and that.
Yep.
You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. That being said, Blackburn, they've got some stars in that side, and they're just starting to really work in nicely. They're fighting for that 4th and 5th spot.
Well, Blackburn are coming off 2 wins in a row against Knox Falcons before the interleague break, and then a 40-plus point victory against Noble Park at home. So I'm pretty confident in what I saw a few weeks ago. The likes of Jake Hammond as well. Maxie Otten's obviously going to be back in the side. I think Blackburn's biggest miss this year is Heath O'Farrell having gone down at the start of the season. But from what I saw a few weeks ago, I think they'll be pretty confident at home because from memory, I think Montrose might have taken the Step Back Think Cup last year, but I could be wrong.
The Step Back and Think Cup this year, I think, is being played next week between Templestowe and Warrandyte, playing that game in Division 3 next Saturday afternoon. The next game in Division 1, Doncaster take on Balwyn, and for mine, this is the game of the round. Apart from this one, across the whole eastern suburbs of Melbourne, Doncaster were awesome a couple of weeks ago when they threw Montrose away like rag dolls. And Balwyn have been good. They went. There was that draw against Vermont that they had, but they've won the last 2 flags for a very good reason. And Doncaster look to be challenging to join that group of 5 teams that are good enough to make finals in Division 1 footy.
Well, unfortunately, Paul, I'm not getting. Doncaster's start to the season has been meritoriously. I would like, and they've done nothing wrong so far. They could actually be sitting undefeated. The way the results have gone, but to me, this is their early season. This is their first real test. They're coming up against the class of Division 1, regardless of whether it's at Trams. I think Balwyn, even with personnel out, the personnel that they have got, I think it's just still going to be enough. It won't be a big margin like everyone thinks it might be, but I think convincingly enough 5 goals, Balwyn, I feel.
Going Baldwin's way, yeah, and then plus they'll be stung a little bit too just prior to the interleague break with that 1 point loss to Roval as well. So that certainly, if that wasn't a wake-up call for Baldwin, I don't know what will be.
Good game, but Trams Reserve too. That's a hard place to win.
It is because it's only one. Yeah, it's one scoring end at times, isn't it, Paul? Certainly. I noticed a couple of weeks ago there was a really big game. East Ringwood and Donvale did play a game out there, and there was some humongous score. I think in one quarter, Doncaster actually clicked 13 goals, 5, and East Ringwood 7 goals, 4 against the Breeze. So
it can be one of those grounds where when sides are on a roll, it can open right up. East Ringwood take on Noble Park at the Pouch, which is looking a bit worse for wear at the moment. Of course, some work's being done down there at the East Ringwood Reserve.
The ground itself is a bit lush because they're just before interleague. But East Ringwood beat Norwood just before the interleague break at home by 27 points. It wasn't the prettiest of wins, but it was certainly determination. And I think Noble Park have a lot to show and have a lot to do to just try and get back up. That loss to Blackburn on May 7 just stung them a little bit. East Ringwood don't have all the goal kickers. I haven't seen much of Chris Kearney in the goal kicking numbers this year. It's been a real team effort. Look, I think so too.
I think last week that win against Norwood said more about where the Norsemen are at the moment. I don't think East Ringwood, to put it simply, a much top at all, and they're not going to be much top for most of the season in Division 1. And Noble Park will be wandering to East Ringwood Reserve today, expecting they'll come home with 4 points, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
I don't think. We'll put it this way. I wouldn't say that Noble Park's form is. They're not right. Nothing to write home
East
about.
Ringwood at home does not strike fear into the hearts
of
anybody.
It doesn't. But the thing is, like I said, like Marcus Zaglay said a couple of weeks ago, if you said that they'd be 3-3 after round 6, he would have taken that. And look, they're a very, very young side. I mean, yes, Noble Park are a very experienced side. I reckon things are clicking well down there at the moment. I just don't. They've had a few injuries. I think a few of their good players are drifting in and out of form, and I think that's creating a few headaches for Mick. For Mick, but look, I expect Noble Park to rebound today, and rebound in a hard way. They're a proud club. They're a premier club in this division, and they don't want to be losing any more ground to the top 2. Noble Park for mine.
They need to get a few of their, like the Stewie Kempermans and whatnot, just sitting back up a little bit. There's too few doing too much or too little, and if you just get that extra 2 or 3, they just might get somewhere.
Next game is North Ringwood against Vermont out at Quamby Reserve, which is never looking good at this time of year, but I saw it yesterday, and it is in absolutely fantastic nick, just like the Vermont Footy Club, Brash, and I'm going to find it very hard to tip against your mob for the rest of 2016.
Well, yes, Paul. I know things are going very well down there. They've got a really great blend of youth and experience. They've added to the back. They've added to the squad this year players that play set positions and are doing a job. I think the back line is immensely proved under the tutelage of Grant McCarthy, who's taken over the running of the back line. He's being a backman himself. He knows exactly what the pros and cons of how to play backline football, and he was a master at it, and he's starting to impart that knowledge to the back line. Vermont traditionally have problems playing up at Quamby. For some unforeseen reason, they just, in the years that they've played up there, they just have not been able to handle the ground conditions. But I think, by and large, if they walk out of here with a 60-point victory today, I think they'll be more than happy.
You would have thought so. It's hard to be unhappy with a 60-point win, unless you're playing Essendon.
Boom.
Rowville take on Norwood at Seabeck Oval. The last couple of years, this one would have absolutely set tongues wagging. You would have been the first one out on the courtesy bus to Rowville this afternoon to go and watch this one, but not so much today.
No, and one thing that there's a couple of things that I've noticed about the Norwood Football Club this year. I've watched a few of their tapes. They're getting smashed in the midfield. They're just not. They've got no run at the moment. Lee Williams hasn't played the last three rounds, so they've been robbed.
He won't play for the rest of the season, I wouldn't have thought.
Is he injured?
I've heard he's expected to come back soon, but they're taking no chances.
So obviously he's injured. So they're missing his 5 goal average a game. That's really hurting him. But the thing is, look, when one of your senior players, and I'm not going to cast any aspersions here, when one of your senior players gets cleared mid-season to go down to a second division club, and who is a regular senior player, and last year was in their best 6 for the majority of the game, what does that say about what's that? Zach
McCubbin. I think it was his choice after he got dropped from the 2s. That's what I was reading, and he just cleared.
That's not the point. To me, Davis, that's not the point.
Where's he ended up? I've missed that.
He's at Mitcham. Zach McCubbin's at Mitcham now, right? And the thing is, he has always been a Norwood boy. He's come right through the system. He's been a really, really good, solid player for them on wing half forward. And for him to be leaving Norwood mid-season means there's something wrong.
Yeah. So it comes back to club culture, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's the culture, but I'm not going to speculate on
don't forget that there's a connection there. Matty McCubbin, the president of the Mitcham Footy Club. I'm assuming there's some sort of relationship there.
Yeah, his cousin plays there. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to be drawn into the reason why he's left. I'm just saying it doesn't look
slightly
good.
worrying. It is slightly worrying.
It's not a good look when one of your key senior players is leaving mid-season to join another club. No. That's enough said.
And Rowville win this afternoon.
And Rowville will get the job done down at Seabeck.
Especially at Seabeck.
Anything to add, Louie? Brasher's little tirade there.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I mean, how long do you want to speculate on the reasons behind it? Is it just in isolation, one-on-one, or is it a thing where it's a ripple effect?
Being EFL media team members, it's not really our job to care about that sort of stuff. We're just here to promote the game and shed a good light on Eastern Football League and all of its clubs and all of its players.
Oh, look, most definitely. And look, we know how good Norwood Football Club is. They're a good football club. They're going through a bad patch at the moment. They haven't got their best side on the park, and things are not working for them. But it happens, and it will turn around.
Exactly right. They've got a good president, and they've won a Division 1 flag with that group. So
that's right.
They can't sneeze at that. South Croydon take on Knox, and I always like this matchup, Brash. And I did some research during the week. The last 6 South Croydon Knox games have gone to the side playing at home. And it's pretty indicative of both of these teams and their form in Division 1 against all sides over the last 4 or 5 years. South Croydon pushed Noble Park at home earlier on in the year. Knox beat Doncaster at home earlier on in the year. Both of these sides play their home patches incredibly well. So South Croydon at the Kennel, judging by that logic and that logic alone, South Croydon will beat Knox this afternoon.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that one because I think not only that, but I just reckon that South Croydon's just got a little bit of a class edge with some of their experienced players. I think they've just got a little bit more experience in their side to combat Knox's lack of experience. And I'm expecting this. Knox will give this almighty shake because South Croydon have been prone to big lapses of big lapses in their games throughout the year. So Knox are going to have chances in this game to seize the initiative. It's when South Croydon, it's going to be up to Knox to seize the initiative when they get their chance.
Yeah, and that's all it could take too, Brasher. It can only be 2 minutes, 3 minutes where you just drop your load a little bit and the opposition can really hit you hard. So that's what Knox could be able to do to South Croydon. But looking through the season, I mean, even though South Croydon has a 1-5 record, they haven't been too disgracing their losses.
They haven't been. And the
I've seen worse sides have won 1-5.
Yeah.
And Trent Zomer as well, who's had a pretty good season for them. The funny thing is, with Knox Footy Club, they've got Mitch Woolford, the star from Port Melbourne, who was a gun there for 3 years. Might bob up at Templestowe.
No, I can't either.
You're in.
Oh.
I can't. Louie's in. I'm not.
There we go.
Louie,
So
Louie, you and I will
Davis?
just have to take it over for a little while. We just lose signal on a couple of microphones.
Yeah,
We
unfortunately.
might just try and move on a little bit to Division 2, and probably the game of Division 2 is going to be Doncaster East and Croydon out at Zerby's Reserve. The one I was possibly looking at heading to. Now, both of these sides have had what I call a reasonable start to the year. Croydon just had to plough back just a little bit from the start, but I see a very even game here if Croydon can keep Dean Limback under control.
Yeah, well, you think so as well, but they are travelling to Doncaster East to have this crack. But you don't want to fall too bad behind. I mean, you've said there, Croydon, a bit of a slow start to the year, starting to play a little bit of catch-up, back within a game outside of the top 4. But, you drop this one, and even though things are a little bit tight in that middle part of the ladder, it can be a long road back for the second half of the season.
Well, Croydon definitely need a percentage win, and I'm just looking at the fixtures here. Doncaster won both of their previous games by a margin of almost 80 points and scored exactly the same, 132. So I think it's going to be a very even game. If that rain comes on, Zerby's Reserve gets very, very slow and very, very lush as well. Moving on to East, Burwood and Mitcham, I think this is a no-brainer straight off the top. Mitcham have played so strongly all year, and that's basically a win for them. Backline, midfield, forward lines going strong all year. Mooroolbark and Mulgrave might be an interesting one because Mooroolbark just went down to Croydon last week and then won the week before against Wantirna South, who obviously came up from Division 2 in 2015. Mulgrave have had a bit of an up and down season. They had a win in round 5 against Lilydale just by 10 points, but then unfortunately went down the next week to Bayswater. 50-50 game either way.
Look, you would think Mooroolbark should bounce back, I reckon. I mean, that 1 point, a bit like what we said for Division 1 with the fact with Baldwin going down, it could be a wake-up call as well. I mean, you're coasting through, you're undefeated, you think still things are going along nicely. Then you get that little hiccup and you go, oh, okay, we've got some competition here. So I reckon Mooroolbark will bounce back.
And I think the Stains have shown enough promise this year to really do it. The next one, Wantirna South and Lilydale. I think Wantirna South have too many good plays in too many good spots and have done well enough this year. Wins against East Burwood just before the break, and then the week before, unfortunately, went down to that game in Mooroolbark, but then a big win against Mitcham, which obviously coming up from Division 3, so that will be a big confidence booster for them. So I see Wantirna South pretty comfortably, probably at least 5 or 6 goals today. I think Lilydale just don't have enough in the tank. And Waverley Blues and Bayswater, again, sort of like the Mooroolbark-Mulgrave game, both Waverley and Bayswater have had really good patches this season and dropped back a little bit. And a couple of these games could help shape the makeup just under and around that top 4, top 5 part of Division 2, I would have said.
Exactly right. So Bayswater in the same situation as Croydon. You drop this one, even though you might still be about a game or 2 games out, considering how the results go. It's going to be a big difference to make up the second half. So they're going to do everything they can to
Looks like we're back in business here. I think the microphone is back up and about. Well
yes,
done.
It is, Paul.
Oh, you two waxing lyrical there. I think we're not too far away from having a chat to Templestowe senior coach Rick Irwin as soon as he makes his way into the caravan. What game are we up to, Davis?
We're just about to start Division 3, which was Baronia and Ringwood out at Tormore.
Okay, fantastic. Afternoon start to the season. I think their 2016 form suggested it's going to be not so much a down year, but maybe a transition period for them. While Ringwood and Trent Farmer have had some pretty big games, so I like the Redbacks in this one.
So do I, and even at Tormore, it's pretty even ground, but I think Ringwood have just shown enough the last few weeks when they took on Park. I think they took on Park Orchards a few weeks ago in the Anzac round. They did really well as well. So I'm definitely seeing the Redbacks in that one. Speaking of Park Orchards, they take on Heathmont down at Domini Reserve, the really big ground. I see this being very, very even again today. Heathmont have shown some good promise this season, and Park Orchards, just looking at their previous scores in Division 3, they won their game on the 21st of May, and then they won their game on the 14th of May, a big one against South Belgrave. So, which could have... How did they play after the Anzac round? Because it was a couple of weeks after. What did they play, Domini?
No.
Heathmont have had some pretty... Park Orchards, they've had some pretty flat games as well. Heathmont have been sort of Jekyll and Hyde. They've had some really good wins, but they've had some disappointing losses as well. So they're hard ones to pick, but they've got such a classy lineup there and some real star players. They've been absolutely fantastic. So I think Heathmont to over Park Orchards today.
Yeah, only just home. Maybe 1 or 2 goals.
But certainly Park Orchards have turned their season around the last couple of weeks. On the bottom of the ladder, game against South Belgrave.
Yep.
Had a look and they found some new life and jumped up to 6.
And it's you can throw a blanket over most sides in Division 3, but there's one side you probably can't throw a blanket over, and they sit on top of the ladder. And we're here at their home ground this afternoon, and it's a very, very good afternoon. A warm welcome to the A1 Airport Parking warm-up to Rick Irwin. Rick, have a look at you, mate. You just live for Saturday afternoons, don't you? Your eyes are popping out your head. You've got the Luna Park-style grin. You're in a happy place right now, I assume.
Love it. Love match day, Paulie. Love it. It's the best part of the week, mate. Fantastic. And we're very fortunate here at our club. We've got a lot of people that play their role and do amazing things that make match day very enjoyable and very low stress. And everyone plays their role, including the players. So I love it, mate. It's a great day. And preparation leading up to today, has it been exactly the same as the last 2 months? Yeah, terrific, mate. Actually, we're really in a good space at the moment. We're the boys are really putting in. We're ticking so many boxes with numbers at training and. Players all striving to play senior footy, and we've got a situation where out here we've got some blokes really hungry to play, and we feel like we're in a good space at the moment. And just on that, the Twos currently trail by 17 points against the side that did knock them out of last year's final series. So hopefully for your sake that they can come back. And there's some guys out there that have played senior footy this year, both Ollie and Billy Lodge, and Mitch Soon as well. They've been in, and Nick Worthing, they've been in around the senior lineup. All young guys. Are pretty pleased with the way they're coming along? Yeah, really pleased, Paulie. We've got some good kids actually that are really sort of stepping up now and wanting to play senior footy. Rowan Peters and young Morris out here who is new to the club, but he's just starting his senior football from Doncaster. He was a reserve player there, but he's really coming along, and it's really good to see the depth out there in the Sons of the Ones, as we call them. And when can we expect to see big bad Leroy Murphy back in the senior fold? Has his training stepped up, anything like that? Yes, he has. He's just kicked in the last 2 weeks. As we know, he broke his ankle in round 1, and last year he broke his wrist in round 1. So he's had a bad run, but he is only probably 2-3 weeks away. Just started to do his own sort of training on the bike, and probably the next 2 to 3 to 4 max he'll be rolling around, which would be great. Now, I don't want to talk about the recruit of a big kid Telesky, because I'm sure the other guys will throw some questions at you about in the grand final a couple of years ago. Big bad Alex Brown. So far, season 2016 has seen the former Swan save his best work for. Mate, he's been last year in the VFL. Did an ankle, a bit like a Dale Thomas story, in a moon boot twice, missed the whole year last year. Season had to ankle. The good news is, mate, every week his condition was a bit down. Not to let the lid let the lid off at Templestowe. Is that a big challenge for you at the moment? Is this? It is that everyone and off the field by a lot of people. It's not just about the players. The off-field has been enormous at this footy club, and we've had some great new people off-field to come and assist. And we've got an ex-president here today up from Portland. He's on the barbecue cooking onions, and that's what we do. It's what we do at Templestowe, is running around. You know, Scotty Williams and Clive is on field a chance to perform that challenge, but they're enjoying putting some guys on ice, giving them an extra week off if they need it. What's the thoughts from your coaching point of view about resting players and managing players? Is there something that you'll look into? Yes, we are actually. It's a really good point. We've got great depth here. We've got sort of 35 blokes that we believe that can play senior footy here. It's hard to fit everyone in, and next week we know we've got a guy as a groomsman in a wedding. Yep. And you know, we wish him all the best with that important role, and that'll give us a chance to bring someone in after the bye. We'll probably, look at resting a player each week to develop some players that are good enough to play senior footy and hopefully manage our list, because last year we did get crunched, as we know, in the finals and had half our side out, and we don't want to be in that position again.
It's a very good point that you raised. How much of it is also about giving the guys like Nick Worthing the odd game in the ones?
Yep.
Just not so much to give them a taste, but to give them a game where you're comfortable of winning, where they can learn at the same time.
Spot on.
Is that a part of it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had Nick roll in a few. Nags is rolling in for about his fourth today. Rowan Peters has played one. It's really important. We've got a boy in the under-17s that we want to play.
Yep.
Matt Tsukas, and we will find a game for him before the year's out. He's 16, and we'll play him in the ones and send a real message to our footy club. If you're good enough here, we'll play you. But then if he flies, which I think he can, he'll go back to his team. But just to give him a taste and to challenge him in his development as well.
Rick, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Chad. Last year, it seems like that both sides had very, very similar paths coming into the final. Injuries cruelled you leading into that final series, which did not allow you to play your best football. But the one thing that I've noticed this year, both your defences are fantastic. Your back six is settled exceptionally well. One of the things we know that premierships are built on the success of the defence leading into a final series. How impressed have you been with your back six so far this season?
Oh, great question, Brash. It is about defence, and we noticed that Upper Gully have got the best defence in the competition.
Yep.
We're a bit dirty on that. We like to hold that mantle. The last 2 years we have held that. We want to make our way inroads to fix that. We've been very happy with the scores that we've kept sides down to, so our defence is very strong as well, but obviously that's the respect we have for Gully because they're doing that very well. Our back, it's not just a back six. We have a lot of versatility in our side. We rotate players around. A bloke like Anthony Soriano kicked 15 goals. He spent the last 2 or 3 weeks on the back flank. Dave DeStefano is on the back flank. He's kicked goals. We have great flexibility. Matty Bain might be forward, might go back.
Yep.
We've probably got a dozen blokes that are rotating through that back line, but they're very tight and defence is a very important part of the game.
It's funny that you should say that, Rick, because Dan Donati employs that exact sort of game style with the ball and football side. His side is not just made up because he has his half forward line also rotating through the wing and the half back line.
Yep.
So there's never ever a constant 6 players playing those set positions. And then when you add those other three, the other 3 on the full back line, it really creates headaches for opposition coaches because they don't know what matchups. Is that what you really... Do you have to get more and more imaginative with your movements every season now?
Absolutely, Brash. We're big on rotations. We have 22 players that play an even role in our rotations, and we have players rolling through our forward line, midfield, through the wings, through that half back line, and we have great flexibility where we can move magnets, say, at half time, some guys from the back line to forward line and vice versa, and we expect our players in this senior team to be able to play in multiple positions.
Last one quickly from me, Rick. Let's talk leadership. Ryan Bay went down with an ACL before the start of the season. A tragedy in sporting terms. We don't want to overuse that word, but certainly a sporting tragedy. His brother Matty has taken over into the captaincy. Looks like he's done a great job in terms of leadership. Where does that all sit in terms of who's contributing to the leadership side of this senior side?
Mate, great question. Firstly, Ryan, what a credit he is. I was very, very keen on making him captain from the minute he went down. When I heard it was his ACL, I was so keen to make him still captain of our footy club.
Yep.
But that was the players' decision. Well, it was anonymous that we wanted him to be captain. He's still our captain. He addresses the players at the quarter time break of the Sons of the Ones. He's a great leader. He's now stepped up to assist the midfield and forward line as an assistant line coach. He's got a coach written all over him, to be honest.
Yep.
He's very knowledgeable. Our leadership is Matty Bain and Piercy are our joint vice captains on field, but we've got 10 leaders. We have 5 groups, 2 leaders from each group, and they're doing a fantastic job, our 10 leaders at this footy club right now, in supporting the footy club operations, a junior club, etc., etc.
Yeah, we're just under 20 minutes to the start of your biggest game of the season so far, Rick, so I'll let you go and put your makeup on and get yourself ready. Hopefully we have a chat to you after the game with 4 points next to your name.
Appreciate it, boys. Anytime during the game, whatever. We enjoy match day, so anytime you want to come and have a chat, we'll be accommodating. And thanks to have you guys here, because it's a great compliment to our footy club to have the EFL Media van here. Cheers, boys.
Certainly a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Rick Irwin. the senior coach of the Templestowe Footy Club. Let's take this chance to go back to Dyson Baker in the Radio Eastern Studios for the first time this afternoon. And when we come back, we'll get right stuck into things here on the Pancake Parlour game day right here at Templestowe Reserve.
Real people, real stories.
Whether I'm driving the morning catch service or whether I'm actually doing the transfer from my family home is very rewarding.
It's heavy lifting, it's emotional, it's uplifting, it's rewarding, and it's a vocation. It's not a job, and I love it.
Watch the A Day in the Life video series now at tobinbrothersfunerals.com.au for an insight into the specialised work they do. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating 80 years of service.
Program sponsor. Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the Eastern
Check,
Suburbs
1, 2.
to expand.
Yeah,
now the fucking thing's working again.
Every Friday night across
Good.
multiple venues.
Well, we just go with it then, Brucey.
No, hang on. I'm not. That's this one.
Well, I can hear myself.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Sun.
Okay.
B, pay too much for a taxi. C, hope for an airport rail link this century. Or D,
BWS is here. He was just asking me about bloody
What about A?
car park.
A1 Airport Parking.
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
Hey, man. I've got some weekend goals.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
1, 2.
Pancake Parlour and get one of their traditional breakfasts because it's served till 5 p.m. every day. Gotta go to Pancake Parlour for your weekend.
One Radio Eastern as I woke myself up. Didn't have any intro music planned on that occasion. Dyson Baker back in the studios of
How are you, Dice?
One Radio Eastern here in Croydon. It's currently a chilly 12.2 degrees. We'll keep you updated with all the around the ground scores. Of course, 22 great games, including our game day out at Templestowe versus Upper Ferntree Gully. Of course, a few AFL games going on this afternoon as well. The Brisbane Lions taking on Hawthorn up at the Gabba. That's 8 minutes into the first term. The Lions lead by 1 solitary point. Later this afternoon at about 2 o'clock, Melbourne take on Port Adelaide in Alice Springs, and then the late game this afternoon is a 4:35 start between St Kilda and Fremantle. But now it's time to send you back to the boys out at Templestowe Reserve. Gents, pretty cold outside?
No, it's all right, Dyson. And I want to say, Dyson, that was a fantastic huddle that you put on last night. I sat back and had a listen to it, and it was a really, really good show. Probably one of the best huddles I've heard in many a long time. So congratulations to yourself and the team on a really good show last night.
Thank you very much, Brasher. It's probably the perfect opportunity to thank some of our guests from last night. They took their time out. Michael,
I'm amazed you got something out of him, mate. He's a Did he gerrymander the boundaries?
Ben Warren Smith asked Dakota. Also had Evan Hocking, who.
He was. I like that one about when he asked the guy, and it must have been good for playing in a reserve
very quick-witted.
He's good.
Last night. He was good, and obviously gave up his.
The twos are just trudging off the ground at Upper Ferntree Gully, 8-8-56, defending Templestowe 5-7-37. So a 19-point win to the Kings there, and repeating the result from last year's final. Upper Ferntree Gully were able to bundle Templestowe out of the race there.
Have we got quick time to go through Division 4, Paul?
We have a quick time, and there was the rest of Division 3 we need to touch on as well. Let's quickly get to where we were up to. I think we're up to Sylvan versus South Belgrave.
Correct.
Up at the scratching post at Sylvan Reserve.
Well, put it this way. If South Belgrave, for me, Paul, this is my. I'm going on here now. South Belgrave don't win today. I'm not tipping them for the rest of the year.
No, you'd think they win, and these two sides.
They have to win.
A great rivalry used to lock horns back in the Yarra Valley Mountain District Footy League days, and South Belgrave have always just had the edge over the Cats, and you'd think that I think the Saints would come away from a win there, especially after they have to bounce back from a thumping loss to Templestowe last week.
The next game, we won't talk about the Tempe game shortly, but we'll go on to the Basin and Scoresby. Scoresby coming off a confidence-building win last week, but after a slow start to the season, the Bears are starting to come out of hibernation, and they're looking the goods up at Batterham this afternoon, Paul. I think they'll get the points by about 60, 70 points in this one.
It's a tough place to go and win, and they're a strange one, the Basin, because they played in the grand final last year, and I think that they were just keeping the spot warm for Templestowe.
They ran out of steam.
They ran out of steam and had a very good. They were very good on the day. For 3.5 quarters.
Yep.
But the 2016 form hasn't really exploded and gone to the next level like you'd expect the grand final side to do. So,
but look, they're building momentum, and premierships aren't won in May and June. So
absolutely not.
So look, after a shaky start, they're on the forward trajectory, and I expect them to get the points over Scoresby today.
Yeah, you wouldn't think they'll have too much trouble dealing with Scoresby. On Churnside Park at the Blood Bank, a Warrandyte Reserve.
Has been better this season in their recent seasons, but look, Warrandyte, it took also a little while to warm up to Division 3 football. They're coming off a disappointing performance last week, only kicking 4 goals for, but they're a better side than that, and with Dunn and Froud, always danger forwards, I think they'll get the job done at home this afternoon.
Yeah, that star power up forward has always been impressive for at least the last 3 or 4 years with the Warrandyte Footy Club.
Yep.
Coldstream, Ferntree Gully in Division 4. The Coldstream had gone off the boil. Their first 3 weeks were exceptional. They were very impressive in some games early on to start the season. But Ferntree Gully have... Well, they're the premiership favourites in Division 4 for a very good reason. They've recruited very well. They've got some Division 1, Division 2 talent in that side. Win the flag because they'll win games like this as well.
Well, form has been very poor.
Which in hindsight wasn't as...
Watched them last week. Probably could have won the game by Goodman. Goals.
Well, it's funny when you mention that, Paul, with the Coldstreams going to have another one in round 1. Their scoreline of 34, 24, 2, 28 is the lowest.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Serious contender.
Look, on face value, they were disappointing last week. They took control of the centre corridor first quarter, but couldn't make any use of it. They could have got looked at Kilsyth. They look a bit slow. They don't have many runners, and I think that's where Donvale can exploit them on the huge Donvale ground. I'm going to pick Donvale to, get back on the winners list after a disappointing loss last week.
Agree with that?
Yep. Yeah, I'll definitely go with that as well. I mean, as I said, with a few other top sides that have had those little hiccups over the journey, it's a good wake-up call. So Donvale for me.
Gomerville Hawks taking on Forest Hill at Central Reserve. I think they've taken another step on the road to a recovery of sorts. They were on the bones of their backside 3 or 4 years ago as a club, the Gomerville Hawks, weren't they?
They have improved, but they've frustrated me a little bit this year. This side teases and tantalises you. They play one and a half good weeks, and then the next week they drop games against sides they probably shouldn't be dropping sides, considering the improvements that they've made over the previous seasons. On the other hand, Martin Stillman's just getting Forest Hill to start to play the football that he wants. I think now that, and I don't think Central Reserves holds any fear for Forest Hill, and I think they'll get the job done this afternoon.
Well, if you look at the patterns, and if you believe in that sort of consistent method going through, Brash, Glen Waverley are due for a loss. They've gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So based on that, you would think Forest Hill should be all right. And we had a look at them on Anzac Day against Ferntree Gully for 3 quarters. They were fantastic, Forest Hill. So,
but they dropped a game to the Pioneers that they probably shouldn't have, and also Surrey Park. So they could be actually sitting 5-2 rather than 2 and 5.
That Surrey Park loss for me, I think, probably just paves the way and sums up the fact that they're going to be a bit inconsistent.
Yes.
And that's what a young
You're
side...
right. Exactly right.
Certainly gets thrown our way when we talk about young sides. Whitehorse, Pioneers, Eastern Lions. I tipped the Pioneers to win at home against Coldstream the other week, and that's exactly what they did. Springfield Park, in a division where sides are all competitive against one another, is almost impossible to go and win at.
Yeah, it is, and I know Ray Baird's going down to have a look at this game today. Out of all the games in Division 4 this weekend, I tossed and turned about who is going to win this game. Eastern Lions have won their last two. Confidence will be good. I've taken the home sides form at home into consideration, and the fact that they don't, it's one of their only fortresses that. But I'm going to put my neck out here, and I'm going to go for the Eastern Lions in an upset. I just think they're on the improve. They've got some good young guys. I don't think Whitehorse have enough scoring power, and I reckon they're missing Eddie Sim.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It goes without saying. You take a bloke like that out of any side.
Yep.
Division 1, 2, 3, 4 or otherwise, you're certainly going to feel that loss. But no, I disagree. I think Whitehorse.
No, it's a good call, Paul.
Okay, that's all the games we've gone through. All 22 as you go local for your footy. We're not too far away from a start out here at Porter Street. No, it is first versus second in Division 3, Upper Ferntree Gully and Templestowe. Both sides undefeated. Wayne Brasher, you're joining me you're sitting in the special comments chair this afternoon next to Louie Bulzomi, myself and BWS with the call. I've got Grant Campbell on stats this afternoon, and I think Esmond Aponso, our man, one of the great boundary riders in the Eastern Football League,
Esmond, you superstar.
Will be front and centre a little bit later on.
You're getting cult status here, Esmond. I've been listening to you. You've been ripper, mate.
Any
really good, mate.
Predictions for this afternoon, Brash?
Look, like I said, I've had a really good chance. I think it comes down to I don't think there's much in the defences of both sides. The statistics show that I think Templestowe have a clear advantage through the midfield, and their midfield boasts a lot more scoring power than Upper Gully, and for that reason and the fact that the Dockers play extremely well at home, I'm going to tip the Dockers to win by 30 points.
Louis, do we have a tip from your fine self before we get underway here?
Yeah, Paul, I reckon, when we talked to Rick Irwin earlier, he brought up a really, really good psychological point that with Upper Ferntree Gully being ranked first in defence, that really irks Templestowe because they would rather be in that mantle. And given their scoring power, not just up forward, but through the midfield as well, with so many players who can go down forward, rotate through and kick goals, where they've got 6 in the top 15 who are all kicked 10-plus goals this season.
Yep.
That should be what I think will give them the edge today as well. So we'll go Templestowe by probably about a similar margin to what Brash said.
And for the first time this afternoon, thanks to TuSap, let's say hello to Grant Campbell, and I'm sure the numbers say something about this game, Grant, and I'm sure you've got your own opinion on it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the key stat you touched on was how good Upper Gully have been in quarters this season, having won 24 out of 28. They've won all 7 first quarters. Then Templestowe won 21 quarters for the season, including every third quarter. So Templestowe have been exceptional this year, but Upper Gully not far off them at all. I'm expecting a cracking game. I think the home ground advantage may be the difference. I'll go Tempe by 20 points.
Tempe by 20 points. And for what it's worth, I think Templestowe will flex their muscles a little bit today, and we'll find out the Division 3 Premiership race is all but over. I'm predicting Templestowe by anywhere between 8 and 10 goals in true Seymour fashion.
Put it this way, mate. I love it when someone goes out on a limb because you're a man of my own heart. I like that.
That's exactly what you do when we're at Vermont Games, Brash. So.
Mate, I never have a problem with that.
No, exactly right. No, I think it's a smart. I just think that the way that they've been playing this year, no side's got close to them, and there's nothing to suggest that Upper Ferntree Gully are going to be able to do that today. But both sides in a position here. Have a look at the big fella. Big kid Talevsky just making his way down to full forward. Templestowe going to the left-hand side, down to the Porter Street end of the ground, and up to the scoreboard end. Upper Ferntree Gully will kick to start the game. Alex Brown's on a half-back flank on Dean Grice. The umpire holds the ball aloft, and Simon Harris is ready to feed the ball down the throats of the Mariani boys, who have been dominating in the middle for Templestowe in season 2016. As if on cue, there's Matt at the bottom of that pack. He's been set upon straight away, and we'll have a boundary. We'll have a ball up in the middle. Here we go. So still in the middle of Templestowe reserve. Harris, ball tapped down to Lachlan. Upper Ferntree Gully going inside 50 for the first time. No mark taken. There's Jimmy Van Kerkhoff. He's at the back. He's been a good stayer in the midfield for Templestowe over the years. Alex Brown. Handballs out wide to the bootlaces there of Sammy Kirby, who gets around one tackle. Over the top to Danny Pearce. He goes back inboard. There's Di Stefano. There's Matty Nagel. Matty Brown. Alex Brown, at half-back. Handballs across to David DiStefano. He's a big unit. He's tackled straight away. The Upper Ferntree Gully boys fighting with each other. Tim Risley at the bottom of the pack. That's where we'll see him for most of the afternoon.
Great early pressure from Upper Gully there. Really hemming Templestowe up against the boundary line, having to try and work it through by hand. Couldn't get through.
I'm going to like the battle of Harris and Haddock all afternoon. There's the kick forward for Upper Ferntree Gully through Justin Lachlan. He's had a couple of entries inside 50. Matty Nagel tackled immediately by Tate Hickleton. Good tackle there by Danny Pearce on Bryce Hards as well. The ball's still at half forward.
Another good contest. Bryce Hards versus Michael Mariani. Two hard nuts. We get in and under here.
Harris and Haddock. Harris gets the tap again. I think he's going to win most of the hit-outs. There's the young fella for the Kings in Darcy Wilson. Right foot kick around the corner. There's another entry inside 50 for the Kings. They've got to turn it into some scoring opportunity because they're not going to get many of them all day. Handball to Thomas Marr, whose left foot kick around the corner. Bounces to Van Kirkhoff in the goal square. Gets around a tackle. Puts the ball under his arm and handballs to Pearce, who handballs out wide. Again, that's in the arms of Anthony Soriano, who goes back across goal. Joel DeCarla. Short ball to the back pocket. Matty Nagel off and running. Kicks up to centre wing. In front position there, dropping the mark was Godfrey, but off and running is JP Melietsis. Puts the ball under his arm and goes long inside forward 50. Talevski's in a one-on-one. It's Matty Bain, rather. Takes a strong mark.
Well, really good play there by young...
JP Melietsis it was.
Yeah, and the thing is just a slight gentle nudge with the body, just pushed the Upper Gully player out of position, found space and just streamed into the forward line and hit Matty Bain in the goal square. Should be first goal coming up.
We've seen him do his best work for Templestowe at half-back and on the wing over the years. Kicked 7 as a goal sneak a couple of weeks ago. That was a strong contested mark from the stand-in skipper from the Templestowe Footy Club. He's kicked the first goal of the afternoon.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't. Thought that was comfortably in. There you go. Obviously don't have a great view from up here. Goal umpire right on top of that. No arguments from the players. So
teammates clapping it through too, Paul. So I wonder why you were too fast with the goal.
Quite clearly a goal, but there's the first score on the board. Minor score to the Dockers.
Well, I wouldn't be bagging the view because we're centre wing, and that's where usually people say that we've got the best spot. But it was close. It was close.
Polite way of saying the goal umpire just made a horrendous stuff up.
Or maybe you need some glasses.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Let's go with the latter on that one as Upper Ferntree Gully bring the ball back into play now. At the spoils, was picked up there by Dodds, got a little handball away, stolen though there by Harris. Got a little handball away also. Ryder tugged up against that far side of the ground, paddling after it was Ma, and over she goes for a boundary throw in, right in front of the Upper Ferntree Gully bench and Chad Rogers. One behind to the Templestowe Football Club. They're the only score on the board on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as it currently stands. Picked up there by Lachlan. And now Templestowe, a little chance to go inside forward 50. It was a grubber of a kick. It was looking for Williams. He'll go after it again, but boundary line beats him. And a little bit of frustration shown there by Caden Williams. But we'll see a boundary throw in about 45 metres out from goal.
It was a late pickup coming into season 2016. Caden Williams over from the Ammos. Yep.
Hyder bring the ball back in. Over the top there, Vanderweel got the knockdown. Stacks on the mill. Fletcher Dodds right in there, and we'll have another bounce.
Templestowe are really on the mark with their tackling early.
So ball up. Centre half forward for the Dockers. Upper Ferntree Gully have been pretty good in the clinches so far, and they'll get this ball away again. This is Lachlan. So had a few clearances for them. The kick across the centre half back region, not good though. JP Melietis is the first one there. Short kick backwards a little bit. Alex Brown on the run. Great pick up from the big fella. Gets around a tackle. Goes back to Joel DeCarla. Rolls one inboard to Danny Jackson. There's Matty Nagel, who's had some good ball at half back so far. Slow kick to centre half forward. No mark taken. In amongst it is Anthony Soriano, the former Port Melbourne boy, in towards the goal square. And Matty Bain just gets a fingertip on it. And it goes through for a rush behind. I think he was a little bit upset, the Templestowe skipper. Wanted him to have a shot. He went for the pass instead.
Well, they're quick to bring it back in. Tapscott takes it in the back pocket for the Kings. Decent crowd down here today at Templestowe. It's a top-of-the-table clash. If you're in the Manningham area, get down here. It's a great place to watch football. At the fall of the ball, a little tackle over the top there by Haddock. Brings his opponent down in Malietsis. Malietsis is, I heard you say?
That's what I'm going with.
Okay. Well, I was going with you.
Could be wrong.
You're wearing purple today. As
I
the
am
umpire
not.
throws it up and it gets knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I reckon Templestowe's forward line, the speed of their forward line is going to worry the Upper Gully backs a lot today.
Great to have Wayne Brasher back in the special comments chair. The Clinton Gribus medal winner from last year. I said Quinton because that's what Ray called him the other night. As it comes down towards the wing position. Picked up there by Kirby. Well, he probably could have gone on with it then. He tried to knock it onto a teammate, but Mariani got it back to Kirby on the right boot. Scissors it inside, looking for Talevski, who had the front spot. It was knocked away from him. That's okay. They've got the numbers, though. Williams got a little handball away, but it was chopped off by Tapscott. Good play on the left boot, and he'll kick it up towards the area where Hickleton is, and he takes a strong mark as well. So that's a good bit of play there by Upper Ferntree Gully, moving the ball forward. Where is that kick going, though? Simon Harris is almost as if he led for it, but didn't take the mark he should have. Has a little bit of time and then slipped over at the crucial stage.
Comedy
and
of
it
errors.
goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Poor Tate Hickleton just thinking probably 3 or 4 moves too many ahead on that occasion. With the bad kick going forward.
Apparently he wears really short shorts, according to Dyson Baker, so keep an eye on that this afternoon. As the ball comes back in, picked up there by Pearce, got a little handball back, that was okay. Short passes on, though, for Templestowe and chopped off there by Risley. So
He's going to be an important play for them today, BWS, Risley.
Oh, he's an absolute star. So, of course, he certainly is. Brasher's Risley. He's going to kick it to the hot spot right to the top of the square. A big fly over the back, and it might have been paid here. I think it might have been Calvert that pulled that one down. He's got a fancy little ponytail, but the mark was even classier, and he'll go back and have the first genuine shot on goal about 25 metres out.
The meat and the sandwich.
Great work in the pack there, probably about 4 or so deep there, and Calvin just stood his ground. Everyone else sort of felt like dominoes around him.
Oh, he's going to be hard to topple for the A1 airport parking mark of the day. Calvert comes in, he keeps it low, and he speared it, and he pushed it to the right-hand side. So 2 shots on goal at either end. Well, Templestowe have kicked 2 behinds, but they had a shot that they should have put through Bain. Now Calvert equals that with 1 behind for Upper Ferntree Gully. It's the Stowe by 1 behind.
Not really a breath of wind out there, but
actually conditions out there, Paul, are fantastic.
And historically here at Templestowe, you'd think that downhill to the left of the screen is your scoring end, but it never is. Up here, the scoreboard end, up the hill, is always where we see the most goals go through.
Jeez, he should have kicked that.
That's Anthony Soriano with the kick-in duties for the Dockers. Goes long to the half-back flank. Over the top of Simon Harris. Had a fresh airy. The Kings will mop up at ground level. There's Lachlan, low inside 50. Was looking for Hickleton, just over the top of his head. Mark not taken by Soriano. Picked up there by De Stefano. He goes back across goal. That's Sammy Kirby. Tries to take on the tackler. Runs himself into a bit of trouble. Handballing to himself there was Charlie Athanasiou. Picked up by Evan Theodonis. He's going to get a free kick. Pretty fortuitous in the end. And Simon Harris is down in front of us here.
He's in trouble.
That's a poor kick across goal. Puts Papa Nicolau into a lot of trouble. Danny Jackson, socks up, old-fashioned looking footballer Danny Jackson. Back to DeCarla, waste no time playing on in the direction of Jesse Wilson. He's got some toe, Jesse Wilson. He'll use it here if the ball can stay in for him. And it doesn't. Yeah, Darcy Wilson hot on his hammer. I was hoping that ball would stay in.
Good to see Simon Harris up on his feet now, being helped over the towards the interchange by the trainers. Also just jogging off himself.
That's good news, yes.
Chiropedic boundary riders will be right on that.
Look at the shades on the boundary umpire, just rolling this one back into play.
Very, very cool.
Thrown out of the ruck contest, Adam Prestigiacomo. Free kicks going the way of the brother of former Collingwood superstar Simon. Got Matty Bain with the sit over the back. Didn't quite read the judge of the ball. Kiertalewski comes in there like a bull in a china shop. And he's wrapped up immediately in a tackle by Fletcher Dodds. We'll have a ball up at half forward for the Templestowe Footy Club. Free kick out of the ruck contest. Not sure quite where it's going.
Blood rule or some stern talking to?
No, we're having umpires throwing it up again. So we'll go take 2. Talevski's doing the ruck work up forward for the Dockers. It's tackled by Wilson. Nothing doing. So Mariani, both boys who have yet to really make themselves known in this contest. Anthony and Matt, that won't last long. Grice spinning out of trouble. Mindful kick towards the boundary line, trickles over.
That would have been deliberate in the AFL, that kick there, I think, as well, because there was no one out in that wing. But luckily in the EFL, common sense prevails just to throw in there. I think what the umpire was trying to do there before, Paul, was just saying to Talevski or players behind him, just watch where I'm going to go. Don't stand in the space I'm going to come back into. That's all that was.
Disposals 38-21 in favour of Templestowe. Inside 50s, 5 apiece, thanks to Choose Tap.
It is delicious. Grant Soupy Campbell here with us all afternoon as the umpire throws it in as silly play there by Templestowe. Direction knocked it nicely. And over she goes.
One thing I'll say about this game so far, both back lines are well on top in this early, at such an early stage of the game.
Keanu Reeves from The Matrix throwing this one back in.
Presti plays a pretty solid tackle there. And
our man on the camera,
we'll
Louie, can get him into shot at some stage.
He's gone in the close one too.
Umpire throws it up now. Little handball over the top, linking up there. Now is Risley on the right boot, sends it in towards the forward pocket. The kick wasn't that crash hot there for Strawn, knocked away from him. And over she goes right underneath the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Templestowe 2 behinds, Upper Ferntree Gully 1 behind.
We've gone 12 minutes in this first term.
I'll get a bronze statue of him by the end of the day, the way he's going.
Might have to put my sunglasses
Mr.
on.
Giacomo and Calvert do battle in the ruck. Laughlin's at ground level for Upper Ferntree Gully. His left foot kick out into some space.
Good
for a
kick.
player to lead onto it, and it's smart football. And Ryan Murray in the long sleeves on the end of that one.
This Ryan Murray last year was one of Upper Gully's best players, and he made his name for himself on the wing, but he also has the ability to kick a long goal, and he's going to create problems because he's run, and he's got a big tank on him for such a small guy.
Let's see how his set shot kicking at goal is. Calvert missed one that was almost a gimme goal earlier on. This one 30 metres out on a slide angle.
Nice. Home.
Goal umpire does not move. There's the first one on the board for the afternoon. It goes the way of Upper Ferntree Gully and goes next to the name of Ryan Murray. So they're on the board. The score 1-1-7 the Kings. The Dockers just 2 behinds.
Last year, as I said, Ryan Murray played a fantastic final series for the Upper Gully Football Club. He was a real live wire in that forward line, and once again he started off the game in good fashion, kicking the opening goal, BWS.
Absolutely, Brash. Well, they needed to put that one through because I tell you what, the last 6 or 7 minutes, they seem like they've been on top Upper Ferntree Gully. As Smith goes up against Presti, a bit of a fresh air shot for both ruckmen in that stage. Brought to ground, Presti dropped it. The umpire said a little bit too crudely for it's for Anthony Mariani, who went without the football. No, well, we're all confused. As Presti got the knockdown that time. Upper Ferntree Gully with the clearance, Soupy out towards the wing position, a grubber of a football, and both players chase after it in Soriano and Willis, and we'll have a boundary throw-in.
I think the way things have gone so far in this first quarter for Upper Gully, apart from those couple of little players where Malietis was able to get that little break along the wing and an intercept, they've really been great with their gang tackling and pressure.
Well, Presti got the knockdown, but it was taken there by Dodds. Got the little handball over the top, charging through there, and a nice bit of play there. Williams got the little handball away. Have to work themselves out of a fair bit of pressure here. Godfrey goes in after it over the top of him. He's brought to a tackle and to ground, I should say, and we'll have a bounce. It's across the paint for Templestowe. They're still searching for their first goal on the Bendigo Bank score, but they're 2 behinds, trailing by 5 points. Upper Ferntree Gully with the first goal of the afternoon, but Templestowe, they get their chance now. Johnny Vanderwill. The nice looking sleeve on his left arm there. He fancies himself from a position in here. We said it was on the paint, so he'll kick from just on the 50, if not just outside.
Blood roll.
Got a fair bit of taping on that right leg as well.
Boundary.
Tell you what, it's David Schwartz mattress style almost from the 90s. Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to Chiropedic betting.
Just to let you know, the ground conditions are just fantastic. We heard a bit of rain this week, but it's in really good condition.
Just to touch on that blood rule before there, BWS. Bryce Hard's just gone off. Been blood on the knee, I think.
Stuff, Louie, is Vanderwill. He's backed himself in. Has he got enough purchase? He does, but he didn't have the accuracy. He pushed it way right and out of bounds on the full. It goes no change to the score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's still 5 points the lead to Upper Ferntree Gully.
I think Chad Rogers would be very, very happy with the pressure that's been built here by his side, not giving Templestowe any room to move in their forward line and cutting off all their leading patterns.
The ball movement for Templestowe has been slow.
Yes.
Which is something that that hasn't happened to them all year. They've been able to move the ball almost at will at the speed that they want. So hopefully, from a Templestowe point of view, that can change. And from an Upper Ferntree Gully point of view, I think that would have been a genuine instruction from Chad Rogers, is to slow the game down and let the ball move at almost snail pace, because that's certainly going to play into the hands of the Kings. It's going to be Ryan Silver to take the kick in from the back pocket. Looks like he's just going to play the percentages and go down the line.
No.
And it's a poor kick. He kicked it straight to Danny Jackson. Up hard up against the boundary line. Wrong side for a right footer.
Not a percentage point involved in that decision at all, Paul.
No, you would have thought the kick
No.
down the line should have been at least 20, 30 metres longer. And there's a short pass from Jackson. It's gone the way of Matty Bain. He's already taken a mark inside 50 to put that another one down next to his name, the stand-in skipper. Still hard up against the boundary line, but about 10 metres closer.
Don't know if it's actually a better position to be in than where he was.
I think 8 rounds in, we can just call him the skipper now.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
If the other one's out for the rest of the season, he's the skipper.
So Matty Bain kicked 7 last week against South Belgrave. Real goal sneak type performance. Here's the kick. It's on its way, and it's always to the right-hand side. So a couple of behinds from him. And the scoreboard now reads Templestowe 3 behinds, Upper Ferntree Gully 1-1-7. 17 minutes gone here in the first term. Listening to EFL Game Day, brought to you by Pancake Parlour, of course. Open 24 hours, Doncaster, Malvern.
That fence hasn't helped out too much so far behind the goals.
Clearances so far, 11-4 in favour of Upper Gully. Templestowe having 21 kicks and 21 handballs, so very much handballing a lot this quarter.
We were talking to Michael Sucker from Deakin last week for the federal election. Maybe we should get on to Kevin Andrews to give some money to Tempe just to extend that fence line
It
out.
doesn't really do much. It's all there for show. All of a sudden, the ball's out on centre wing. Willis gets the handball across. Tate Hickleton on centre wing. Couldn't quite take the mark, but the ball's going to sit up for the Upper Ferntree Gully Footy Club. Handball at the feet of Hickleton wasn't that great, but going back in and winning the footy is Dean Grice. Tackled immediately by Preston Giacomo. Papa Nicolau.
He made him
Handball's
pay for
nice.
it.
Big long handball forward. Johnny Vanderweel back in board, but the boundary line, I think, beat all comers. We're going to have a free kick to Templestowe for a push in the back. So Tempers starting to flare out there.
Dean Grice, how do you do? Preston Giacomo just went whack into him. All fair, mind you, but certainly made him earn that little play there before.
Absolutely.
And cause a turnover too.
Doesn't leave much out there, Adam Preston Giacomo. Vanderweel just goes long to centre half forward. Real central this kick. Big pack forms. No one able to take the mark. At ground level there is Haddock. Couldn't quite get the hands free, but the ball trickles out to Silver. He goes across the goal. Dangerous looking kick. How's it going to sit? It sits nicely. Trying to run out of some traffic and get the ball to Tapscott. Lays the Shepherd. Inboard to centre half back. Just mucking around with the footy a bit here. The Kings kick out from Godfrey to centre half back, up into the hands of Risley. Wilson hot on his hammer, affects the marking contest, and goes back in and wins the ball at ground level. And we'll have a boundary throw in. And let's go down boundaries though, thanks to Chiropedic betting. Esmond Aponso.
A lot of the wind is pushing right across the Templestowe goals, and I think Upper Ferntree Gully are just picking it a little bit better in the air than Templestowe are.
Thanks, Esmond.
Davis Harrigan, of course.
Ventriloquist now. Very nice.
Umpire bring the ball
Davis.
back in there. Vanderweel with the big knockdown. No one really at ground level too much. Grice got the handball away, and now Upper will have a chance. This is Tapscott. This way, that way. Handball was chopped off. Here's Mariani. Somehow linked one up there with Pearce on the right boot.
Good goal.
Sends it forward and sends it straight. That's an absolute cracker goal. A turnover inside the offensive 50, and they put the first major on the scoreboard, and that's what they've been searching for these first 19 minutes. The Templestowe Football Club Bendigo Bank scoreboard sees them move back into the lead. They are 1-2-8, and they are leading by 1 point.
For all of Upper Gully's hard work, that it's come to naught because
1-3-9, I should say.
That's very, very simple turnover has cost them a goal after working so hard to get the ball out of that back.
Free kick out of the middle to Preston Giacomo. Goes out wide to centre half forward. Talevski. Handballs to the feet of Danny Jackson. Great pick up with the one hand. Handball forward. Here's another one. 2 on the trot.
No,
he missed. Running with an open goal. JP Meliensis it was. Gee whiz, Malcolm Blight style that one. Running with an open goal and just pushes to the left-hand side. Absolute chance gone begging there for the Dockers. Well,
opened something, but certainly not a goal. But what about Jackson? That was a pickup to be proud of, no matter what level of football you're playing at, even beyond AFL.
Right.
Deserved better. It did deserve better.
It certainly did. It was almost. Well, I was almost writing the names down on the Pancake Parlour play of the day. That was that quick and fast, but not this time. Make the pancakes at home.
Absolutely right.
Yes.
Almost harder to miss that than actually put it through. Kicking to himself is Godfrey. Long left foot ball. Calvert, who took a hanger in the forward pocket earlier on.
Presenting well.
Now it's centre half back. Short kick. And that one finds Ryan Silver.
Sylvan.
No, Silver it is. That's a typo on the team sheet. Thanks, mate. Left foot kick out to half right in front of the Templestowe coach's box. Mariani handballs through to De Stefano. Big barrel chested De Stefano. Left foot kick to Talevski. Centimetre perfect. Just over the top of the outstretched arm of the Upper Gully defender. And he'll try and put one through from 40 out directly in front. The big kid.
This is definitely not out of the big kid's range.
No.
He could probably send this.
This is almost a lock, Brash.
Yeah, well, put it this way, he could send it over the goalpost high.
Here we go, down towards Porter Street. Talevski, a fair bit of air on it, just to the right-hand side the whole way. And Templestowe wasteful in front of goal. They move to 1-5-11. Upper Ferntree Gully 1-1-7 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 22 minutes gone in the first term.
Brash, how long can Upper Gully resist the breakdowns when Talevski and Bain are going to be able to mark like that?
Not long.
Godfrey got it out. Gully couldn't quite pull the mark down, so Templestowe will get another chance here. Here's De Stefano, brought to ground in a strong tackle, and will have a bounce about 80 metres out from goal.
Harris is back onto the ground.
Good sign there.
Throws it up. Vanderweel went over the top. Didn't get really a fist on it. Grice in and under, as he always is. Got a handball out wide. Picked up there by Tapscott, who's had a fair bit of the football early, looking for Lachlan, and over the boundary line she goes.
One of my main concerns with Upper Gully at the moment, I know Chad Rogers would be happy with numbers at the ball, but all their numbers are forward of there's forward 50 and there's no one left in the goal square.
Smith over the back that time. Presti hits the deck pretty hard and screaming for a free kick as well. And he might actually get it too as well.
Yep.
You sit on it like a
hen.
Well, yeah, like a chicken. And it goes in now towards Talevski, knocked away from him as we cross down boundary side thanks to Chiropedic betting.
Just watching a couple of the matchups here. Upper Ferntree Gully's Jordan is not letting De Stefano go anywhere, and that last tackle on him was absolutely amazing.
Well, he takes good pictures and he paints a good picture as well. Davis Harrigan this afternoon, boundary side, as the umpire throws it in. Smith got a little knockdown. Bain went without the football. Probably could have got a free kick then.
Yes, good play.
The umpire has seen it. He copped one on the shoulder. And
actually, I thought he played for that a little bit.
He's a brilliant exponent.
Well, he did, but if you get the knock on the shoulder, that's the free kick.
He's a brilliant exponent.
I thought he dropped the knees a little, and I reckon it was dropping the ball myself, but I'll beg to differ there.
No, I think the movement of play was happening too quick. And a smart player like Matty Bain knows how to work out a free kick. And he got it, and he got the goal as well. There's Templestowe second on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They stretch their lead out to 10 points here as we cross the 24-minute mark of the first term on EFL Game Day. Templestowe, it took them a little while, but they're starting to find their feet.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, the radar is certainly back on track, especially with Matthew Bain. 1 goal, 2 now he has. But look, Brash, it's all about timing with that. Split seconds and knowing, I guess it is a big issue in any level of football. The ducking, the little bob of the head at the right time to draw the free kick in. But it's all about that split-second motion or proactiveness of the player trying to initiate that free kick to draw the umpire.
Absolutely. It's in the rules, and he's a great exponent of it, Matty Bain. We'll see it all afternoon.
Yep.
Back in the middle now. Harris and Smith to do battle in the ruck. Prestigiacomo was awesome for that little 10-minute spell he was on the ball. Really got things going for the Dockers. Mariani couldn't quite get the tackle to stick. Risley running the wrong way. Couldn't quite get a handle on the ball. Handball to centre-half back. This is dangerous, but Brad Kelleher's in a bit of space. Melietis is hot on his hammer now. He just accepts the tackle, and the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt.
Kelleher lucky he had a touch of the fumbles there. If he had taken that clean, he was gone for all money.
The handball back to him, just overshot the mark as well, which put him under a heap of pressure. Prestigiacomo at ground level, gets the handball out wide. Matt Bain is in some space for 2 in a minute. Matty Bain, kick towards goal, just doesn't have the legs, and it's rushed through for a behind.
Chad Rogers may have to look at putting someone a bit more mobile on Matty Bain. He's starting to run his player a little bit ragged.
Prestigiacomo's work in the clinches has been phenomenal.
Yep.
So Godfrey to bring it back in now for the Kings.
Oh,
Plays it to
no.
himself. That was a little bit risky. Puts himself under a fair old bit of pressure, but got it out of the danger zone. He was out there looking for Silva, couldn't pull the mark in. He might get the handball here. Knocked away, scooped upon in there. Lawson trapped it, then hit the deck, and might have earned himself a free kick in the process as well. Maybe it wasn't Lawson. There might be... too sure who that is down there at the moment. And the furthest point to
I reckon
us.
it might be Tommy Marr, number 4.
Absolutely.
I think so, yes.
Absolutely. Good call, Brash, as it goes up towards the wing position. Vanderweel got into the front spot, knocked around. Athanasiou got the quick kick away, but to no avail.
That's Lawson.
Yep.
So Lawson now takes his time, kick up. Getting the front spot there was Johnny Vanderweel. Took it on the second bite, but it was pretty easy in the long run as he wants to kick the ball in towards the middle. That's a good-looking kick too. Pearce has already kicked a goal in his first term. Looping handball over the top. It was risky, but he found out Jackson, who's had a few touches as well, gets it away to Nagel. Now Nagel on the left boot, looking for Mariani inside or on the 50 of the Anthony variety, but the kick went askew and over the boundary line and out.
The disposal was not good, but the intensity and the effort was there, though, to break the game open.
11-point lead to Templestowe, almost stolen there by Worms, couldn't get boot to ball. Jackson came in, he's trying to trap it as well. Grice was in there and he might have copped one in the back, and the umpire said yes. Well, he was the first person over the ball and he's an absolute superstar and he won it. He'll go out wide, he's got a teammate out in.
Give a guy
Well, he was looking for Hards, but he just shanked the kick straight down the throat of Mariani, who sends it back inside forward 50. Strong mark there by Dodds. He gets it away to Godfrey. He wants to link up a handball. Instead, he went for it himself, took a bounce. Now he can run up towards the wing position. Short passes on, looking for Marr. Got it away, looking back for Godfrey. Somehow the look away handball linked up nicely. Nice. Kick goes inside forward 50. Upper Ferntree Gully end to end. That was better play, but they still couldn't hit the target there in Brenton Toole, and over she goes for a boundary throw in.
Better movement of the ball by the Gully, but still lack of direction into the forward line. Their players are being forced wide and they cannot take control of that corridor. Templestowe are really in control of that area of the ground.
Both sides hugging that far side as well. Now we have a boundary throw in. 28 minutes gone in the first term. Van Kerkhoff done in the 360, but just was able to get boot to ball. Marr tackled by Matty Mariani. It's not a bad one either.
Next time we'll put the caravan over there.
Probably should.
Then we'll have no power.
Harris gets the tap down, but sharked by Marr, who's quick kick inside forward 50, just falls at the feet of Kirby.
Well
and Toole, who carves his way through and kick on the outside of the right boot, bounces into the behind post. So unable to make the most of that opportunity. Brenton Toole.
Actually, that's probably a good win there for Upper Gully late in the quarter.
I think he would have preferred to put that one through the big sticks. Certainly had the chance. 29 minutes gone, deep in the forward pocket. Harris front position in the ruck. Calvert just waits for the ball to hit the deck. Van Kerkhoff has Wilson hanging off him. The umpire comes in and says, I'll have it. Calvert, Harris, Brown at the back. Handballs to De Stefano, who's waiting in a good position.
Yep.
And gets a free kick, and advantage is going to be paid. Jesse Wilson shows his opponent a clean pair of heels. A kick out the wing position. Matty Bain wasn't able to pick the ball up, then lays a tackle and gets a free kick for Alton the Fool. That's good pressure from the Dockers.
The light was stiff, but
the whistle's being blown. Has to come back around on his mark.
But just in that little piece of play there, Paul, you could see that the Templestowe players are now starting to run down through the half-back line in the midfield, and the Gully blokes cannot keep up with them.
They're moving it well. Here's Bain. Kick straight into the man on the mark. That's Willis. He takes advantage of that. Kicks it down to Murray. He kicked the first goal of the afternoon.
Too far out to score from there.
30 minutes gone. Just goes short over the top. That's Risley. Matty Bain's marking him. Plenty of movement up forward for the Kings. They've done well. There's not a lot of space. And there's the kick inside the forward pocket. And well done there by Tyler Willis, who followed up the previous kick.
Have a ping.
Takes the mark on the flank. Short over the top to Murray, who followed up nicely. And geez, Danny Jackson had the chance to really make him earn that, and he didn't. So he's taken an easy uncontested mark instead. And we'll have a set shot on goal from 30 metres out on a slide angle.
Beautiful left field baseball catch there with the left mid.
Stuck the Duke up.
Love it.
And
Definitely a contender for the A1 airport
there.
parking mark of the day.
Absolutely.
You make it look so effortless as well too. Just
Right.
a nice caress of the left arm, bang.
in the shadows of quarter time. to cut the margin back to 5 points and to kick his second. Murray's on a slight angle. Kicks on its way.
Lovely kick.
And it's pretty good off the boot. Got a little bit of right to left about it and swings back through the middle of goals. So well done by Ryan Murray. He's second on the board. Templestowe 2-6-18. The Upper Gully Kings 2-1-13. 5 points, 31 minutes gone here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Actually, last year they used Ryan Murray as a lead-up, like I said, as a lead-up forward. Probably wouldn't hurt to clear the forward line out and let him play one out full forward, because he certainly got the legs and he certainly can kick goals from either boundary and in front of goal.
Absolutely, and that takes me out to 14 goals for the season, so starting to creep to the top 20 in Division 3.
Margin back to 5 points. Can they get another junk time goals? They get the clearing kick. Crunched in and tackle Alex Brown. That was good play in the umpire rewarding the free kick. Advantage to Grice, who just stopped in the end. Got the handball back away to Smith. He had to release the football quickly. That was very stiff. Here's Pearce now for Templestowe. Linking handball out. Mariani out wide. Stolen there by Risey though for the Kings. Got the handball out this way, that way. That time it was Murray on the right boot. It was half of a scramble and it was half smothered as well. And over the boundary line it goes. It was, hot football. Let's cross down boundary side. Esmond Aponso, thanks to Chiropedic betting.
Just in the last 5 minutes, Upper Ferntree Gully is really low their eyes. They're just really looking. And that's producing great results.
Great stuff, Esmond. Linking handball over the top. Papa Nicolau kept in though there by Tapscott. He's played good. He's played well.
Free kick coming back to Papa Nicolau. Had his head taken off in a shepherding.
Looks like it's going to Nagel though.
Yeah, it's because technically it was Canada's down the field.
Got to love those technicalities. Nagel, that was a centimetre perfect pass to May, who takes it on the chest and wants to link up well here with Jackson on the right boot. There's still time for another one as the kick goes towards the kid.
Yes.
The kid at the front spot, and Talevski, he's just too strong. You took the words right out of my mouth. And he'll have a shot on goal about 35 out directly in front.
That unfortunate piece of play could be a 2-goal turnaround here with Talevski now lining up.
33-minute quarter. The timekeepers might have fallen asleep. Forgotten to press the siren.
Well, it is our time clock. Maybe Brucey pressed it 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
Stalevski, he'll line up now for Templestowe's third. This is bread and butter for the big man, and he makes no mistake either. First goal on the board for the big kid, and Templestowe get a handy goal for them, because just when the Upper Ferntree Gully were peppering, they got back to within a kick. They get the margin back out to 11 points.
Absolutely right, and it just seemed like Upper Gully was starting to challenge. And if they were going to be able to string together a couple of goals consecutively, it would have been in that little period there. But Templestowe, as all good sides do, and Talevski just right spot, right time, and just far too strong, far too big.
No, absolutely, and but all it takes, and it could have come down to just that extra step that Dean Grice took. I think, well, obviously the encouragement is with the advantage that the players make the determination. No longer do the umpires really do it. So once it's been said, it's advantage, they're not going to call it back. Very stiff, Dean Grice, but unfortunately it was one step too much.
We certainly made the decision. I think there was any doubt that it was a free kick, so had he wanted to not take
it was a mistake in the context, but good sides make you pay, and that's the definition of it.
Exactly right.
And that ball again ended up halfway down Fitzsimon's lane. Someone had to go and retrieve it.
So you wonder why it's been 34 minutes. Nothing. We've lost 20 minutes of it over the fence.
Exactly right. Keanu Reeves doing the retrieving of that ball on that occasion. Harris up in the ruck. Here's Danny Jackson trying to form his way through. Went the kick off the ground, couldn't quite make contact with the ball. Anthony Mariani and Matt Mariani in there as well. Both of those boys have been very well held, I feel. Don't have to call their names too much. Not the usual dominant performances we're used to seeing from those two at the centre of the ground.
So far.
Exactly right. It's only been
a quarter. What you said about Haining the other week.
Exactly right. He exploded after that. There's Haddock. His kick smothered. Grice. Their foot kick up towards centre half forward. I think it was touched off the boot, so no mark's going to be paid. In fact, it will be to Tommy May, who's come back with the flight of the ball and taken a good grab. Handball to Alex Brown on the fly. His kick to centre half forward, just evades his teammates. Mark's taken by Fletcher Dodds. One of the great Eastern Football League names, that Fletcher Dodds. Across the ground to Liam Gelly. He's in front of Talevski. And on this broadcast wing. Up into the direction of Calvert, and Pearce spoils on the siren. So 35 minutes in, we finally got quarter time, and the Bendigo Bank scoreboard looks like this. Templestowe 3-6-24, Upper Ferntree Gully 2-1-13, an 11-point lead to the Dockers. It is a top-of-the-table clash, both teams undefeated. Keep your dial locked right here on 98.1 FM Radio Eastern, the home of the Eastern Football League.
Yeah. When Grice with advantage here. Oh, Ricky.
We want the best for our loved ones. Offer them the best advice, give them the best care. Throw the best parties to celebrate milestones and achievements. And when the time comes, you want to give them the best celebration of their life. So you wouldn't leave it to just anyone to organise. Tobin Brothers Funerals believe funerals can be a celebration of life. And always strive to be innovative and contemporary. So celebrate your life the way you want. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
We win this weekend.
Oh, I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game.
Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase.
Free pancake. First your team wins and then your belly wins.
It's win-win, man.
Claim your free sweet pancake with any savoury item purchase just by showing your winning team's colours.
Or your team membership.
At any Pancake Parlour this weekend.
Oh, and don't forget, check out Facebook for this week's offer.
Lovely. Program sponsor.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day. Dyson Baker back in the studios of Radio Eastern. Still a chilly 12 degrees outside. Pretty much all but 2 scores in from around the grounds of the Eastern Football League. We'll take you through all these. I'll bring the boys back in because there's a few interesting scores going around the eastern suburbs, gentlemen. We'll start in Division 1. Knox 4-2-26 lead South Croydon by 7 points, 3-1-19. Noble Park lead by just 2 points against East Ringwood, 3-2-20 to East Ringwood, 3 straight 18. Montrose 5-2-32, 4-goal leaders over Blackburn 1-8. Doncaster lead by 9 points over Baldwin. Roval lead by 15 points over Norwood. In Division 2, Mitcham lead by 20 points over East Burwood. Mulgrave by 10, Mooroolbark by 10 points over Mulgrave. A 3-point lead to Bayswater over the Waverley Blues. And Wantirna South held goalless at home against Lilydale as they lead by 27 points at quarter time. Croydon lead by 6 points over Doncaster East. In Division 3, the Basin kept goalless at home as well. Scoresby lead that one by 15 points. Heathmont by 8 points over Park Orchards. Ringwood have an 18-point lead over Boronia. Churnside Park by just the 4 points at Warrandyte. The Goulburn Hawks by 14 points over Forest Hill. An interesting one going on there. Ferntree Gully go up to Coldstream and they lead by 25 points at quarter time. Kilside kicked 3-10 in the first quarter and to Donvale's 3-1 and lead by those just 9 points. Eastern Lions lead by 21 points and Surrey Park lead by 40 points at quarter time over Nunawading.
Thank you very much, Dyson Baker. Here at Templestowe Reserve, of course, the Dockers 3-6-24 lead Upper Ferntree Gully 2-1-13. The goal kickers so far for the Kings. Well, Ryan Murray, he's got a couple of good ones too, both from the set shot. And for Templestowe, Matt Baines, he's kicked one, but after a few shots on goal. Danny Pearce has one, and the big kid Talevsky has one as well. So fantastic work from both sides so far. Let's cross down to Grant Campbell. Thanks to ChooseTap, match stats.
In the opening quarter, Templestowe on the hit-outs clearly 21-7, but Upper Gully were dominant in the clearances, 19-10 overall and 5-1 out of the centre. The inside 50 camp, 15-8 Templestowe's way, really dominant in the second half of that quarter. Up Upper Gully won the contested ball 40-35. Templestowe, the uncontested possessions, 44-36.
And what really stood out to me in that opening term was the speed in which Templestowe were able to move the football. And there was a couple of passages of the play where Upper Ferntree Gully were no hope of stopping them transport the Sharon from one end of the Templestowe reserve to the other. Most of the ground, of course, being played on the far side near the benches as well. Not a breath of wind out there. A great day for footy. And a good start from both sides here. So 11 points it is to Templestowe so far. Louie Bulzomi, just wondering your early thoughts on this game and what you 35 minutes in. Why that quarter went for so long for starters. A nice contested lockdown game we're seeing, but at times it can also be quite open.
Oh, that it can, but don't forget, obviously, with the issues with the fence down
yes, exactly
Street,
right.
we lost about half that time due to the ball being over there. But no, look, Upper Ferntree Gully, really, if you think about it, have not done all that much wrong. But unfortunately, the one or two times they've done things wrong, whether it's been the switch of play, which I think Brasher talked about it about 20 minutes into that first term with the way Templestowe was switching play and looking a lot more confident with that ball movement, even if the execution wasn't great. That led to at least 3 goals that... they've just got to fix a couple of those little things up and they'll be right. But one guy who could probably help really do that down back has been Andrew Godfrey. A couple of times when they've been really under pressure, he's kept his nerve. So as long as that can help, he can hopefully bring up the confidence of the rest of the back six.
Kelleher and, of course, Silver down there as well. And Tapscott have been pretty good in the back six so far for the Kings this afternoon. Harris and Haddock to do battle in the ruck to start the second term. Mariani gets pushed in the back on a good length outside the off stump. You go back and take the free kick. Running through is Danny Pearce, who accepts the handball, goes in the direction of Talevski at the front position, unable to bring the mark down. Handballs to Anthony Mariani, back across to Caden Williams. Handball can't find a target. The Kings have the numbers. Wilson is going to get crunched by Jack Wilson, just taps the ball over. There's Godfrey, there's Darcy Wilson. Jesse Wilson unable to stick the tackle on him. Too many Wilsons in there. Handball forward. Here they go now through Risley and Lachlan. Here the Kings out of trouble. Kirby, Ma just spent the ball before he had it. And Sam Kirby plays a brilliant tackle. Umpire doesn't pay the free kick for incorrect disposal, but eventually does so for a high tackle. And that's going the way of Di Stefano. Short ball to Soriano. He's got Brown across the ground. Big bad Alex Brown. The former Sydney Swan stopped. He's held up there well by Strawn. And his kick to Matty Nagel is pretty good on the lead. At half back. Almost at halfway, almost at the wing. Nagel looks to come more central, decides against it, goes across the ground to Van Kerkhoff. He's got Danny Pearce out wide, so they're using the space of this wide Templestowe reserve. Pearce, another one who spent it before he had it. Now he's got to deal with Murray in a one-on-one. None of them able to pick the footy up. Here come the cavalry, and the ball goes over the boundary line. And the umpire's plucked out a free kick. It's going the way of Bryce Hards, who was dealt with without actually having the footy in his hands. It's going against Danny Pearce, who should have taken that mark. So Hards drops one long down the line. Brown is in there.
Oh!
Could have spoiled the ball, but just watch Calvert get the juke and take a strong mark with one hand. He's taken a couple of good grabs. There's another contender for the A1 airport parking mark of the day.
He and Ryan Murray both. Murray with the left mitt in the first term, now the right mitt on this occasion by Jake Calvert. But fantastic work as well, and he was also falling onto his back as it happened. So just excellent coordination.
Waste no time with the kick on goal.
Got it.
And slicks it in. So Upper Ferntree Gully draw first blood in the second term. They move to 3-1-19. Templestowe 3-6-24 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 2.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. Let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Chiropedic betting.
Just a quick one for you, Seymour, just chatting to Rick Irwin. One thing he said at the quarter-time huddle is don't be afraid, essentially, of playing the modern game and getting the numbers down back. And if he said that if Templestowe get the numbers up forward, they're probably going to overrun Ferntree Gully as they're trying to push too many in one direction. So I think if they stick with that, they'll be pretty good.
Thanks, Davis. Ball back in the middle. Eventually, I think it's still on Porter Street, actually.
It's in the middle of the road, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's going on the 905.
Just waiting for the lights to turn green.
Yeah, here we go.
Clear it back.
Boundary.
While you're waiting for the ball to be returned, boys, an interesting quarter-time score coming in from Quamby. North Ringwood 4 straight 24. Lead ladder leaders Vermont 3-3 21. So we'll keep you updated on that one throughout the afternoon.
3-point lead at quarter time. Stop the presses.
Watch the blood pressure, Brash.
Here comes the one. Keanu Reeves bringing the ball back.
Early days yet, boys. No, early days yet for the early days. Early days
It's a slash
yet for the
between
Eagles.
Keanu Reeves and Chopper Reeves.
Yeah,
isn't it?
just that. Well, it can't be outdone by a bloody boundary umpire. I tell you that much.
Back in again. Both sides kicked the. So the Upper Ferntree Gully side kicked the first goal of the second term there through Calvert. Now we're back in the middle. The margin's back to 5 points. Ball slowly trickling towards the Templestowe goals, but some good tackling pressure being applied. That's Meliansis.
Doesn't have it.
He grabbed the bloke without actually having the footy.
Not
Umpire
at
lets
all.
it slide. Mark dropped there by Williams. He drops a high tackle.
Yeah.
It's a bit overzealous there from the Upper Ferntree Gully boys. Mariani has got to push up towards the footy. Get some space for Talevski to lead into. The kick's got to be good. And it wasn't good enough.
Mark.
And that's courageous. I think that's Silver. It is for Upper Ferntree Gully. Over the top to Godfrey.
Not Sylvan.
Not Sylvan, no. They're playing South Belgrave today.
And we still haven't got the quarter-time score.
Again, Sylvan, they
It's not
repeat offenders.
It's not uncommon.
Repeat offenders. Silver goes whack across goal with an ugly-looking reverse mongrel-looking punt. Finds the arms of a teammate there in Lawson, who eventually gives it to Hards. He goes long to centre wing. DeCarla and Hickleton in a one-on-one. DeCarla does well. The ball gets over the back. Alex Brown full steam ahead. Beaten by the boundary line. Rocking one of the great moustaches there, Brown Dog.
Yeah, very Dirk Diggler-like, isn't it?
Boundary.
Cross down boundary side. Thanks to Chiropedic betting. Esmond Aponso.
Key message from Chad Rogers for Upper Ferntree Gully at quarter time was confident, trust in each other, and just that last kick must be really good to the forwards, that's all.
Yeah, it's certainly good advice. Mariani lays a strong tackle there on Tommy Marr, and the ball trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Upper Gully have just lifted their work rate a little bit in that midfield, just denying Templestowe space early on in this second quarter.
Big fly over the top there by Harris for Templestowe. Got the knockdown, then the handball away. It was knocked away by Grice, though. Still really tugged up against that boundary line side. to Stefano in there, and might have earned himself a free kick against Grice.
He's had a good game so far.
But it was, I suppose it was there. Kicks across to Anathisio. I got it right the last time we played, Seymour. I was looking for you again. The ball comes back into the that particularly handball by Brown, looking for Will. Trap at the ball. So now this is good. Oh. The kick, they have eyes for the kick at the back. Over the hand, he goes towards.
And they do that. Handballs off to left foot kick to center. Ball punched away. Numbers with the Dockers. Danny Jackson has the kick to the middle of the ground. It's a ripper to Williams. He was going to give it to Wilson, but ignores that option. Gets around the tackle of Darcy Wilson. Waves up the kick inside 50. Talevski's got 2 to beat. Always going to be a tough ask. Brings it to ground, the big fella. Just loses his feet at the wrong moment. Risley mops up. Kicks a centre-half back. He's coming back in. Presta Giacomo gets a shepherd from Pearce. Kicks a centre-half forward. Nice. Soriano, but Papa Nicolau comes in and chops it off.
I'll have that one, thanks.
Handballs it to Soriano anyway. His left foot kick out to the forward pocket. Then the chest of Danny Pearce, the former Western Bulldog, who kicked Templestowe's first goal. Immediately turns around and Cadell Evans.
Hey!
From Soriano!
Nice.
Smart use of.
But once again, Bain still dominating when the ball.
And finding the kid. He's already in Talevski. He's a goal. On to Gully 3-1 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
A stoppage and a few bits of play, just having to help create that goal.
And the kick from Jackson that found Williams in the middle of the ground.
Sensational too.
Around the grounds with Dyson Baker.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Knox by 7 points at quarter time over South Croydon. Noble Park by 2 over East Ringwood. Montrose by 4 straight kicks over Blackburn. A 3-point lead to North Ringwood over Vermont. Doncaster by 9 points over Baldwin, and a 15-point lead to Roval over Norwood.
Clearing out his Dodds now from the forward line of Templestowe for Upper. As the kick goes out towards the wing position, they might get another chance here. Here's Jackson now for the Purple Haze, linked up well. They go inside up towards centre half forward. The kick wasn't great, and Risley got down. He didn't quite pull in the mark. The umpire said it was certainly worthy of a free kick, and he switches the ball out wide, and the mark's been taken by Bryce Hards, who's had a bit of the football as well. Gets very close to the man on the mark, but still manages to roost it every bit of 50 metres. But a big fly in the front.
Harris.
I think that was by Harris. He's spot on. pulls it down in the end. Goes for the short pass. Soriano. Now, radio games over the last season and a bit, we've seen him play deep in the forward line, but he's certainly being a little bit more creative outside of goal.
He's playing loose man on the back line, BWS. It seems like a move that really suits his gameplay.
Certainly been opened up this year with the fact that Talevski's joined the side as the kick goes forward. Fletcher Dodds, who's
Sounds like a suit, doesn't it? Fletcher Dodds, a suit.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
What, because of Fletcher Jones?
Yeah.
Kick goes out to Stefano, just paddled it towards his advantage, and over the boundary line it goes.
I just think BWS that Templestowe, when they get the ball, seem to be able to create space a lot more easier than what Upper Gully are. Upper Gully just seem to always be pinned.
I think if they're going to be able to kick enough goals, so it's going to be Templestowe on the count that has happened. That's a free kick in the second two. Working the mark. Williams, the centre half, going to win out to Caden Williams, whose work rate at centre half forwards has been impeded. The kick's poor, and he's got three.
Couldn't release the handball back. Mariani now has to use his opposite on the left. That was good play. Got it away, Soriano. Umpire said, wasn't sure if he was going to pay the distance then. Soriano goes short. Here's Bain. He's had a fair bit of the football too. Tries to spear one to Talevski. Couldn't hit the target. Willis mops up though for the Kings and kicks it out wide. And they'll have time to settle across the half-back line, Upper.
Don't mind that for Matty Bain. It's just a slight skill error. The idea was there to stab a ball into some space. Just ducks the kick a little bit. There's Whiteman at half-back as the Sun finally makes an appearance here this afternoon.
Boundary.
Have a look at that. Sun-soaked Porter Street. That's crossed down boundary side. Thanks to Chiropedic betting, Davis Harrigan.
Yeah, Ryan Silver's up and about on the boundary line, heavily strapped shoulder, but the team says he is going to come back on.
Fantastic news for the Kings. Prestigia, Como and Smith. No one really gets the hit out there. The ball just hits the ground. Running in there is, guess who? Timmy Risley. It's been everywhere.
Sun's always out in Sydney, Seymour.
Oh, well, that's probably a good trade-off, having to live in Sydney. 3-on-1 in favour of the Dockers, but Risley up to the task, not letting that ball out.
3-on-1 in favour of Melbourne in the commentary position.
Yeah, exactly right. Don't start throwing barbs at the greatest city in the world. Of course, Peter West, the self-acclaimed Prince of Paddington. Prestigia, Como and Risley at the bottom again. That's 3 times in a row. They've had to pick himself up and dust himself off. Well, on the far side, bang smack in the middle on centre wing. Whiteman ducks the head and tries to bore his way through.
I
It's a
reckon he
free kick
deserved
for a
that.
push in. Absolutely, you get to the footy first, you're always going to get free kicks.
Well, he's knee-high to a grasshopper. He should have got the free kick in the first place.
He's painted quite nicely too.
Absolutely he is, and here's the long kick down the centre half forward. He's going to get a free kick for downfield.
Yep. Got to do something with this, Brash.
They have to, because the half-back line of Templestowe are well on top.
Options are there.
Hickleton is in some space. He got to the front position, just dropped the mark, hit him on the chest. He got a mismatch. He had to deal with Athanasiou.
When you're not getting many chances, these are the sort of chances you're going to get, because you're not going to get them too often.
Giving away a lot of height to Hickleton is Athanasiou. Doing a good job so far. Ball punched out into a bit of space. How's Matty Nagel's work been so far today? Young, skinny kid. He's been sensational. Tapped over the top there by Papanikolaou. Handball smothered. Ball at ground level. Papanikolaou goes back in and gets his work. Matt Mariani to Pearce. Back to Matt Mariani. Now they're working the ball well, the Dockers. Kick to Fletcher Dodds, so it's centre half forward. Still directed. Touches the ball on the ground. Probably not overly necessary. Back to Liam Galley, that is, who's got the job on Talevski. Whiteman at half back. Long ball down to centre wing, just over the top of the head of Ryan Murray, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Louis, one of the things that Templestowe have been able to successfully do is to take control of the corridor, and they just keep forcing Upper Gully wide, and they can create no momentum going into their forward line.
Absolutely, stifling them every opportunity, Brush.
Upper looking for another chance to go forward. Scrambling kick up towards the half-forward line. Nicely knocked away that time by Papanikolaou. And over she goes for a boundary throw-in.
And that's part of the reason why, because the half-back line of Templestowe are well on top.
Aptly nicknamed the Rawalpindi Express, Papanikolaou. You get right up close to him, he genuinely looks like Shao Bakhtar.
Gee, I thought it was Greek.
No, he is, but
Doesn't mean he can't look like someone else. As it comes down to Risley, linked up a handball, looking for Grice, dived over it, couldn't release it. Now the Stowe did well. Here's Presti got the handball away, looking for Jackson. That was chopped off. Now the Kings have their own chance. On the left boot, they go up towards the half-forward line, bouncing football across the face. Here's Godfrey. He had some sort of a first term. He's got a good kick on him too. Top of the goal square he goes, but the mark has been taken in the end by the man in Charlie Athanasiou, who we've just been talking about, and he's been getting a fair bit of the football as well. Short passes on, Nagel.
It's been very impressive, this young man.
He is quite lean, isn't he? But geez, he's got a lot of guts and a lot of skill as well, which is
still an under-19s
very
player.
Impressive. As obviously you give a guy a rap and he kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Terrible.
Boys, there's a couple of...
we're going back to the top of the goal square. Here's Hickleton. Got a little handball away. Got to cut you off when we have to, Dyson Baker. You may be the boss, but we'll tell you when.
Not very good match awareness from the media manager.
And now the boundary's trying to chime in as well, but we're going to Dyson Baker around the grounds.
Couple of upsets are brewing, one in each division. Doncaster East, 5-goal leaders midway through the second term over Baldwin in Division 2, a 6-goal lead to Lilydale over Wanturna South, and a 3.5-goal lead to Scoresby over the Basin.
Cross down boundary side, thanks to Chiropedic betting.
Been Iron Ryan's very ginger with his shoulder. He's just holding in the bottom of his jumper.
So ball goes forward, and the mark has been taken in there by the man in Tate Hickleton. Josh Dorr labelled him last night as his boy on the huddle. Dyson Baker is a big fan of his short shorts. I like his long jumper, personally.
Yeah, I do like his... And he's got the rock star name as well.
Got a shot on goal. He keeps it low, and he almost got it there as well. He just tried to poke and be cheeky at it, but through for a minor score. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, as we cross the 17, make that 18-minute mark of this second term, Templestowe still hold the lead.
They do, by 9 points. 4-6-30, plays 3-3-21. De Stefano, shocking kick out of full back, almost into the lap of Dean Grice, who should have taken the mark, really. And it's kicked forward, mark taken by Harris. So Templestowe very lucky to get out of that one. Handballs to the man running past. That's Tommy May. Big kick to centre-half forward. Should have lowered the eyes. And it's easy pickings for the Upper Ferntree Gully defenders.
That was a big chance for Tempe then.
It certainly was. It's a lack of experience there from Tommy May. Almost surprised that he got the ball on the run like he did. Pierce is going to take the relieving mark at centre-half back for the Dockers. Matt Mariani. Handballs out to Danny Jackson. Back to Mariani. Back to Pierce. They're working in handballs here, the Dockers. Pierce again. Sells a little bit of candy. Gets around a couple of tacklers.
Well done.
Back in board to May. Just loses his handle on the footy. Goes back to Pierce. Old schoolyard chums, those two. They'll enjoy playing footy together.
Good
De
take.
Stefano. The big barrel chest again. Running through the middle of Templestowe reserve. Finally, the kick inside 50 makes its way down there, but it's chopped off by Silver. Left foot kick out to the wing. Brown in front, unable to take the mark. Wilson. Brown's going to get a free kick for a push in the back, and it should be 25 as well.
He's having a ripper game at centre-half back, Brown. He's just controlling everything.
One of the all-time greats, Alex Brown.
You know, he's part of the reason why Templestowe are in front. He's leading the charge.
One of your mates, Seymour.
Oh, one of the absolute best. Have a look at the pot belly he's rolling with as well. It's getting a little bit doughy.
Don't matter, he can still play footy, mate.
Absolutely, he can.
More love.
Short kick over the top to Soriano. Jeez, a good kick by Brown. It's a low ball on the lead. Williams just got that separation, and the kick was perfect. So the Dockers will have an uncontested shot at goal. Cadell Evans is the man.
Got him.
His new nickname's got to be Cadell from here on in.
Here it goes from 30 metres out straight in front to blow the margin out to 15 points. It'll be a game high 15 points as well. Technique looks pretty good. Kick looks pretty good. Doesn't, just to the left. So just a little bit of swing on it. And we'll have a behind to the Dockers there. 4-7-31. Upper Ferntree Gully 3-3-21. 10 points of margin. Just ticking into time on here in the second term.
Speaking of potential upsets, boys, Roval 4-4-28, Norwood 7-5-47 at half-time.
Oh, very interesting, Dyson. Any more that are floating around as there's a stoppage in play here?
Only a couple of half-time scores to come through. Mooroolbark and Mulgrave, 26-point lead to Mooroolbark there. Mitcham lead by 40 points over East Burwood at half-time.
Well, you can put the hooter on that one.
Oh, it's
Thanks, Brash.
It's a 10-point margin out here. Templestowe hold the lead. As now the Kings, through Godfrey, go up towards a wing position.
I know it's 1v2 at the moment, but probably the last 5 to 7 minutes wouldn't say it's been pristine football by either side, but hence the pressure though.
It's all about the pressure on a game like today as the umpire brings the ball back in. Knocked down, that one went to Harris, picked up by Jackson around on the left boot. Now they're linking beautifully forward here. Templestowe going forward. Surely there's some holding happening on them, Bain behind.
Absolutely well picked up.
You could see it an absolute mile away. It was a 2-on-1 situation. It was unnecessary by Fletcher Dodds, and he's... it's almost like he's trying to apologise to the umpire for doing something so silly, but it was still a free kick.
The pressure that moving the ball so quickly, it puts the defenders under all sorts. The kick from Jackson really was poor. It was to the disadvantage of Bain, and he was smart enough to at least put himself in a position where the defenders have to start hanging off him. So,
Matty Bain's kicked 1 goal so far.
He's got to get that out of his head real quick.
He can absolutely lock this one down for the champ, and he puts it straight over the goal umpire's head for number 2, and that is 2 on the board now for the Templestowe Football Club. Their margin is 16 points over Upper Ferntree Gully, 22.5 minutes into the second term.
At the
May
moment,
have gone a bit... Sorry, Brash, may have gone a bit early on the Doncaster-Baldwin game. Baldwin have kicked 5 goals in 7 minutes, and they're back to a 3-point deficit.
I think at the moment, Louie, Templestowe have just played the better moments in the game. They just they've taken their chances when they've presented them, and Upper Gully just not getting the ball enough into their forward line.
Yeah, far more headstrong, Brash. And you mentioned before about the influence of Alex Brown from down back. That's what's made a really big difference there in their transitions forward.
ball back in the middle. Haddock, Lachlan. Upper Ferntree Gully out wide now, bouncing ball and collecting that is Ryan Silva.
Nice.
He's tackled by JP Melietsis. He's off and running with the ball. Low kick at centre half forward. Good jukes by Anthony Mariani. That should be 50 against Lawson. Umpire not on top of that.
You're kidding yourself. And it's not 50, it's 25.
Anthony Mariani in the middle of the ground. So I got a little bit carried away there. Over the top to Jackson, who's just had the ball batted away from him. Lawson picks that up. Plenty of tackling pressure applied by the Dockers though. Just mucking around with it now, the Kings. Back to Lachlan. His low kick to the wing is good. Calvert. Papa Nicolau hot on his hammer.
Who too?
The kick inside the middle of the ground. It was great. It's well designed. Brenton Toole gets around the tackle of Pearce and kicks it to Hickleton on the lead. So it's well worked by the Kings in the end. A little bit like a swan. Beautiful on top, but plenty happening underneath.
In your defence, Brash, it had to bounce right, but I could see where the kick was aimed at, so it was a good spotter.
Hickleton to cut the margin back to 10 points.
Oh, what a beauty.
That's a goal off the boot. That's a cracker, and it's gone on to Porter Street again, so gents have 10 minutes off.
Okay, we'll see you back here at the 33-minute mark. The ugly duckling ball turned into a beautiful swan tool. Everyone else would have thought, oh, yeah, that could bounce anyway. The funniness about the oval-shaped ball, it can play tricks on anyone. It wasn't playing tricks on Brenton Toole. He made that goal, the pass into Hickleton. Fantastic stuff there from Upper Gully. You can turn the ugly into something good. It's going to reward you down the end. So they're still hanging tough, though.
And what they needed, Brash, was a bit of play like that where they had fast-moving football and the result at the end where they've worked probably a little bit too hard for their goals thus far.
They have. And obviously, like you said, sometimes you've got to make your own luck, BWS, and fortune favoured the bold there.
Early contender for the Pancake Parlour play of the day there for the Upper Ferntree Gully Football Club. I'm sure there'll be plenty of other contenders throughout. 25-minute mark. First quarter went 35. Here's Mariani. Comes through the middle of the ground now. Scrambles a kick forward, but straight into the arms of Brian Silva. Had a fair bit of the football. Loops around on that trusty left boot. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Couldn't quite pull the mark down. There was Toole. They might be advantage paid. Here's Godfrey on the left boot. Kicks it towards the Hickleton direction. Tried to play for the free kick. At the fall of the ball. Step around the body by Whiteman. Which way will this one go? Right to the line where Kirby had only eyes for the football, but he was lucky enough to know that it was going to carry the distance through for one behind. Margin back to 9 points out here at Templestowe Reserve.
Sparks back in the Kings, Brush.
Yeah, they are. Young Whiteman has just lifted his intensity in the last 2 or 3 minutes and has won some key possession.
To Stefano. Got the kicking duties for the Dockers once more. And it's always hard to get the footy out from full back down that end of the ground. Plays to himself. Goes short over the top. Finds Danny Jackson, who's been pretty good in this game for the Dockers so far. Old-fashioned looking footballer.
He knows how to find space as well. He's a clever footballer. That's what he is.
Certainly is. Goes back to Di Stefano. 10 metres out from the Upper Ferntree Gully goal. Goes long down the line at centre-half back. Jesse Wilson's the target.
Good
Has to
spot.
affect
That's
the spoil.
so good.
And then collects the ball. And keeps it in and shows his opponent a clean pair of heels. Tommy May back in board. Goes to centre-half forward. Mark not taken by Caden Williams, but will get a free kick. They'll take advantage. May releases Alex Brandon into a bit of space. Has the kick from the superstar. It's centimetre perfect. And Talevski coming up and takes the mark 40 metres out. Goes in the middle of the ground. Mariani on the lead. Unable to take the mark. Danny Pearce mops up. Spins out on a bit of trouble. Right kick towards goal. And Dodds on the line. Last line of defence. They just needed to settle there, I think, the Dockers. Talevski probably should have gone back and had the shot.
Jesse Wilson, Pancake Parlour play of the day contender there without a shadow of a doubt.
And that's another good mark by Calvert. His third nomination for A1 Airport Parking mark of the day. Athanasia gives away the free kick at centre wing.
No.
Oh, gets the free kick. No, umpire pointed the wrong way.
No.
Yeah, Brenton Toole.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side, thanks to the chiropractic betting.
Both teams got very strong-bodied players, but Templestowe, the Dockers are just moving the ball faster. They're just running a little bit harder and quicker over the ground.
So a 9-point margin in the shadows of half-time. 27.5 minutes gone. It's been a pretty good game so far, Benny.
Really enjoying it being out here. It's a tough contest, which is what we expected.
Yep, absolutely.
Right throughout.
Boundary thrown right out in front of the old go-karting track.
Oh, the remote controls. Where are they today?
Too
wet.
Jiggles.
Harris down to Brown, who handballs back to Harris. Over the top,
Russell,
looking
mate.
for Di Stefano, but Marv barges his way through and kicks it out on the full.
It's a pretty small go-kart out there on that track.
Absolutely, it would be. The kick from Kirby Di Stefano was ill-directed.
Bang!
And the Kings, they're peppering the goals, so they just can't quite find that radar. And out of bounds on the full. I think that was by Mar again.
At least Upper Gully can take some solace in that they're finishing the quarter. They're running the quarter out quite nicely. Even though they haven't hit the scoreboard, at least they're still in the contest. And that's all you can do.
The longer it remains locked down like this, the more of a chance Upper Gully are to come away with a good win here today. You get the feeling if it does open up and the game starts to become a bit more spread-eagled, it certainly suits the Dockers.
For Jackson to get that football. I know it's a first world problem, but I tell you what, that was pretty tough for him.
I think
Hand up for an interchange rotation
Templestowe
shortly for
players
Jackson, I
are
think.
instructed to keep their Mikeys in their sock. Kirby takes the kick from Jackson, and there's the half-time siren. So what a half of footy it's been out here at Porter Street. First versus second in Division 3. Both sides undefeated. And the goal kickers so far for the Dockers, Talevski and Matty Bain have 2 apiece, while Pearce has 1. And for the Upper Ferntree Gully, Brian Murray's got a couple, and singles to Calvert and Tate Hickleton. The score at half-time is 5-7-37 to Upper Ferntree Gully, 4-4-28. Make sure you stay tuned for the Pie Shed half-time show. Don't go anywhere.
On the pie shed.
I've also planned for the future. With the Tobin Brothers Funerals fixed price funeral plan, you can be sure your family won't be burdened with the cost of your funeral. Your life will be celebrated the way you want it, and the price is fixed forever.
Je l'ai prévu pour l'avenir.
Plan for the future today so you can
That's
relax
right, it's locked
and
in.
enjoy
That's
the
signed,
journey
sealed, delivered.
with those who matter most. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au.
No.
Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating diversity as they celebrate lives.
Program sponsor.
Hello.
Bigger and better in season
Working.
2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Hope we win this weekend.
I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game.
Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase.
Oh, free pancake. First your team wins and then your belly wins.
It's win-win, man.
Claim your free sweet pancake with any savoury item purchase just by showing your winning team's colours.
Or your team membership.
At any Pancake Parlour this weekend.
Oh, and don't forget, check out Facebook for this week's offer.
Lovely.
Program sponsor.
Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League.
Welcome back to the Radio Eastern Studios. Dyson Baker with you to take you through some of the around-the-ground scores that we've got going on in the Eastern Football League. Plenty of great games as you love it local right across the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. Starting in Division 1, a close game between South Croydon and Knox, as it always is. South Croydon 7-3-45, lead Knox 7-2-44. It's a 19-point lead to East Ringwood, 6-5-41. They lead Noble Park 3-4-22. Montrose lead by 8 points at half-time, 8-3-51, leading Blackburn 6-7-43. Norwood lead by 19 points at half-time over Roval. Roval 4-4-28, trailing Norwood 7-5-47. At half-time at Eastfield Reserve. Eastfield 2-3-15, trail Mitcham 8-6-54. Mooroolbark 7-1-43, lead Mulgrave 4-3-27. Lilydale away from home 8-4-52, lead by 4 straight kicks over Wanturna South 3-10-28. And Croydon at 8, lead by 8 points 7-8-50 over Doncaster 6-6-42. In Division 3, the Basin trail Scoresby by 11 points. Scoresby 6-5-41, lead the Basin 4-6-30. A 10-point lead to Heathmont over Park Orchards 5-6-36. Heathmont plays Park Orchards 4-2-26. In our radio game, of course, Templestowe 5-7-37, lead by 9 points over Upper Ferntree Gully 4-4-28. And Churnside Park, 19-point leaders over Warrandyte 7-8-50. Churnside Park, the Bloods 5-1-31. A full range of scores in Division 4, which is what we like to see. A 2-point lead to Forest Hill over the Glenmobley Hawks. A 46-point lead to Ferntree Gully over Coldstream. An 11-point lead to the Eastern Lions over Whitehorse. And a 117-point win to Surrey Park over Nunawading. And boys, as I bring you back in, 19 scoring shots to 14. Yet Donvale still lead the game over Kilsyth by 20 points. 5-14-44 Kilsyth. Donvale 10-4-64. Apparently Nick Murphy's got 7 of the best to half-time for the Vales.
Well, Dyson, once again, that's, bad kicking is bad football.
Bad football. And I've just got the update score from Doncaster and Balwyn. And Doncaster just got the lead back late in that term. 10-5-65 the Sharks. Balwyn 10-3-63. So an absolute corker going on at Shram's Reserve at the moment.
Anything from Quamby?
No, I think they're running behind most of the league at the moment, so I'll shoot you that one through when it comes to hand.
Okay, Dyson, we're back here at Templestowe this afternoon, and at half-time, it's Templestowe, 5 goals, 7-37, leading Upper Ferntree Gully, 4 goals, 4-28, and I've got Louie and Davis in the half-time break with me. Louie, where do you think at the moment that Templestowe are winning the game?
Well, Brash, they're certainly winning it through the corridor at the moment, so they're making full use of that rebound play from their defence. Upper Gully not as fluent when it comes to their own methods of rebounding, despite the efforts of Andrew Godfrey and Ryan Silver down back. It really just has been a bit more just level-headed confidence for Templestowe. But however, the good thing, though, with Upper Ferntree Gully, they have not let that become their main psyche to say, they just got it so much better than us at the moment. We're just going to lower our colours a bit. They're not. They're what they're losing in that aspect of the game, they're making up for it with what they're doing without the footy, and that's their 1%ers. Their tackling pressure, their gang tackling, and they've been able to at least break Templestowe down enough times when they've been going forward to keep themselves in with a chance. In saying that, though, 5 goals, 7 scoreline read for Templestowe probably just suggests that maybe they could have had a bit more reward for effort on the scoreboard as well, especially with the dominance of Bain and Talevski when the ball's been in their vicinity with their marking power.
Davis, both coaches are working the benches overtime to try and find that X factor. Who do you think's on top in that department?
Yeah, you mentioned it well. There's been bulk changes up to 2 or 3 every sort of minute when they do changeovers on the bench. I think it's pretty even, although a couple of players that I noticed in particular, Jordan Whiteman was given sort of on and off, very quick burst spells from the bench. Not so much that I found it interesting, but he was just one of the players that seemed to come off most for Upper Ferntree Gully. But I think they're using it well enough to just keep the speed up. Both teams look very fresh in their legs, although I still think Templestowe are delivering it a bit quicker down through the corridor, as you mentioned, Louie. However, I think both of these teams are getting some areas into that forward 50. Both teams the last few times were not kicking and finding the man just near the goal square, about 20 metres out. And as Esmond mentioned during the quarter, that was one thing that the Upper Ferntree Gully was focusing on, that they just couldn't get that right man inside the forward 50. But I think it's just been a very even spread across the interchange. No one, aside from a few stiff legs and obviously Ryan Silver's shoulders now back on the ground, still looked a bit ginger, as I said, during the quarter, but both of them are looking pretty even. So if they keep doing that, I don't think we're going to see tired legs until late in the fourth quarter.
I think though, if there is an advantage that Templestowe have at the moment, I think Templestowe's half-back line are in control of the contest. Yes. I think they're... Woods, De Stefano, and I think it's Athanasio.
Yeah, they're coming better. They're coming better out of the back line and more fluid out of the back line, rather than handballing around the goal square, which Upper Ferntree Gully were doing that last 5 minutes. They couldn't get out and were going back and forth to try and find the opening. Templestowe wanted to ram it through and ram it up into the centre square within 1 or 2 kicks, and that's what I really liked, which was creating more chances for them, even though they haven't come through on the scoreboard.
I think one of the things, though, that both coaches will be interested in this second half is to neither side has really taken control of the centre. I think the honours have been pretty much shared. The Mariani brothers have probably not had as much influence as probably what they'd hoped. However, I think Bryce Hards and Jordan Whiteman have performed admirably in that midfield to keep Upper Gully in the game. But I think it's going to come down to, in the second half, especially if the rain comes, I think it's going to come down to the bigger bodies, and that's where I think Templestowe could come to the play.
And that's where I've really been liking Talevski. He's so quick, yet he's so big, he's so agile. He feels like that sort of Aaron Sanderland sort of guy. He can get down, he can kick it, and obviously he's been a great presence in the forward line. And if Templestowe can use Talevski to their advantage, they're really going to potentially open this up.
And then you got Bain as a fantastic sidekick as well. You know, if Talevski's
Bain's the brains to Talevski's brawn, so to speak.
Exactly right, Dave. Yes, it works so well in tandem.
Yeah, and look, top 2 clash. You're not expecting a blowout at half time, and the game's going exactly the way that both sides would probably want. Close, not too much give and take. However, though, it's going to come down to clean possession and who takes control of that centre line. I think that's really, really important. It's interesting to see which coach is going to pull off that master move that's going to engineer maybe a 20-point, 26-point lead to break the game open. Which coach do you think has the ammunition to do that?
I think both teams and both coaches do it, and they've shown it in their huddles and out on the field. I don't think it's so much a master plan, but there's just something needs to switch for either team. And at the moment, if neither Templestowe or Upper Ferntree Gully can break the pressure that they're throwing at each other, I don't think that master move is going to come. So you don't
think that both coaches have a sort of X factor that they can pull a rabbit out of the hat to engineer a match-winning lead in this second half?
Do they have an X factor? Quite likely, but do they have the ability or the want or the actual power to do it in such a tight game? Well, we're going to have to find out.
Would you keep it status quo in that case, Davis? Considering how both sides, in effect, for the majority of general play, have been pretty evenly matched.
I'd say it's going to be pretty evenly matched for the second half as well.
Yeah, well, I guess, I mean, a few aspects, I think, and I could be wrong in my own observation. Brasher, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The way in which Templestowe have been running the ball, it just seems like that there has been that bit more urgency to follow up when they've disposed of it. And we saw that fantastic play from Jesse Wilson on the broadcast wing earlier. I mean, he got that first initial kick. He kept the ball inside play with only a millimetre to spare, got the kick forward, but he didn't just stop there. No. He moved on forward, and he was pretty much almost at the feet of Talevski. Didn't end up getting the handball receive in the end, but that work rate that he showed makes me think that, you know, it could come down to something like that, where you just get those little burst players where everyone else is starting to get that little bit of fatigue coming in the legs, where they just come through and help create those opportunities in waves. So we'll see whether that might be a possible X factor, especially in the last quarter if things remain tight.
And Templestowe are running quite evenly both ways, both up and downhill here at Templestowe Reserve. And as you mentioned, Louie, they've been a lot more fluid, and I think their marking's been a little stronger as well. And once they do mark, they don't hesitate; they push it straight on, and don't look for the big long kicks. Both teams are looking very, very flat at the moment with such a strong wind being out there in the second quarter, Brash.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, it's, you know, can the two key forwards, Higleton or Talevski, get off of the leash in the second in this second half? Because I think if either one of these two can kick a few goals, I think that's going to, you know, that could set their side on to victory. Well, that should be the end of the halftime show here on EFL Game Day, with the Templestowe side coming back out on the ground. We're going to cross back to the studio, and we'll be back after the break with the start of the second half, Templestowe versus Upper Ferntree Gully.
The EFL is all you love about football. Standing in the outer with your mates, kick to kick on the ground with the kids, always a family-friendly atmosphere. Don't miss a moment every weekend across the eastern suburbs. The Eastern Football League is local footy at its best. For more information, jump onto efl.org.au or search Footy EFL on Facebook or Twitter.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking? At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct for mattresses, bases, beds, electric beds, trundle beds, quality pillows, as well as custom-sized mattresses made to measure. Factory Direct locations around Melbourne and country Victoria. To keep up to date on the latest sales, fun facts and news, go to Facebook, search and like Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct, and you'll join over 17,000 Facebook fans. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Or shop online at chiropedic.net.au. Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss EFL Sunday. From 10 till 12 every Sunday morning, the EFL media team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders, following a big round of EFL footy. The gang talk to the biggest names from across the league each and every week. EFL Sunday, from 10 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Looks like we're ready to go.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Back out here to Templestowe Reserve, Porter Street. The margin at half-time, 9 points to the Dockers, both sides in position. Let's go to Grant Soupy Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap. What were the stats that mattered in that first half?
In the second quarter, Templestowe won the inside 50s, 14-10. Upper Gully won the contested ball, 37-35. Templestowe with 19 more uncontested possessions, winning at 57-38. Upper Gully defence held on pretty well because they had 9 intercept marks for the quarter. I think they were all in their defensive half. Templestowe with the 4. Templestowe 6 marks inside 50 to 3, but a couple of occasions they elected not to have shots at goal as the third quarter is about to begin, Paul.
4 games so far in 2016. The Dockers have led by less than 3 goals at half-time and gone on to win by more than 10. So that's been the theme for them so far this year. They've been able to blow sides away in the third term. Let's see how they go here. Harris is in the middle of the ground. Goes back to Pearce, who tried to do a little bit too much in that first half, I feel, Danny Pearce. To Nagel, who couldn't quite pick up the bouncing football. Tackled by Ma on hands and knees. Picks up the ball, looking for Risley. Bounces back in the arms of Ma. He now goes back to Risley, who's in a good position. Lachlan, he's got Jackson hot on his hammer. Ball's chopped off by Vanderweel in the middle of the ground. Whiteman comes in and has his head clean ripped off. Handball's into the middle of the ground. Here come the Kings now going forward. Here's Bryce Hards. Out wide again. Handball to Godfrey. He's got on the right side for a left footer. Kick in the direction of Toole. He's got one to beat. He can't quite beat Evan Fayadonis. And the ball comes to ground. Hickleton to Carla. Hickleton tackled by Wilson, and the boundary line beats all comers.
Interestingly, Brenton Toole's in the forward line. Last year he was a midfielder, so I'm wondering whether he's just come back off injury and they're just trying to run him into a bit of form, because he's normally not a forward player.
He was on holiday for a bit, but I think he's just had a little bit of a dog of a day, and they've realised that maybe the forward pocket's a good spot for him. Whiteman, bouncing ball to Murray, who does a great job. Sells a bit of candy and then rolls one home. So they drew first blood in the first quarter, the second quarter, and now here in the third. Margin back to within a kick. 5-7-37, plays 5-4-34. 3-point margin on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Minute and a half in second half.
Well, that was one good little bamboozling sort of ball rolling in from Murray that could make anyone giggle about, that's for sure. Giggle certainly did. But no, fantastic work early for Upper Ferntree Gully. That'll give them great momentum off the back of half-time. 2 very important pieces of play, their little one-percenters. Tom Maher had about 2 or 3 would-be tacklers coming towards him, burrowed underneath, and then was able to bob up with a handball. And then also the courage of Jordan Whiteman in the centre of the ground too to draw the free kick helped that opportunity happen.
Harrison Smith, Pearce, out wide to Jesse Wilson, who's got some toe. Kick to centre half forward. Soriano in front of his opponent there in Tapscott. Goes out on the full. So Tapscott, remember the horribly receding hairline. Right back there, almost at the base of the skull. Here he comes in. Left foot kick long down the line. It's been a theme of a lot of their play this afternoon. Smith and Harris. Harris gets to the front, couldn't quite bring the mark down. And the Upper Gully boys at ground level. Then Lachlan up to centre half forward. Toole bounces off his chest. Toole and Fayadonis one-on-one. The cavalry arrive. Toole gets the footy. He's rolled nicely in a tackle by Fayadonis. He was careful not to get in his back. We'll have a ball up. Right on the edge of the centre square, right down the throat of Risley. Handballs forward to Toole, back to Risley, who gets away from Fayadonis, and he's looking to put the Kings in front. The kicks to the left.
Bad luck.
And Hickleton, he thought he'd marked the ball. He hasn't, though. It's a behind. 5-5-35, plays 5-7-37. The Kings have looked excellent so far to start this second half. Jackson, he's been one of the Templestowe's best players. Kicks to Pearce. He's been everywhere so far in the 3 minutes since half-time. He's got a lot of options. Umpire calls him to play on eventually. He's going to have to play the percentages. Anthony Mariani's got a little bit of a sit. Lawson gets in his back a little bit. Umpire says play on. Godfrey's going to lead all comers to that football. Mops it up at half-back. Goes into the middle of the ground. Mark taken there by Brad Callagher. He's been quiet today. Out to our man Calvert, who's taken a couple of good grabs today.
That's no exception there.
A good mark under some serious pressure from Athanasiou. Tony Jackson did a good job to drop back into the hole that he was about to kick and sell some candy on the mark. Then kicks it long inside forward, 50. Smith over the back, Pearce, no mark. Then laid the tackle on Willis at ground level. So a good footy by Danny Pearce. Almost took a good hang, but was able to bounce back to his feet and lay the tackle when required as well. Harris down to Athanasiou. There's the old KB. He tries to handball to himself. Just runs out of room. Boundary umpire in position A. Calls it out of bounds.
I like Upper Gully's start in this second half. They've been really aggressive and aggressive at the ball, and you know they're trying to create opportunities and put Templestowe under some pressure here.
Harris and Smith. Smith does the body work, gets Harris out of the contest, but is good at ground level. Gets the clearance, big Simon Harris. There's Johnny Vanderweel on the lead, takes a strong mark on the chest, rolls around, comes back inboard, kicks pretty ill-directed, but no mark taken. Have a look at Telesky down there at ground level. Can't quite pick the ball up. Gelly is able to do so, though. Tapping towards the boundary line is Tapscott. He's got Soriano hot on his hammer. Dives on the ball, does Tapscott. Gelly, handballs over the top. Plenty of players in support. There's a good tackle laid by the Templestowe forward. Some good forward pressure. Handball by Matt Mariani. It's got Anthony Mariani. He's in some space. Too much curl on the kick. That would have been a heartbreaker.
Oh, well, we better put some time on here. It's gone onto the road. Looks like the bus could be picking that ball up very quickly.
It'd be probably worth having a bag of balls behind the goals.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
And there goes the 9:05.
See you later. 20K's the Ringwood.
5.5 minutes gone.
Lovely camera work from Lee Green as well to show that road sign. Thanks for that, mate. Good educational work there for anyone watching on YouTube.
So Andrew Godfrey, left foot kick. They've liked that far side coming out of full back. Kick goes straight to Williams. He's been excellent centre-half forward for the Dockers today. And look at Johnny Vanderweel. He's in a paddock of space if Williams can get it there. He can't. Looks like he might back himself in. He's going to kick this from 52.
You're going to have to, considering how much space Vanderweel had.
You get the feeling this one's just is going to fall short. Just sets it up to the top of the square. Distance all right in the end, but the accuracy not so good. 5.9.39 the Stowe. It's not great in front of goal. 5.5.35 Upper Gully. 6.5 minutes gone.
Brash, you can breathe easier. You just got to score through from Cornbury Reserve, North Ringwood 4-1-25, Vermont 7-10-52.
Oh, thank
Status
you.
quo restored.
Godfrey,
thank you.
Again to a big pack of players. Calvert, who's working in the air today, has been exceptional.
Well, he's taken 5 contested marks, Paul, and they've all been under pressure. He's playing really well, Calvert.
And the kick was great to Tapscott, right on the other side of the ground, so it affected the switch. Short to Godfrey.
Oh, no.
Just got that ball spinning in the wrong way. Mariani takes a mark, plays on straight away. Looking for Telesky. The kick was a shocker. Made the big fella bend down and pick it up, but he's up to the task. He runs into an open goal, and he slams it through for number 3. That's a backbreaker if you're a King supporter.
That was a bit Dacos-esque, Dad. The way he just used the outside of the boot and just let it roll and caressed it through the goals, really. It was a lovely piece of play by Telesky.
Yeah, as he was breaking through, it was like time stood still for everyone else around him as well, too, Brasher. It's like he just stunned them with his brilliance in that one. It was fantastic work from Telesky.
Chiropedic betting goal of the day. There's your main contender right there, I reckon, Keir Telesky. The kick from Mariani was absolutely terrible and great recovery from the big fella. Let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Chiropedic betting, Davis Harrigan.
You talk about moment of brilliance there from Telesky. He did not look flustered or pressured at all, so it was a great goal.
Big time, Davis. Big time.
Ball back in the middle here. Haddock got the knockdown, then won his own football as well. Well, the Ginger Nut did well. Got his kick-ass mother. Goes after it again, the big fella. And he'll hand it back to the umpire. Looks like he could be on probably a set of Game of Thrones or Vikings.
It does.
Umpire throws it up now. Nicely done there by Mark. Got the handball back. Now it'll be the Kings through Grice. Linking back into the middle of the ground. It was a look-away handball. He's looking for Risley, but he got away. Haddock. Had enough time, got it away. That's okay. Here's Lawson on the left boot. They're scrambling at the moment. Jackson tried to chop it off, but in came Ma. Arched the back, then slammed it on his left boot. Inside forward 50. The ball goes over the back of the pack. Nicely mopped up there by DeCarla. He got the handball away to Stefano. Scrambling kick. Where's that going? Absolutely nowhere. Matt Mariani, though, had enough poise. Got the handball away. Straight to his opposition, though. Kick goes slamming back in towards the forward arc for Upper Ferntree Gully. But Joel DeCarla underneath it takes a solid mark on the far side here of Templestowe Reserve. Using that side quite a lot today. Ben Haddock takes another mark. Risley's asked for it, and when Risley asked for it, he should get it, and he did.
Had a good quarter so far, Risley.
Yep.
Good game.
Yep.
And Timmy Risley out wide finds Godfrey. He's also had a great game inside forward 50. Here he goes, a big fly over the back. Couldn't quite pull the mark down. And now Templestowe in the arms of Pearce, who kicked a goal in the first term, thumps the ball up towards the Bain direction. This is good end-to-end footy. This way, that way, then use the outside of his boot. Tried to squeeze it up to centre-half forward. but fell into the arms of Ryan Silva, who has played a sensational game thus far, and he chips it over to Godfrey.
Godfrey, bouncing handball to Galley, makes the big fella do some work, has to go back to Godfrey, goes back over the top to Galley, who's met by Anthony Mariani, who picked his pocket. Brother Matt in to lend some support, who got a free kick for too high. No advantage. Umpire says the ball must come back. So, free kick going the way of the Dockers. It's on centre wing. Matt Mariani, the recipient.
It's almost like Upper Gully prepared to absorb the pressure and then sweat on Templestowe's mistakes.
So there's Matt Mariani, long down the line, big packet, centre half forward. Who's going to take the mark?
Silver again.
Absolutely, it is Ryan Silva. It's a good grab too. In a bunch of players. And the kick, centre half back to Godfrey was good. Godfrey has been good so far this term. To Fletcher Dodds, who takes off and tries to take on a few Templestowe players. Does it well. Grice in the middle of the ground, drops the mark.
Oh, good class there.
Yeah, great work there by Risley, who comes barnstorming through the middle of the ground. Up to centre half forward. Brenton Toole was the only one that kept his feet, but then left the footy behind. Dean Papanicolaou
I reckon
comes
he was a bit stiff there.
No.
He was a bit stiff there, Toole.
The Rawalpindi Express goes across the ground. Tommy May in the middle of the ground. Not a very good aerialist. Lets the ball bounce. Anthony Mariani, Dean Grice. Grice accepts the tackle of Mariani. Lets the footy go. Tommy May's in there. Picked up by Whiteman. Great work by him. On hands and knees. Kicking off the ground was Hards. And it's gone out of bounds on the full. It'll be a free kick right out in front of the Templestowe bench. Taken by Matty Nagel. Nagel's kick in the middle of the ground is a shocker. Did not spin the right way at all, but it's mopped up by Harris, who's going to take a bounce, but decides to handball out in the direction of May. It was very ill-directed. Ma to Darcy Williams, Whiteman, Godfrey. Left foot kick inside the forward 50. Hickleton's got the sit. Great work, Athanasio, but he's hanging off of him. So Hickleton's going to get the free kick.
Oh, look, I reckon that's a 50-50. I reckon the ump could afford to have let that one go. I think both players were...
They were rewarded for having the front position, Hickleton.
Well.
Being too big. And Godfrey, off the half back and in the middle of the ground, has been awesome for the Kings this quarter. To cut the margin back to a kick again from Hickleton. Never on target, that one. 5-6-36, plays 6-9-45. 9 points of margin, 12 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, third term.
One just feels, though, that Upper Gully, when they go forward, BWS, they've got to hit the scoreboard and score, because you almost feel like the Templestowe are going to come back at you and probably kick a couple of quick ones to hurt you.
Yeah, that's. I think everyone can sense that here, that it's a little bit more scary for the opposition when Templestowe go forward and they get their chance here. Big nice. Tyler Willis on the second grab. Fantastic pull down. So that's also a contender for our mark of the day. Thanks to A1 Airport Parking. Jackson slammed it on his boot. Lux of Fortune got it away. Papanicolaou got released the handball. Now they go up towards the half-forward line. Vanderwell couldn't quite trap it. Now the Kings. In the arms of Galley, backwards to go forwards. That's okay. Here's Silva on the left boot. He had some space, kicked it out wide. Here's Andrew Godfrey.
Been awesome this term.
Unbelievable game so far. He's certainly my best as he drives the ball up towards the wing position. Hickleton came charging out. He had Fedonis right there as well. They've got a handle on the football, and over she goes for a boundary throw-in. Bunch of supporters on the far side of the ground for Upper Gully, having a few cans.
That's it.
Comes in now, stolen by Pierce. I got one on the shoulder. It was definitely there.
Of course it was.
Upper Gully fans screaming for the
There
free
we
kick.
go.
Eventually, it's advantage paid in the end, so it goes forward. Yeah, as Brucey said in the background, it went nowhere. Dean Grice just copped one that he shouldn't have copped, and that should be a 25-metre penalty if ever I've seen one.
It's been paid.
Yep. Prestigia Como, it's not the first time he's given it to him, and I think Grice is just like, well, the umpire spotted that one, old son. They had a bit of a chuckle to themselves.
See, I reckon I've seen a few of them today, and no one's had a free kick or a 25.
Well, he's always on the receiving end of a few, there's no doubt. Dean Grice, EFL legend, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Over the back to Stefano, linking up well with the 1-2, and now the Dockers will get their chance to run away with the football. Here's Matt Mariani linking up in the middle. That was okay. Here's Brown back through, found Pierce. This way, that way, just get moved to ball. Son, you are Godski. Don't you worry about that. He was too indecisive. He had 3 options before he got pinged down in a ripper tackle, and He's a little bit reluctant to give the footy up as well. The play for Templestowe. And Smith, big man, wearing the tape today as a number. Goes out wide. Upper Ferntree Gully. Currently trailing this game by 9 points. Short passes on. Wilson takes it. The King variety. Flowing locks. On the right boot. Sends it up towards half forward. That was an absolute shocker if ever I've seen one. And it went straight down the arms of Melitsas. He got it away. Now they'll go through the middle. Here's Brown now for Templestowe. Pulled down in a beautiful tackle.
4
Tommy
on 1.
Marr had him. And he was ripped to ground and happy to give the ball up.
4 on 1.
Seymour's bestie.
Just had to accept what was coming there, Brown.
Throws it up, charging in Daniel Pearce. Was doing a Joel Solwood, looking for looking for ducking the head and pulling the football up, and you can be rewarded for that. It's not like he was the player who wanted it the most, but to no avail this time. Upper Ferntree Gully go inside, up towards the forward 50 there. Culver was almost held without the football, had one bite of it, and then went after it again. Good play by him to keep the ball alive. A few cheeky comments to the field umpire, and we'll have a bounce. About 70 metres out from the upper goals. Smith, little knockdown. The Kings, quick kick goes inside, forward 50. Brown's underneath it, and he takes a solid mark. It'd have been wrong not to give this one to you, Seymour.
Thank you very much. And Brown, long kick at the centre half back. That's a great kick from Brown on the chest of Vanderwilt. Didn't have to break stride, big Johnny Vanderwilt. Former Surrey Park player. Spent some time in the UK over the last couple of footy seasons. Kick to Wilson.
A few stories too, no doubt.
Absolutely. Got Mar hot on his hammer.
Honed his skills in the UK league, eh?
So Wilson on the wing.
Oh, no.
May, just watch that one fly over his head, and Galley took the mark. It was a strong grab.
Hards is out wide.
Goes over his head and looks for Mar. And good grab there by Faye Adonis.
Don't know why he went that option.
He dropped his way in. Right out in front. That's a kick off the side of the boot. Going to need a bit of luck for this to come off for the Dockers. Galley couldn't take the mark. Ball at ground level. Picked up by Haddock. Handball out wide to Godfrey. He was on the wrong side, so has to handball back. Then moving this well, the Kings. Back to Galley now. Mark taken. Almost at the full-back position. Short ball over the top to Lachlan. Here's another one who's had a pretty good game for the Kings. Finds Grice. He dropped what he should have taken. Jackson, one-handed pick-up, over to Anthony Mariani, who's right kick towards goal. Here's a cracker. Dean Grice with his skill error at centre-half back. The pick-up from Jackson, and Anthony Mariani made him pay. So there's another one of the Dockers. 6-9 they moved to. That's 45. The Upper Ferntree Gully of 5-6, 36. Sorry, 7-9 it would be. So margin's out to 15 points here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and we've gone 18 minutes in this third term.
In the context of the game, actually, I thought that was a really important goal for Tempe, because Upper Gully were just sort of hanging right in there, BWS.
They certainly were, and it's not often you see Dean Grice spill a football either. And I tell you what, he got, I think, about 15 pats on the head from the Templestowe team, just letting him know all about that one.
You think so, Brasher? For all the good work that Upper Ferntree Gully have done this quarter, they've only got 1 goal as a result of it.
Paddy got the knockdown. They'll go after it again. Lachlan couldn't quite pick it up, and here comes DeStefano, just arch the back inside board. 50! Beautiful lead, Talevski.
It's the pick-up from Nagel in the middle of the ground to give it to DeStefano. That was great footy.
Talevski comes out. He was in front, the big man. Had the extra metre or so, which just went lace out on the chest.
I know we've been talking about Alex Wood having a good game, but DeStefano's had an exceptional game off the half-back flank.
Looking for 2 in a minute. Current lead is 15 points for Templestowe. Can they make it 21? He's loving that right-hand side this afternoon, the kid. Pushed it across the face, and the margin will go out to 16 points as we cross the 9-minute mark of this third quarter. Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Chiropedic betting.
Upper Ferntree overhandling the ball, too many handballs. It's just too many turnovers as a consequence.
Godfrey kicking in from fullback like he's done all afternoon, and they're hugging that far side again, right out in front of the coach's box. They're working it well. With through handball on that occasion. Haddock, Whiteman just slipped over at the wrong time. Got the kick away eventually towards the boundary line, and Prestigiacomo helps the ball over the boundary line and gives Campbell one to go.
Tell you what, look at this ball.
Hello.
That's it.
Some sharp work from him.
Get him on, son.
Got his little
19.5-minute mark of the third term, Dyson. We might have to play that back during the week.
Got his 10 seconds of fame. The boundary throw-in evades everybody that was supposed to be in that ruck contest and lands in the arms of Risley, who's tackled by Prestigiacomo.
You got an award for him, BWS?
A solid day, Presti. Haddock gets the tap down. Just evades Mariani. Kick out on the full, though. It's going to be
no, not quite.
Just touched off the boot. So it'll be a boundary throw-in right out in front of our Chiropedic betting boundary riders.
See Esmond go for the football there. Davis went protecting the camera.
Yeah, of course he did. old short arms Harrigan. There's Vanderweel off the back of the pack. Pierce to De Stefano. Nothing kick, really, just an up and under.
Yeah.
God, what was that?
Watch the cars.
What was that?
It's gone out on the full.
Fair effort from our spectator there.
Adrian Tapscott will take the free kick.
Mr. Aerodynamic.
So there's Tapscott. Long left foot kick down the line again.
Good mark.
And Haddock. That's a strong grab from the big source.
Nice work.
Plays on the centre half forward. Look at Faydon. It's going to come back with the fly to the ball.
I'll tell you what, there was a bit of holding on.
I think so too, BWS.
Nagel gets the handball. Does the old double-handed drop onto the left stick. That's no good. Jackson, though, he's in the right spot at the right time. Williams is underneath that one. Wilson, sorry. Darcy Wilson.
I think Jackson's had a lot of the football today, but he's been rushed in a lot of his disposal.
Godfrey. Hickleton spearing ball. Hot on his hammer. Athanasio affects the spoil. Matt Mariani at ground level. Kick to centre half forward is pretty good. There's a one spare back there for the Kings. That's Ryan Silver.
That was harsh.
Oh.
That was really harsh.
He's not going to get up from that.
Is he all right?
Oh, he's up.
Is it going to be
He's on his knees at least.
It's going to be a free kick.
He's been in the wars a bit today, Ryan Silver.
The kid knows it was harsh too. He had his arm straight up.
Yeah.
It's going to... Free kick, I think technically, is it downfield? It's going to go back to where it happened.
Where it happened. No transition football.
So it'll be Silva, who's up and fighting fit once more. Kick across goal to Wilson. The kicks into the man on the mark. That was Soriano. Some good checking by him. Now there's a bit of pressure for the Kings. The ball towards the Templestowe goal.
Lucky.
And Wilson making the play, so we get a free kick for too high. So happens when you put your head over the ball. Short kick to Hards.
Take two.
Yeah. Have another crack at it, son. Got Danny Jackson on the mark. 22 minutes gone. Might not be as long a quarter, this one. 16-point lead to the Dockers is where this currently stands. Short to Risley, who's been phenomenal this afternoon. They're making some good space across half back, but this is where they're falling down. The kick around the corner from Silver. Strong grab. Tapscott going back to the floor of the ball against Jesse Wilson. He was just at half back a moment ago. Handballs over the top to Godfrey. Gets around the tackle of Nagel.
What's happened here?
Umpire's bringing the ball back. It's going the way of the Dockers. Not quite sure what it was for, so I can't comment.
Over the shoulder.
Unless there was a high fend off or something.
It was either that or was there a shepherding high?
Maybe a
outside of 5 minutes.
I just saw that
Get
one.
them on. Yep.
Jesse Wilson now. Kick in the direction of Pierce and Jackson. I think Jackson should have just left that for Pierce, but he didn't. Nagel overran the football, picked up by Smith. Short over the top to Murray.
Goal.
Murray's in the middle of Templestowe Reserve.
So Murray. Sideways again. Tapscott takes the mark. Needs to start really going direct. It just pops it up towards the half ball line. Big fly over the back there by Murray. Takes the second bite and brought down in Melitza's tackle, and he was rewarded for it as well. That was very quick, as the umpire said, play on, Mariani.
Gee, didn't have much chance, I reckon. It should have been a ball up there.
The Anthony variety, he goes short. So just when you thought Upper had a little bit of go in them, leading into this back couple of minutes of the third term, Templestowe will have one of the last chances. Here's Jackson, who's going to send the ball out wide here to Brown. Paul Semertzidis boy charges forward, thumps it to the top of the goal. Where a massive fly was there. Comes down now, and now Upper Ferntree Gully will get away. Here's Wilson now for the Kings. Dumps the ball out towards the Calvert direction. Over the back of the pack there. Willis couldn't quite pull it in. He was Brown again. Now it's Willis now for the Kings. Get the handball away. Here's Calvert. Has a bounce when he didn't need to do it. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Bounces away. And now it's Prestigiacomo on the right boot in towards the middle of the ground. There's a few missed kicks happening. Hards takes it now. Upper have a chance to switch the play here. Risley on the right boot. Sends it forward. That's a strong kick. They've got to go here. Here's Ma. He could go all the way.
Kick.
Why not go to Tate Hickleton, who leads well into the forward pocket, and he pulls it in. He'll have a ping from about 30 metres out. Very tight angle.
Take a deep breath. How was that fly from Williams?
Oh, boy.
That would have been the mark of the century. The kick from Brown wasn't bad either.
Hickleton needs to convert a great
Huge
piece
kick.
of play.
16 points
Now
is a
or
margin.
never.
And he pushes it to the right-hand side.
That's disappointing. That is disappointing for the gully, the upper gully there. Just when they really had the momentum and it was going their way, they really needed to nail that goal.
15 points is the margin. It's not like they could have penciled it in. Brasher was
I
one
know.
of the hardest kicks in football.
I know, but Murray was kicking them from there.
Pearce kicks to himself and gets around Ma, who was on the mark, and the left foot kicks a shocker, chopped off by Jared Smith. He should have just turned around and played on quickly and got it back inside forward 50. They've got a few numbers up there, the Kings.
Just have a root.
All he's done is given time. Rising into the...
Absolutely everywhere. Get it back to 9. They just can't get...
Can't take a trick, Brasher, at the moment. These last couple of minutes upper.
They cannot...
Just when I didn't think I needed one for the last.
Joel DeCarla take the free kick. Cross down Bender's side in just a moment. The kick from DeCarla is good, and May takes a strong mark on the lead. Handballs to De Stefano, who's used the footy quite well this afternoon. There's no exception. Matt Mariani in centre-half back has to stop and prop. Plenty of Templestowe numbers streaming forward. Jackson had to wait for that ball. Almost chopped off by Lachlan. The follow-up work from De Stefano. Handballs to Jackson, who waits for the footy. It sits up for him. Over to Brown. Just misses him as the rain starts to tumble here at Porter Street. Jackson will take the free kick in the middle of the ground for the Dockers for a push in the back. 27 minutes gone. Short over the top to Mariani. That's Anthony. The lead from Matty Bain's a good one.
He could nearly snag this.
Probably too early, though. There's
There
a
you go.
siren. There's the siren. So after the siren shot from Anthony Mariani,
Here's your moment, Seymour.
he'll kick from about bang on 50.
Inside the left goalpost, he's going to have to aim this, I reckon.
15 points is currently the margin. This is a big one in the context of this game. It looks like he's going to uncork the genie.
Yep, the Wyatt Earp.
Anthony Mariani
Bang.
doesn't really get a hold of it, and it just almost goes to the line, but it's punched forward and no score. So a bit of an anti-climax that, but 7-10-52. Templestowe, Upper Gully 5-7-37. 15 points of margin in three-quarter time. For the Dockers, Keir Talevski has 3. Matty Bain has a couple, and singles to Anthony Mariani and Danny Pearce. And for Upper Gully, Ryan Murray with 3, and Tate Hickleton and Jake Calvert with singles for the Kings there. So 15 points of margin. A grandstand finish coming up right here on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM, the home of the Eastern Football League.
Seem to get my head straight. There's so much I need to say. It could take all day. Yeah, but what you got, I don't need it. I can't listen.
Thanks to AJ.
Barry was a great guy, a real larrikin. He loved his footy, was a loyal Carlton supporter. This year's our year, he'd say. He always had Slim Dusty blaring through the speakers. So, at Barry's send-off, his coffin was painted navy blue, and Slim Dusty's looking forward, looking back filled the room.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, their motto is, if it's legal, it's possible. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating life.
Program sponsor. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Locations all around Melbourne and country Victoria. Or shop online 24/7 for mattresses, bases, beds, pillows, and custom-sized mattresses at chiropedic.net.au. Program sponsor.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Hope we win this weekend.
Oh, I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game.
Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase.
Oh, free pancake. First your team wins and then your belly wins.
It's win-win, man.
Claim your free sweet pancake with any savoury item purchase just by showing your winning team's colours.
Or your team membership.
At any Pancake Parlour this weekend.
Oh, and don't forget, check out Facebook for this week's offer.
Lovely.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account. Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League.
What a day in the Eastern Football League. Plenty of great games as you go local for your football. Three-quarter time across the eastern suburbs and plenty of games to get through. We'll start at the top, working in Division 1. I think we're still ahead of a few games, so there will be results come through early in the final term of our EFL Gameday radio game between Templestowe and Upper Ferntree Gully. Starting in Division 1, South Croydon lead by 21 points over Knox. A 13-point lead to Montrose over Blackburn, although Blackburn kicking back in that term. And a 6-point lead to Roval over Norwood, although the Norsemen have the wind at Seaburg, which we know is pretty strong in the final term. All Division 2 scores are in. Mitcham by 69 points over East Burwood. Mooroolbark by just 14 points over Mulgrave. A 43-point lead to Bayswater over the Waverley Blues. A 29-point lead to Lilydale over Wanturna South. And Doncaster East kicked 5 goals to 1 in that term to lead by 21 points at the final change. In Division 3, Scoresby lead by 2 goals over the Basin, Heathmont by 3 goals over Park Orchards, a 29-point lead to Ringwood over Baronia, and a 25-point lead to Churnside Park over Warrandyte. And in Division 4, it's a 7-point lead to the Glenwaverley Hawks over Forest Hill, an 89-point lead to Ferntree Gully over Coldstream, a 12-point lead to Kilsyth over Donvale. The Eastern Lions lead by 11 points over Whitehorse Pioneers and a 166-point lead to Surrey Park over Nunawading. Boys, as I bring you back in,
sorry,
just
Dyson,
going through
I just cut you off there. This cross down Mandurry side thanks to Chiropedic Betting. I think Esmond Aponso has Chad Rogers.
Thanks a lot for that. Chad, just to very quickly, look, your defence pressures, the structures have been fantastic. You've got to use of the ball, but just that entries and that cleanliness into the forward line, that's really let you down a little bit this game, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's just been the frustrating thing. Our last kick hasn't been the smartest one, but I'm sure we've kept ourselves in the game. A bit of a breeze going this way if we really get our hands in the footy in the middle and use the ball a bit better. I'm sure we can hurt them on the scoreboard and be able to come out on top.
Any idea of just maybe isolating one or two key forwards just to give...
We're throwing Ben forward, Ben Haddock, and hopefully he can give us a contest down there. Be a bit more active on the lead, and big Jared's gone in the ruck to hopefully get first hands on the ball for us.
Thanks, Chad. Thank you.
Thanks, Esmond Aponso and Chad Rogers. Dyson Baker, how's your work in throwing those scores at us?
Yeah, a couple of the close ones that came through, or not so much close in this one, but a bit of an upset brewing. East Ringwood lead by 6 straight kicks over Noble Park at three-quarter time, 10-7 to 4-7. And Doncaster, another week, another close one for them. They trail by 9 points to Balwyn, 12-9 Doncaster, Balwyn 14-6. Before I let you go, boys, just going over that Kilsyth-Donvale score. At three-quarter time, Kilsyth 9 goals, 23-77. Trail by 12 points, Donvale 14-5. Bad kicking certainly is bad football.
Absolutely it is. Keep chiming in with those round-the-ground scores as they come to hand as well over the course of this last quarter.
Doncaster Balwyn would be close. He didn't want to bar
Actually, it's tell you what, the tipping, everyone's tipping's going to be tipped upside down because there's some huge upsets on the horizon here this afternoon in the EFL.
Can't quite see what's going on behind us at the Tempe Club Rooms, BWS, but I'm pretty sure that they're all in full throng here this afternoon. A bumper crowd at Porter Street for what's been a bumper game of footy thus far.
Yeah, loving coming back down to the Apple Peel. Grant Campbell, who's been in the Choose Tap stats chair all afternoon, he's got some important stats for us at three-quarter time.
Very good quarter statistically for Upper Gully. They won the contested ball by 7, 42 to 35. Dominant and uncontested possessions, 58 to 38. Inside 50s though, 12 apiece. Certainly if they continue on like they did in that quarter, this game is far from over.
And your tip would be, Grant Campbell, put you on the spot.
Oh,
That never really happens.
Still stay with Tempe. I think they can respond this quarter.
There we go, back in the middle. Underway, Harris to do battle in the ruck with Smith. Matt Mariani streaming out of the centre of Templestowe Reserve. Handballs to brother Anthony. Centre half forward. Vanderwheels in a one-on-one. Can't quite bring the mark to ground. Handball across in the direction of Godfrey. Can't quite pick it up. Godfrey does eventually. Andrew Godfrey, and he's tackled immediately by Danny Pearce. It was a former Western Bulldog. He's had a pretty good afternoon.
Sucked it up like a vacuum cleaner.
Absolutely. He's been good across that half-back line. And he's done some nice, clean things. There's Silver, another one who's been good. To Williams. He's going to chop it off for the Docker. Slips on the cricket pitch. Gets out of the tackle.
Done.
Handballs to Brown, who gets it to De Stefano. He goes back to Harris. He's got Sam Kirby out wide. He's got Nagel on short. Goes in that direction. The kick's well weighted. It's good by Godfrey, though, just to affect the jump of Matty Nagel and stop him from taking the mark. Risley. Handballs to Hards. Ryan Murray.
Nice kick.
It's got a bit of space on Harris. Kicks
Open
it, plays
square.
on, goes the outside of the right foot. How's this one going to roll? Is that the right option?
Didn't get the off break.
It was. Definitely was.
They got out over the back there nicely with a quick movement of the footy. And Murray just left Harris in his wake.
Actually, Murray should be the guy that Chad probably should have played one out, I reckon, in the forward line.
The unfortunate option to try and go the dribble. That's one for the old Dunstall dribble file. That kick from Murray. Open square.
Send Chad a text, Brash.
Low percentage.
Caden Williams has gone back now for Templestowe in this last term. He'll take the kick in from full back. Mark dropped by Pearce. Picked up by Godfrey. Tries to get around a couple. Low left foot ball inside the forward 50. Hard up against the boundary line is Murray, who's in board. He goes there with the footy. It's Haddock. Sits underneath it. There he is. Big Benny Haddock. Looks like he's been up all night playing Dungeons and Dragons, but here he is with the chance to cut the margin back to just 8 points.
That was some extra herb in the sauce in that, Mark. Beautifully done. Meat and the sandwich work from Haddock.
Deserves a goal, this.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly
Not much
does.
angle.
Not much angle at all. As good as directly in front. Right foot kick.
Hit the road sign.
Down the hill here at Templestowe Reserve.
Actually,
that is never in doubt.
Yes.
Split the middle. The Kings have kicked the first goal in every quarter here this afternoon. Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Chiropedic betting. Davis Harrigan.
From the caravan, but geez, these Upper Ferntree Gully fans are getting loud after those last couple of kicks. Obviously, Murray's almost goal, and then the one there from Haddock. So that's really going to get them up and about now.
And it was good to see the fence paid for itself in that last kick on goal.
Absolutely right. You've been bagging it all day.
Good to see Michael Suka's money going to good use.
It was so good then, BWS. We went back in time 30 seconds.
Oh, this is Kevin Andrews' area, Brash. Get it right, but it's still Liberal. As the ball's back in the middle now. Picked up by Wilson. Did a little pirouette. Magnificent. Kicks the ball inside forward 50. Soriano was there. Was knocked away. Little handball over the top. Oh, nicely done there.
Tapscott.
Tapscott on the left boot. He's had a great game across that half-back line. Been such a general. Drives it towards the wing position. Tried to release the football for Ardonis. And the umpire said, give it to me, boys. We'll have a bounce.
This is the real litmus test now here for Upper Ferntree Gully, because at the moment, the way the game's gone, Templestowe have pretty much said, anything you can do, we can do better. So let's see if they can break that mould.
Harris got the knockdown, but Risley scooped. Donna got the handball away, and now the Kings go forward once again towards the Haddock direction. Over the back of the pack is Harris. Handball to Calvert. This way, that way. Look away. Handball to absolutely no one in the end. Pierce, he was able to link up, and now the Dockers are away. Beautiful kick up towards the Bain direction. Matty on the right boot. Yeah, Seymour's Bestie was the one that got rid of that football as it goes back towards the half-back line now. And they'll... well, they've lost about 25 metres, but that's okay. Matty Mariani takes the mark. He's, by his usual standards, you'd say he's been somewhat quiet this afternoon. Short passes on, though. and it was a good one. Harris will give it back to Mariani. Broke the tackle. He just wants to explode in this last quarter. Scrappy looking kick up towards the half forward line. Tapscott on the left boot. Just got enough purchase on it. Here's Calvin. He has time. He just slams it forward. Let's go direct to Haddock.
Yes.
He takes the mark, the big man.
This
Well,
could-
they put him forward.
this
and what
could
a
be the
this
move,
has been, Brash.
Could
Could be the move.
The big fish has taken a catch.
I'll tell you what, there's 2 times up going inside 50, 3 times almost for Upper Ferntree Gully. How quick's the ball movement been? We haven't seen that from him all day.
No, you're right, Paul.
Floodgates finally starting to open for them.
Ben Haddock, he'll come in from just over 40 metres. He kicked the last goal to reduce the margin to 2 points. He set sail for goal and he's pushed it to the right-hand side.
Boy, oh boy, where
I tell you what, he did such a good job last time, and this time, he just, I don't know. We all wanted that to go through, I feel.
Absolutely right.
Haven't the players been watching the rest of them kick for goal? They're all going right.
Everything's gone right all day, hasn't it? It just amazes me.
Pierce.
And Super, you're a good footballer. You
Kicking,
know.
That's an
out
oxymoron if I
to
ever heard
Brown
one.
at half back. Brown's kick over the top to fade on us is centimetre perfect, but great by Godfrey, who just chopped it off. It was well weighted by him. That attack on the ball. Picked up there by Risley. Left foot kick in board. Good defending. Danny Pearce.
They're under pressure, Tempe.
Yeah,
They certainly are. They've got to stem the flow somehow. Short kick to, that's Athanasiou. Big Charles.
All Chad Rogers did, I went out to the three-quarter time huddle. It was effort, effort, effort. And when you've got it, make them pay. Simple instructions, but they've come out firing.
Pearce. Long down the line. Mark taken by Fadonis. On the run to Stefano. Tom May. Going to get the free kick. Umpire pays advantage. High kick to centre half forward. Matty Bain at the back. Set himself up to take the mark, but going back with the flight is Silver.
That was pretty soft.
Rewarded there for being in the right spot.
Had his eyes on the foot. His son got in his eyes in the end.
It did. Dodds. Centre half back.
No, it's a
Wilson
young
it
that's
is, rather.
downfield. That is downfield. That's silly play. Number 91, young Darcy Wilson, first game today, I think, for the Upper Gully.
Not necessary. Jackson was all by himself for Templestowe as well. They could have had the rebound happening.
Umpire was always going to pay that too. They love those situations. Calvert. Long to centre half forward.
Oh, he's everywhere.
Oh, man, again.
He's everywhere.
He's turned the game on its head.
Yep.
Paid as well. Yep.
Yep.
No, fair call, that one.
And there
Plenty
is-
of purchase.
It's as ginger a beard as I've ever seen. He's going to go back and have the shot too. They end up making contact with the ball right where their 50 intersects with the boundary.
Pretty sure he knows to start it out left.
It's got to start left.
Wrong side for a right footer. Umpire giving him all the time in the world too.
Almost played on then too.
No realistic chance of this one going
That's
through.
gone right too.
Yeah.
And up to the top of the square and through a few sets of hands for a minor score.
It's like a magnet, isn't it? That
The margin out here at Porter Street, one straight kick.
Boys, a couple of updates from a few close games. Croydon have kicked the first couple back to within 5 points. Boronia have kicked the first couple back to within 8 points. Park Orchards have kicked the first 3 of the final term. They've gone from 19 points down to just 1 point in that game. So a few tight affairs today, this afternoon, as we tick towards the final siren.
Chime in whenever you see fit. Dyson Baker as the
I
kick
certainly
goes
will.
out towards Wilson. Been sitting
Goal!
pretty all day. Got the handball away just in the nick of time. Here's Matt Mariani, scrambles a kick. Bain might have to sit here, bounces away from him. The back of the pack, he goes after it again. He did well. Talevsky got the handball away to Presti, but the umpire's
Well
Free
done,
kick to Bain.
Presti.
Free kick to Bain.
Yep. Presti smart enough not to take the advantage that time.
Bain switches the play. I don't know what
Two
that
Talevsky conscious. They're going to him every time.
And it was almost borderline a 3-on-1 situation. I don't even know why that was the option. As the kick comes out towards Galley now for the Kings. 6 points is the margin. 52 plays 46 up towards the wing position. Good stretch there by Jared Smith, the big ruckman.
They've won the ruck battle today, I think, the Kings. So between Smith and Haddock, I think they've comfortably been better than Harris. And even Prestigiacomo has run through the ruck at times for Templestowe.
Dumps the ball up towards the half-forward line. Harris goes after it. Speak of the devil at the fall of the ball. No, it'll be the Kings to get rid of it. Little handball out wide. I will eventually restart play.
Ball out on the
Pick
far
up.
side. Papa Nicolau it was, the Rawalpindi Express on the bottom of that pack.
What?
That's what they call him down there at Templestowe.
Who's the what now?
He's got a lot of shower back tower about him. Bouncing ball to the wing. Haddock in front of
Oh, here he is
Giacomo.
again.
He's like a man inspired. Benny Haddock gets the old 1-2. Gets around to Stefano and goes long in the direction of Hickleton and Murray.
Tell you what, Hickleton might be held. He was taken off the play and he was held off the football.
More than 5 metres away from BWS. Good
100%.
pick-up. Yep, absolutely.
Which allowed the Templestowe defender Fade on us a free ride at the footy. So the free kick to
Beautifully done.
Hickleton. He's already kicked one. He's not going to miss from there.
Not to the right.
To level the scores.
Oh,
he is to the right.
Oh, my God.
Good gravy. You wouldn't read about it.
Oh, my God.
So before that kick there, the Paula margin was 1 straight kick or 6 kicks to the right. Well, they got 1 of them.
Yep.
So 5 kicks to the right to go to level it up.
Nonetheless, though, Brash, Upper Ferntree Gully are absolutely towering over
They are.
Templestowe at the
They're
moment.
running all over them at the moment, but they just can't hit the scoreboard. They just cannot hit the scoreboard, and that could hurt them.
That was their problem in the third term too, Brash. I mean, Subi Campbell mentions the great stats they were in front with contested and uncontested.
I'll tell you what, the guy who
and they were
tried
1
to
goal
kick
short.
the ball back over the fence loaded up, and it was the biggest shake you've ever seen.
Oh, it's ended up on the Eastern Freeway.
That's
Bad
what
luck.
happened. Someone's dad trying to kick the ball back
that's
over
hilarious.
the top. He pinged the hammy in.
He's walking away in disgust.
Yeah, we got that on camera too. That's
Yeah, thank
embarrassing.
you, Lee. Well done.
Danny Jackson
Oh, boy.
plays onto himself. Drives it long down the line. No mark taken. Ball at the back.
Nailed it up.
Whiteman. Tackled by Nagel.
Where's the award for that one, BWS?
Meliatzis it was. So Haddock and Harris do battle in the ruck. Just through the arms of Mariani.
Haddock
Haddock
again.
gets the clearance. Meliatzis, Athanasiou picks it up. Big Chucky.
Well done.
Outside of the right boot. Chuck Athanasiou 3-on-1 in favour of the Kings, and strong mark taken there by Wilson.
This young kid's had a really good game, I reckon, young Darcy Wilson for his first game.
Hasn't looked out of place.
Yep.
Doesn't look like a debutant at all. Looks strong. He's been quiet this afternoon, but this could be his moment.
Yeah, I think this is his first touch of the day, Lukey Strawn. He's a big kick, young Luke. He certainly can roost the ball.
Especially for 12-goal haul in the twos last week.
He's got to think Beyonce here. To the left, to the left.
Absolutely.
To swing right. Come on.
See how he goes.
How does he do it?
To put the Kings in front.
Look at that. Look at
Look,
that.
he likes
Yes!
it.
It's in.
The Upper Gully have the lead. Away from home. And the faithful are going absolutely bonkers.
Boys, as close as your game is, there's another 2 that are just as close. Boronia and Ringwood 8-10 apiece, and Glen Waverley Hawks and Forest Hill 8-6 apiece.
Croydon, Donny East.
Croydon, Donny East pulling away 12-14, plays 9-10 now. Doggers just got back on board.
Just think, gee, my tips are looking a bit sick at the moment.
Inside 50 this final quarter, Upper Gully lead at 9-4, but they're dominating contested possessions 20-9.
Wow.
I almost feel like Templestowe needs some divine intervention here because they just don't seem to be able to get their hands on the ball.
They've stopped moving. They're running on
Started
treadmills.
again. Here's Haddock goes after it. Grice on hands and knees. Haddock goes in after it again. So too does Grice. He's pulled down by a Nagel strong tackle, and we'll have a restart in the middle of the park. We've gone 12.5 minutes in this final term. A 1-point ball game on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. 98.1 Radio Eastern, streaming live around the globe. EFL.org.au. Risley looping handball out wide. He was looking out there for Toole. Goes after it. Again sends a handball inside forward 50. They'll get another chance here. The Kings. The kick goes towards the Calvert direction. And he's been paid a free kick as well. He got the chop halfway through the marking contest on the shoulder, and the umpires called it. And he'll go back and have a shot on goal to give them a 7-point lead.
And even though there's still probably plenty of time to go, a 7-point lead still means 2 forward 50 entries for Templestowe, and at the moment it doesn't look like the ball's going to get in there.
The rain's coming down. He kicked one in the first. He'd love one in the last, and he slammed it home. Look at Upper Ferntree Gully come to play in the final term out here at Templestowe Reserve. They have a 7-point lead. 14 minutes now gone in the final term.
Well, the question's now going to be asked at Templestowe. What have they got? They haven't been challenged all year. It's time for them to really see what they're made of, or is Upper Gully going to really go away and throw caution to the wind and win running away with this game?
Now that they've got the lead, they can't change the way they've started this quarter. They have to keep going, and they'll run away with it.
Yep.
It's on the back of Ben Haddock, I reckon, in this final term.
They've
He's been the one
cleaner,
who's injected it.
and they look like they're running downhill. Templestowe are running on treadmills at the moment. Maybe just running out of legs. There's Wilson, the debutant, picked up by Mariani. Matthew tries to find Anthony just through his hands. He's got Risley hot on his hammer, who's been exceptional today for Upper Ferntree Gully. And Anthony Mariani plays the percentages and just gains 10 metres for his side.
He may not have been prominent in so far in that first 10, 15 minutes of the last quarter, but Tim Risley's first 3 quarters has been the difference between keeping them in the game.
Yep. He's done a lot of gut running. He's been powerful. Free kick from the ruck contest. It's going the way of the Dockers. It's for a hold off the ball. Johnny van der Weel on the lead. Talevski! No, unable to take the wet pill. Jackson tries to form his way through. Can't quite do that. On hands and knees is Willis.
So there was an opportunity there for Templestowe, but another one gone begging.
Couldn't quite get a hand on the wet pill. Big kid Talevski. 15 minutes gone. 7 points the margin. Upper Gully do have the lead here this afternoon. Matty Nagel finds his way out of a bit of trouble. Matt Mariani, smart kick over the top to Anthony. Not quite well executed though. Anthony now has some work to do. And he goes over the boundary line. If that kick from Matt hits, he's got an uncontested shot on goal. Yep. It's pretty inexcusable a skill error like that. A player like Mariani, he's missed a 15-metre kick. Can often be the difference in games like this. Van der Weel, third man up. Mariani, DeCarla. There are blue and red jumpers absolutely
Docker
everywhere. Free kick to the Dockers. Matt Mariani at the bottom of the pack.
That was definitely soft.
There's the short kick. Matt Bain. So they're struggling with the wet ball at the moment here, the Dockers.
And if the other one was a high tackle, that was a high tackle
as well. To Silva.
So good work from both sides. Heads over the ball.
I'm still saying that Silva's shoulder's not right, but he's done manfully to come back on
Van der
and
Weel
play contribution.
shepherded out of the ruck. We'll get the free kick against Smith.
You talk about courage on the fire, Brash.
They're there every day of the week. The third man up in that contest. Missed the footy.
Nearly
hit Danny Jackson on the chest, who wasn't able to. Definitely wasn't expecting that.
Got a free too, did he? No.
No.
It was a quick.
The circus is in town. It's centre half forward for Templestowe at the moment.
Exciting.
Great game.
Absolutely it is. A great radio contest. Good one to be out here broadcasting. Anthony Mariani just tries to bore his way through. Tackle laid by Whiteman and Smith and Risley. They haven't had a bad play today, the Upper Gully. Everywhere you look, every time someone gets the footy, you think, geez, he's had a fair bit of it. Just about every single one of them. It's been a great team effort. Van der Weel and Smith. Smith taps it down, but only as far as Jackson, who's held without the footy.
Yep.
They'll get the free kick.
They're going to make use of it, though.
Absolutely, they do.
I think the distance is beyond him here.
Yeah, it is.
Heavier ball, too.
Wet footy. There's a little bit of a breeze pushing against it as well. It's going to be a good kick. He's had a good afternoon, though, Danny Jackson. A talented footballer. Let's see what he's like kicking at goal.
Good effort.
Good roost.
The accuracy is there. He's not going to have the legs. Talevski almost brought the mark to ground. Here's Anthony Soriano on the left foot around the corner. Matt Bain at the back. Couldn't take the mark. It's well done by Silva. Plays on straight away. Left foot kick out the centre half back. And slipping over at the wrong moment was Calvert. And the mark's taken by Shalbaktar. Dean Papanikolaou.
Papanikolaou drives the ball towards the Talevski direction, knocked away from him. He was almost looking for a free kick here. Wilson got the double fister on it. That was okay. Came out, Toole linked up well out wide, and now Murray snaps it around the body. Percentage kick it was, but did it go too far?
No, throw in, right out on the interchange gates.
Haddock just did a little action as if, do you want me to throw this one in and get it started for you boys? Nothing that. I can't believe Dave is sure right there, mate. Why didn't you get a picture of that? That would have been classic. As the umpire throws the ball back in now. Brasher over the top. Jackson, nice little handball. Mariani snaps the ball now inside forward for Templestowe. Gully, he got a knock away on something you should have taken in the end. DeCarla got the handball away. Templestowe, another chance. Soriano. Oh, what a one-handed mark by Tapscott. He's been a pearler all afternoon, and he rips it in at the last line of defence in the back pocket. And a nice steadying bit of play now for Upper Gully, Brash.
Most definitely BWS. That's a really great call there.
Kick comes up towards the over the back. Haddock was in there, laid the tackle in the end. The big man just wanted to rove his own football. Jeez, he's been instrumental in this last quarter. Sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. 19 minutes gone in this final term. A 7-point margin to Upper Ferntree.
Jeez, that half back line of the Kings has just been phenomenal today. Godfrey, Tapscott, Silver as well. Marr at times, Gelly. They've just been brilliant. They've stopped attacks from Templestowe and they've used the football quite well themselves. Here's a bouncing ball towards centre-half forward. First one there is Silver for Upper Ferntree Gully. He just kicks it long to the middle of the ground. Mark not taken there by Ma. Brown is in there. Athanasiou just picked up by Jackson.
Well
says, I'll have the footy. No nonsense from him. Talevski comes from 4 deep. Matt Bain does the roving. He's got a little bit of space over the back. He kicks it to Danny Pearce.
Yes.
Danny Pearce, uncontested mark. 30 metres out. Slight angle to cut the margin back to a point.
No excuses.
Just tick into time on this one. Has to go through.
Must kick goalies. Has to kick it.
He'll put it through.
Because they won't get enough. They won't get too many more opportunities, I reckon.
He kicked their first goal of the afternoon at the opposite end of the ground.
They've certainly picked it up in the last few minutes, Templestowe.
Here he comes from the set shot. Danny Pearce kicks on its way. He's missed to the right, would you believe?
No, he has not.
No.
He
slammed it in. Gee, that just snuck in. 1 point the difference out here at Templestowe Reserve. 8:10:58, plays 8:11:59. 20 minutes gone. The lights are on. There's a bit of a sun shower happening as well. Where else would you rather be?
Well, we
Right here, mate.
we said at the start of the game was going to be a battle of the back lines,
Yep.
and both half back lines have completely dominated the contest, and I think that's the reason why at the moment we have a 1 point ball game.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap match stats into time on in the last.
That was Pearce's 24th disposal for the match, also 8 marks inside 50s his final quarter, 10-7 in favour of Upper Gully.
Umpire throws it up again. Here's Mariani, arches it back. He needs to come to life. Kicks it forward over the top.
Good
Tap
mark.
Scott. I tell you what, this guy has been absolutely brilliant this afternoon. On the left boot now, just got to get it out of that danger zone, and it was a beautiful
Almost.
kick too, almost a free kick to Smith. The umpire said play on. Upper Ferntree Gully scrambler, kick up forward. Hickleton, look away, handball went into no man's land. Wilson's out wide on the wing for Templestowe. If they can use him, trapped up in a nice tackle. Papa Nicolau, and we'll have a bounce about 70 metres out from Upper Ferntree Gully's goals. 21.5 minutes gone. It is 1 point the margin. Upper Ferntree Gully have the lead. Smith got the knockdown. Lots of players around the ball, as you would expect, and let's have another bounce.
We've already called a draw on EFL Game Day in season 2016.
Higher starts it again. Even ruck contest somehow. Scrambling kick from Whiteman goes up forward. Well done there by Jackson. Well, as we said, he's had a super game. He was a cool head in a tough situation there. Kicks it out towards Anthony Mariani. Has to paddle it to his advantage. Wilson was on his hammer and holding on a little bit too long. Dangerous to do that. And
Should have let that one go.
Ticky Touchwood free kick, agreed. Rash as the kick goes up towards the Harris direction for Templestowe. The big man takes the mark about 70 metres out from goal. They trail by 1 point, Templestowe. Harris just lobs it up. It was an absolute shocker of a kick. Smith should have taken the mark then. Came into the arms of Matty Mariani, and the umpire said, give it to me. We'll have a bounce, and it's 40 metres out from Tempe's goal.
No talk there by the Upper Gully back line. He should have marked that.
Vanderbilt, a big fly over the top of the pack, got it down. Here's Jackson in there again, release of football over the top there. He's Wilson for Upper Ferntree Gully. Free kick has been paid to the Kings, and it's been a while since they've received one, so they're going to take their time and they're going to clear the ball out of half-back.
Ball won by 3 points, 17 minutes gone, final term.
Ball won by 3?
Yep.
Thanks, Dyson. There's Whiteman. He's got a bit of a limp going.
Don't be doing that yet.
I think he's cramped, to be honest.
Short ball to Risley.
I think it's fair.
Back across goal. Silver. A familiar left foot kick to Callagher. Probably one of the only...
Well, this is the experience. This is where experience comes into it, and Callagher's an
Too early
experienced
for
player.
this.
But as long as he plays down the line.
It's exactly what he does. Just the percentages. Vanderweel's got the sit, punches it away, and the Templestowe players have the numbers at the drop of the ball. Mariani swings around, kicks it inside 50. The ball has to hit the deck. And Callagher out on the lead almost.
Gutsy mark.
Takes a strong grab. Godfrey's in a good spot here in front of us. Doesn't go that way. Goes long again.
Got a sauce.
Plenty of players around that ball, and it drops to the deck.
Again,
Tom
front
May
centre.
to Jackson,
2
over the
minutes.
top of his head. Ball just can't quite get the sit. Eventually picks it up. Handball's out wide again. Whiteman. Nagel's in there. So's Danny Pearce. They've done well here, the Kings. Tom May tries to tackle Dean Grice. And Dean Grice will get the free kick.
That was such good play there by Jordan Whiteman, just to get that tap on the football, head over the ball, was seeing everything in front of him, and he copped it as well. Definitely a contender for the Pancake Parlour Player of the Day.
The handball from May to Pearce that just went over his head. Had that hit, they were going back inside 50 again.
Exactly right.
Another skill error.
And that's not the first time that Whiteman's put his body on the line today for his side and won some crucial possession.
Kick from Gelly. Finds Risley. Has just been enormous. Over the top. Not a great kick, that one. Turnover, the ball's coming back.
Jackson's had a lot of it.
And that's a great kick to centre half forward. Matt Bain is in a paddock. Low skinny ball. Had to get a bit more air on that. Had to get a bit more air on that. The mark's taken by Gelly now. Godfrey out wide. They're not wasting no time here. Tapscott.
Godfrey and Tapscott, how good have they been today, Brash?
They've been awesome, those two guys.
Been absolutely phenomenal. There's the kick to centre half forward. Hickleton couldn't bring the mark to ground. Risley's there again. Ball go back and get it.
He's
Couldn't
gone.
quite get it up. And he gives away the free kick for a high fend off.
Yep.
He looked like he was trying to dish that footy off before it even picked it up. And that's the second time Dean Grice has been smart enough to get a free kick from Tom May.
Kick it
Montrose have defeated Blackburn by 11 points.
Big result there by the Demons.
You got to be kidding me.
Upper Ferntree Gully, they've been good. The margin's been 1 point for about 10 minutes, it feels like.
Roval held on against Norwood by 11 points as well.
Thank God for small mercies.
So throwing it centre half forward.
He just booked his ticket back to Germany, I think, Brash.
Siren can't be too far away. It's not going to go for ages this last term. The ball in a good spot if you're an Upper Ferntree Gully man. Simon Harris couldn't quite make contact with the Sharon. Have another ball up and half forward.
If Templestowe lose this game, they've only got themselves to blame because they've had plenty of opportunity in the last 5 minutes to hit the scoreboard and haven't been able to through some poor disposal.
There's the ball up. Haddock, who's been a last quarter hero for the Kings. Grice. There's a serve.
There it is.
Game over.
Oh, you're guilty.
The Kings away from home.
Look at him.
What a 1 point win.
Well done for Upper Gully, so the other mob all the day. Boys.
Well done to the Upper Ferntree Gully Footy Club.
Thanks,
A brilliant win. They ran over the top of them in the last quarter.
Really good effort by Upper Gully
That was
today.
sensational. Benny Haddock, the hero. Couple of marks inside 50. Grice, Godfrey, Tapscott, all those boys across half-back were absolutely exceptional. And what a hard-fought win. Well earned.
Look at that for the local supporters as well.
Yeah, it's great for the supporters. Really good for the Upper Gully because, you know, there's not going to be too many sides that are going to come down to Templestowe Reserve and get a win.
No.
In the contest of the season, this could be an 8 point game, I reckon.
Well,
8 point game.
Back to the drawing board for Tempe in some respects, but not panic stations.
No, I
A
wouldn't
great
think
game
it's
of
Absolutely
footy
not, no.
between two
That is
sides.
such a great effort to come out in a final term, trailing to kick 3 goals to get in front, and they did that. And then to mount the challenge that's happened, as we said, in the last 10 minutes as well, is just... what it must do for their confidence is absolutely amazing. You can see Rick Irwin at the moment having a chat to Andy Heyman and Chad Rogers. He would be giving nothing but congratulations to those guys. And
respect
there. And that's it. It's a respect between both two brilliant football clubs. And what a fantastic contest we got to see out here today.
Let's cross down Boundary side. Thanks to Chiropedic Betting. Esmond Aponso.
Thanks very much for that, Ben. We've talked about your beard all day today. Well, let's talk about your football. You kicked, you ran, you marked, you did a bit of rock work. It was a great win, wasn't it, today?
It was a fantastic win by the boys. It actually fucking feels unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Excuse my language, I apologize. No, the boys. It's not just one person effort. It's 4 quarters that we put together, which Chad's drilled into us all week, and we've just proved it. We can just keep going. We just don't stop.
Fantastic. What was like the build-up this week? I mean, both of you are undefeated. You know, at the end of the day, we expect one to lose. So, what was really the key message during the week for this game?
4-quarter effort. Like I said before, Chad's just drilled it into us the whole time. We just got to go, 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 don't stop, which the boys proved today. Hard-fought game, both teams. I mean, they're an absolute brilliant team, but fuck, it was great.
Let's leave it there, Esmond. And it's been a great game by Upper Ferntree Gully. We're not letting the three times is not a charm. I can tell you that right now. But Ben Haddock, he was super in that last term. He needs to get his mouth washed out with soap.
That's the emotion of footy.
Yeah. You know, and the one thing
Get in the showers, boys.
He was the Messiah, but he was just a very naughty boy then.
Yes.
The one thing, though, about this, you know, footy is such football is such a great game. And I mean, I know we talk about individual performances, right? But this really, once again, shows you how good a coach Chad Rogers is. Once again went under the pump, and this is not the first time he's done it. He's pulled off a winning move, BWS. That's why he's one of the premier coaches in this competition.
And like I said, at three-quarter time, sorry, Louie, I went out there, I had to listen to him, and he did keep it simple. He knew that they were in the contest, and he loved the effort that they'd shown, and some things hadn't paid off, and he just wanted them to take those chances, which is what the instruction was. Simple football, get out there, go hard at it, use that effort, and then hopefully it comes out for us, and that's exactly what's happened.
Absolutely.
22 minutes gone at Shram's reserve. Baldwin still by 3 points.
It's a close finish.
That kind of
everywhere you look.
Yep.
Results at the moment in Division 3. Your game obviously a point. Ringwood over Baronia by 7. Heathmont over Park Orchards by 7. And Scoresby have held on against the Basin by 7 points.
Single digits wherever you go.
Close games everywhere you look across the eastern suburbs this afternoon.
Makes me wonder whether we should have a round every 2 weeks if the results are going to be that close.
No. Yeah.
Let's get into the rooms.
Yep, the Upper Ferntree Gully song being belted out. Rousing rendition, and so it should be. And then the game just finished at the perfect time. And the rain starts tumbling down, and big black clouds start rolling across. It's what an afternoon of footy it was, Soupy. What were the stats finish up next to Tuesday?
Well, the clearances, Upper Gully won 38-35. They had 209 kicks to 189, so 20 more kicks, but 15 less handballs. Templestowe with 119 to 104. Upper Ferntree Gully won the contested ball by 156 to 137 by 19. Templestowe winning the uncontested possessions 171 to 157. The inside 50 count 51-42 in favour of Templestowe, and one stat that underlines how good Upper Gully's defence was, they took 28 intercept marks for the day, Templestowe with 17. I think the Upper Gully defence was probably the difference on the day.
Oh yeah, some of those players across half-back, they were dominant. They just mopped up, and you just knew that every time the footy went down there, it was going to come straight back, courtesy of the same blokes every single time. Godfrey, Kelleher as well, he was better in the last quarter. Lachlan was awesome as well. And of course, who's that other bloke? I'm just missing Godfrey. Tapscott, sorry, the receiving hairline man. He was
Silver as well,
and Silver too. And all the three of them are left footers as well, so they all look exactly the same. But they all played a very good game.
Tell you what, Ryan's. Oh, sorry, Doss. You
go. Just got an update score, a final score through from East Ringwood Reserve. Noble Park 10-10-70. They kicked 6 goals to 2 in the final term. Couldn't get it done. 12-9-81. East Ringwood have defeated them by 11 points.
Geez, a few problems down at the ball ring this year, isn't there?
Absolutely. And East Ringwood, 2
big
wins. Great wins in succession. That's sure Les Ferguson will be a very, very happy man.
I'm sure he will be.
Our boundary riders working hard inside the rooms to try and find us some guests to have a chat to.
There are a few Muppets hanging around the...
you got to love how...
A few loudmouth supporters, but that's all we get.
Got to love how they say, oh, yeah, not one of you has picked them. But that's the acid test we bring to you. I mean, if you're going to say, OK, we don't think...
More than happy to be wrong.
We're going to... Yeah, exactly right, Paul. If we're going to think, oh, well, maybe the result will go one way, well, that's a challenge for the opposition to prove wrong, and that's exactly what Ferntree Gully did, and we can't be any happier about the result.
And
in that case.
And put it this way, it's not like we're talking about a blowout here. We're only talking about a 1-point victory.
Plenty of
Thank you, Rush.
And we've certainly praised all their players and how great their defence was.
I was going to say, before we crossed the Dyson Bagger beforehand, I was going to say just I've got I can't.
It's going to be tough to pick
I
3-2-1
can't
this
measure how much
afternoon.
praise I've got for Ryan Silver today. I mean, a lot of guys like Godfrey and also Tapscott and that doing the fantastic work down back. But that guy there, he could have been off for the whole game with a shoulder injury.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the Bionic Man, put the pieces back together. He continuously worked
And you
his
could see he
behind
was
off
still
to put his body on the line every time.
Still struggling to get that arm above his
Exactly
head and
right.
all that sort of
He'll
stuff.
feel
and
it for the next probably 2 weeks, but he doesn't care.
Absolutely
That's
right.
how much he bleeds for this football club. Take a bow.
And that's what local footy. Now they sit at the top of the Division 3 ladder with no one behind them. They're a game clear. They're undefeated still, and one more week till the mid-season bye, and they've got it all before them. The Upper Ferntree Gully Footy Club.
And when you've got a top 5 to work with as well, how crucial has the game what today become? Because first place means so much more than just finishing second.
Well, what they've done is they've as good as sewn up the double chance.
Yep.
Which has been a great thing to do so early on in the season.
I think Roval have got over the line. Dyson, have you got an up-to-date score?
Which game, sorry, Brash?
I think Roval have got over the line over Norwood by 10 or 11 points.
11 points, Brash. 11-5-71, Roval, Norwood, 8-12-60.
Yeah, good win there for Roval considering they had to work very hard.
Let's go through some of our awards for this afternoon. The first one is the A1 Airport Parking Mark of the Day. And geez, there were a few contenders. There was a couple of nice one-handed grabs. There's a couple of good marks going back with the fly to the ball.
I'll just cut you off there, Paul.
Yep, go for it.
Final score in from Baldwin.
Yep.
16-9-105. Baldwin have defeated Doncaster 15-11-101. What a corker.
4-point win to the Tigers against the Sharks. It's a brilliant result. What a fantastic game of footy, and what a season Doncaster are having in Division 1.
Amazing season.
Could quite easily play finals and have a serious impact.
I think now that and that sets up another mouth-watering clash for them next Saturday against Vermont, and they're going to be right in that.
Absolutely right. Maybe one for our EFL media team to wander out to and have a look at. Just a quiet suggestion. So the mark of the day, my guest is my nomination. Sorry, for the mark of the day is the first one that the Culver took in the first quarter.
Yeah.
There was a couple of one-handers. There was a couple of nice ones after that, but that hang in between the two players and the meat and the sandwich, that was a great specky.
It was, Paul. I don't think there's too many arguments for me. I thought that was a really good mark.
You got my vote.
And the fact that he backed it up for most of the day too, he took a lot of contested marks.
Yep.
So I reckon he's a worthy winner of
He
that
was
one.
dominant in the air all day, all around the
Caden
ground
Williams
as well.
Very, very close though. If you had nailed that one he got in third term, that would have taken the cake. But actually, that play there, Paul, you were more excited about the kick that Alex Brown set up more than the attempted mark.
That Williams, it was a great kick. But
It was.
the fly,
That's the kick of the day.
The fly from Williams was. What about the goal of the day? I like Talevski's down
Yes,
in the
that
forward
wins for me.
pocket.
Yep.
There was a poor kick that went his way, and he was able to get below his bootlaces, which is hard to do for a big man.
Yep. As Brash called, Dacos style.
Yeah, Dacos style, and then Brown was running into an open goal and then threaded it from an almost impossible angle. So. Pancake, what is that? It's the Chiropedic betting goal of the day. It's
Who's that going to?
Talevski, the forward pocket, running into the outside of the boot on the boundary line. Remember that one?
I thought that went through for a point.
No, it was a goal.
It went through for 6 of them. Yeah.
He's been he'll have a good night's sleep, won't he? But he's been sleeping well for a long time under his piles of money.
Exactly. Exactly right.
I love the kid. I just thought I'd throw that one out there. He'll receive it well.
Sensational.
Yep. And the other awards, of course, the play of the day. There's a few nominations. Does a play they have to end with a goal? And remember, there was Jesse Wilson's work out here on the flank just to our left.
What I liked in the climax of the game in the last quarter, I think it was around the 20-minute mark, and Whiteman across the defensive 50 arc for them put his head over the ball and got a little tap on it, which was so crucial. They got the free kick out of that, made them go forward, and I think that was a pivotal part of the
Probably
game.
a minute to spare, exactly right, BWS. For me, it was out of that play there, or a few seconds earlier, the Leo Barry style mark in defence by Brad Kelleher as well, with another forward
that was
from
that was
Templestowe.
a good play as well. Chiropedic betting, here's Esmond Aponso.
Coach, great win now, obviously huge. And
Yeah, it was a bit tight in the Jared Smith in the ruck worked really well. Against him, and even today they went inside 50 more, I think 7 or 8 more times, but their ability to intercept mark and actually work for each other is fantastic and why we're in the position we're in.
Obviously, the big name in the Templestowe full forward, Talevski, was well held today. There was 3-4 on him every single time the ball went near him. Do you think that Templestowe played into your hands a little bit by continuing to go for him and use him as the ball magnet that he is? Did you think that they sort of helped you out in that regard?
Yeah, I think our boys are really good with their communication and being able to direct and hopefully get third man up and bring the ball to ground. Yeah, maybe they did go a little bit, make it a little bit obvious, but, you know, they've got plenty of goal-kicking power, not just him. So we had to worry about a few players today.
Chad, I've got to say, Captain Tim Risley's game, the 3.5 quarters was outstanding today. When the side really needed the leader to step up, he was always putting his head over the ball and creating opportunity. And it's, you know, when you look at the result of the game, it's mainly because of the fact that he worked his backside off to keep Upper Ferntree Gully in the contest in the first 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, we didn't want to take him off the ground, but we had to give him a little bit of a rest, but I thought he was sensational today. He was. Him and Justin Lachlan were our driving forces through that middle and doing a job, and, you know, his ability to put his head over it, but not just that, to actually accelerate out of the contest and give us a bit of drive and run was first class. Two other
players, Chad. I just thought they played it really, really well for you in really good patches. Was Bryce Hards and Jordan Whiteman. Some heroic acts by him. You know, a lot of 1%ers throughout the day that probably a lot of people wouldn't have noticed. But I tell you what, it wasn't unnoticed in the commentating box because he was sensational. And in the 20-minute mark of the last quarter, that little tap on when he put his body over the line, he was entitled to get cleaned up, but he created that gilt-edged opportunity to get that ball into the forward line.
Yeah, he's probably the first one picked, to be honest. we love his defensive effort, and he's a push-up king. He looks exactly like him.
Yeah.
I think he's got some artistic work off him knowing him. So he gives us a lot. He's a fantastic player, and he does everything for the team. Bryce Hards, he's a kid who just keeps developing.
Yep.
He will be a star if he gets his intent and effort right, and he's strong, and he gets long, deep entries for us.
Yeah, Chad, Louie Bulzomi here, mate. Congratulations on one of the best wins I think anyone would ever want to get, especially playing away at home against a side like Templestowe. Well done. At half-time, myself and Brasher were having a look at what game-changing or match-winning move could be made, given how tight and even things were. And you tried a few moves up forward. Third term, you had Brenton Toole sit down there. Probably a 50-50 prospect in that one. But then the last quarter, Ben Haddock, he's moved down forward, paid immense dividends. How much credit do you put to that, given how everything else went today with those couple of moves?
Look, I'm just lucky. I've got a really good coaching staff. With Andy Hayman and Kibbo and Lukey Galliot. I've got enormous trust in their ideas, and I'll listen. And I have to give credit to Andy on that one because Ben, we thought his third quarter was sensational. He was starting to take marks, and we just thought we'd try him forward and get big Jared Smith in the ruck to try to get his first hands on the ball, and it just seemed to work.
You got to function up at the club tonight, Chad?
Yeah, we've got the 5K draw. Could be dangerous.
Oh, getting up. Well, I might just leave you guys alone on EFL Sunday then. I think that might be a safer option, mate.
Yeah.
So happy to come out. We've been dying to see the Kings since the start of the season. It was away from home, but no doubt we're going to watch you guys a couple more times before the season's end. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the night tonight.
Cheers, guys. Thanks, heaps.
Thank you very much to Chad Rogers, the senior coach of the Upper Ferntree Gully Football Club, and what a game it was out here today. What an exciting goal.
Still tingling about it.
Yep.
Seymour's still wiping away the team.
No one loses today in a game like that. That was a great game of footy. Let's quickly roll through some of the scores from around the grounds. Montrose, 11-point winners over Blackburn. Balwyn, 4-point winners over Doncaster. East Ringwood, 11-point winners at home against Noble Park. That's a massive result. Vermont have beaten North Ringwood by 46 points. Roeville beat Norwood by 11 points. That score came through. And South Croydon at home, 21-point winners over Knox. Donny East, 20 points over Croydon. East Burwood Mitcham, we haven't had a score from that game since quarter time.
There.
I wouldn't have been.
Mooral Bark took on Mulgrave today, and it was the Stangers that beat the Lions by 12 points. Lilydale, 5-goal winners against Wantirna South. That's a bit of a turn-up. Yeah. And the Bayswater Footy Club, a 17-point win over the Waverley Blues. In Division 3,
enigma.
Baronia.
Let's cross down boundary side because Esmond Aponso has Tim Risley, and we need to talk to Tim after a game like this.
Yes.
Over to you, Esmond.
Thanks a lot for that, Tim. Congratulations on a fantastic weekend, personally a great game. I mean, you had a lot of touches, kicks, and getting the ball forward. But you really got to give credit to that back line. They really stood up today, and it was a real rebound, wasn't it, for your whole team?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Chad said, but he's praised the back line because he has all year, and they've been absolutely unstoppable, defending first and then getting the ball going our way. Yeah, they've just been absolutely outstanding this year. They're really good back six.
Tim, it's BWS here, mate. Congratulations on the win. It seems like we were watching the club over the last few years, and especially in the back end of last year, and we could tell that the club was making that progression to being a really big player in the division. It seems you've taken that step this year. It must be such a great football club to be around at the moment. Yeah, it is. When you win, it's a great place to be around. Everyone's taken steps in the right directions. The Twos had a great win. Unfortunately, 19s didn't get a game, but they're going pretty well as well. And a few of those boys played up in the Twos and went really well. So there's youth coming through the club, and yeah, it's a really good place to be around. And with the coaching staff as well, not only do you have Chad, but you've got Andy Heyman, who's a past coach of the club and seasoned coach. You've got Luke Galliard as well, another favourite son down at Upper Ferntree Gully. So you've got all this talent not only on the field, but off the field as well, helping the club get to their end goal. Yeah, and we've got Gibbo on this year as well. He's been super. We can't forget Gibbo. Yeah, he's been the backline coach, so he's really doing well down there. And and Gatesy and Andy, it is really good. They gel well, the coaching group, and they're really good at what they do.
Tim, it's Brasher here, mate. One of the things that with Upper Gully, and it's always been very, very true, is the strength of the juniors that come through that under-19 and right through the club. And once again, with some debutants today and in recent times, these young players have really stood up and proven that they are worthy of putting on that Upper Gully jumper for you. Yeah, I mean, every year we seem to have kids coming up through the juniors, and you just look at them and think they'll be playing seniors in no time. Look at Tommy Marr. Yeah. Didn't have a great day today, but he's been really good this year. He's playing in the interleague side last week. Yep. Josh Begley kicked 13 in the first 2 rounds, and he's off playing in Rangers, and he's going really well. So, yeah, there's great juniors coming through every year, and it's really good because it puts pressure on guys, in the Twos to push up for seniors, and they're really good, the juniors. It's been really good. Tim, when you went onto the ground this afternoon, and obviously you always hope to win, where did you think in your own mind that you could exploit whatever weakness Templestowe had?
Obviously they've got a really strong forward line, but we thought our backs are as good, if not better. Yep. The way we rebound the footy, I think that's our strength, absolutely our strength. So, our midfield group, we're getting better every week. Guys like Gricey, he's getting better. He didn't do a great pre-season, but every game he gets into him, he's just getting better and better. Our midfield is pretty strong, and I can't leave the forwards out as well. No. Tate didn't have a great game, but he's been playing really well.
Well, the thing was, even though he might not have had a great game on the scoreboard, just his competitiveness in the forward line to work hard to keep the ball in there was a win for you in itself, though. Yeah, our forward pressure is, every side would be the same. Forward pressure is something that wins your games, and tackles inside 50, we count that really highly. If you can lay tackles inside your forward 50, it's going to really help you to win the game. And just one other thing, Tim, Brenton Toole last year has been playing in the midfield. Has he just come off injury and you're sort of easing him back into the contest by playing him in the forward line? And I gather as the season progresses, you'd be hoping to move him back into that midfield rotation? Yeah, well, he's one. He didn't have a big pre-season, so we eased him in through the reserves, and then ease him in through the forward line, and then eventually he'll get on the ball because he's a class above. Yep. He came third in our best and fairest last year, and we need him later on in the year, that's for sure.
Timmy, how do you go approaching a midfield battle like the one you came up against today? The Mariani boys, Danny Jackson, Danny Pearce. There's some real good names running through that Templestowe midfield. Is it more of a case of, you're going to get the footy anyway, so it's more about getting the footy yourself and making sure that when they do get it, they're under immense amounts of pressure? Yeah, pressure's the thing that you just got to apply pressure to any midfield.
no matter how good they are, and if you do, it makes it easier for the defenders. When the ball's coming in, real high, that gives them a chance to defend and rebound it. So, yeah, I mean, we put a bit of work into them during the week, but at the end of the day, there's, it's our on-ballers against their on-ballers, and we back ourselves. We've got a pretty good on-ball brigade, and, we'll go up against anyone.
Away from home, a close game. How much did the Upper Ferntree Gully faithful have a part to play in what happened in the last term there? Because they got pretty vocal towards the end.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? Yeah, they always stick around and help us get over the line. It's just good to have support. No matter where we go, there's always someone there.
Absolutely. Tim, it's Louie Bulzomi here. I still can't sing the praises high enough of you boys for the result today. It was almost felt like rope-a-dope in a way. I mean, early on, Templestowe seemed to have just that little bit more polish through the corridor and whatnot, but you certainly came out charging in the second half, especially in the last quarter. Did you feel, though, in the first half you were still doing a lot of things right, just probably execution on the rebound was hurting you? Yeah,
execution and decision-making going forward. We addressed that at half-time.
Yep.
And then, obviously the scoring end down at the roadside there. We thought if we could get through the third quarter with, and stay with them, we could definitely have a crack going into the last. Keep playing the structures and doing everything the way we want to do it. And, we came out on top.
Got your ticket for the 5,000K draw tonight, Tim?
Absolutely, I got two.
Very good. Well, all the best in that and all the best for the season, for the remainder of it. No doubt we'll see you out and around the local football over the coming couple of months, and enjoy the night. Top of the table. It doesn't get much better than that.
Good on you, boys. Thanks for that.
Thanks very much to Tim Risley, the skipper, Seymour, of the Upper Ferntree Gully Football Club. And what a star he is.
He was excellent today.
A player who a lot of Brash copped a lot of criticism for a few years ago for not being where he should have maybe been in the top 50, Brash.
Well, we don't have to criticise Brash.
I'm not criticising him. I just thought he'd want to ride a reply.
Well, he's going to get a lot of 3-2-1.
He's just looked out the other side of the caravan.
He's going to feature in a few 3-2-1s this afternoon.
Not humouring it whatsoever.
It's going to feature in a lot of 3-2-1s this afternoon. And Brash, we'll start with yours.
Yep. Apologies to the. Apologies to a few of the Templestowe guys, but unfortunately, I just felt that the guys on the back line that worked their backside off weren't rewarded for the effort they put in, and hence I know they've only gone down by a point, but I've gone this way. I've given one vote to Tim Risley. I thought his run and experience through the midfield and down back and forward in the first half was instrumental. There were many contests that he set up, even though they didn't really score off them. There were opportunities that he'd set up, and I just thought his game, all over game, probably to around the 15 minutes of the last quarter, and he's probably entitled to, go off considering the amount of kilometres he'd covered today. One vote to him, 2 votes to the back line, and we said at the start of the game...
In general or to a player?
No. Keepers, you're good, aren't you? 2 votes to... we said at the start of the day it was going to come down to the back lines, and the back lines didn't let us down, but in Upper Ferntree Gully's back line, I thought Godfrey was sensational. Andrew Godfrey, I thought his game off the half-back flank was sensational. Repelled a lot of forward thrust by Templestowe and used the ball well. But I think a 4-quarter effort for me goes to number 12, Adrian Tapscott, especially in the first quarter when Templestowe were threatening to kicking down to the Porter Street end. He took some very timely marks and set up a lot of play going through the midfield, and he continued that on right throughout the second, third and fourth quarters, and so he gets my 3 votes.
Thank you very much, Brash. Louie Bulzomi?
Some good decisions there, Brash. I'm going to go on the other side of the coin, though, and apologise to a lot of Upper Ferntree Gully players, and can't squeeze them into three lines here. I would have loved to have given votes to the likes of Tapscott and Godfrey as well, who were superb. Had to find, given that it was a 1-point ball game, I had to find a Templestowe player somewhere. And, Daniel Pearce, he had a lot of it. Probably did a lot of good things that probably went unnoticed as well. He got the ball rolling in the first term for Templestowe as well and started to bob up again when the game got close. And it looked like we were starting to get away from the Dockers a bit. And he helped get them back into that 1-point ball game situation. So he gets 1 vote for me. Tim Risley, just superb. I loved how in the second half, the likes of him and Jordan Whiteman said, you know what? To heck with this, we're not going to just sit back and let Templestowe just run through the corridor with easy ball. We're going to go in there, helter-skelter, and get that footy regardless of how it looks. And he was one of the ones who led the charge and was brilliant from go to way today. So he gets 2. But probably a little bit one out of left field today. probably not so much for his disposal efficiency, but for his courage under fire and the fact that it was mind over matter, considering he could have missed 3.5 quarters of footy with his shoulder injury. Ryan Silver gets my 3 votes.
Yep, he was excellent.
Just for the fact that he just kept playing the game regardless of how much pain he was in. And I'll tell you what, I hope he didn't drive here tonight because he was going to need a lift home from someone how banged up his body would be, but he just did not give up at all today.
You're putting your hand up to take him back to the
I
5K
certainly
draw?
would absolutely do, and it would be free flag fall for him. If you're listening, Ryan.
Soupy.
Well, I base my votes on who I think's the best rather than the scoreboard. I thought Upper Gully had the best 3 players. Even if they lost, I would have given them 3-2-1. DeStefano probably the best for Templestowe. The unlucky player was Godfrey. I thought he was outstanding, but in the end I gave my 1 vote to Adrian Tapscott, particularly a couple of really critical marks late in that last quarter. My 2 votes to the captain, Tim Risley. Thought he really kept them in it when the game was tight, particularly in that 3rd quarter. But I went my 3 votes to Ryan Silver as well. I thought his ball use was actually extremely good on his left foot. They took 28 intercept marks as a defence. I reckon he took maybe about 8 of them. He was outstanding. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant performance. Nothing second-rate about his performance. Maybe he should change his name to Ryan Gold for today.
Funny. That's real gold.
Hello.
That's hysterical, real champagne comedy.
Only reason why you put him in his votes.
Yeah, exactly right. Not interested in anything else. My votes look like
why not
this.
Diamond?
Hey, unless they didn't say there's a 5,000k draw, that's 5 million, mate. I'll buy a ticket. I'll buy a ticket in the Upper Gully draw if it's for 5 million.
He's got you there.
The way he played today, he'll get a bronze statue, so he's covered all 3.
He's got you there.
We better hurry up because Dyson might get that.
No, Dyson's happy for us to go as long as we need to this afternoon.
Let's work for him.
Only one.
But he might get that infamous hooter out.
Oh.
Don't say that out loud.
Keep it moving, Seymour.
Ready? Right? Okay, cool. Only one honourable mention for me, and that's for big bad Alex Brown. Templestowe got the chocolates today. I would have snuck him in for a vote. He was sensational.
Tonight, probably.
Absolutely.
He got 6 votes.
Absolutely. I snuck Danny Jackson in for a vote. He was a 4-quarter performer. He was
Definitely
smart. He was measured.
I thought about him too.
The way he used the football was fantastic. So 1 vote to him, 2 votes to Godfrey. Across halfback in that 3rd quarter, when they came out and got the first goal after half-time, he was exceptional.
Yep.
Kept them in the game for long periods of time. And Tim Risley, what a captain's game from him. From the first bounce to this last siren, he was best on ground by a mile today. He was in the clinches. He was tough. He got clearances. He laid tackles. He sent the ball inside 50. He rebounded it from 50, and he took marks around the ground. So the perfect performance from the skipper today.
Yeah, I'm a little bit with Soupy today, and if Templestowe had have been able to get in front by the end of the game, I still had my 3 votes with the Upper Ferntree Gully side. But my 1 apology is to Daniel Jackson from the Templestowe Football Club. I thought he was a super 4-quarter performer today. Really reads the play well. A couple of kicks were a little bit scrambly here and there, but nonetheless he had plenty of them, and he won a lot of that football.
Maybe too
as
quick
well.
for his own good sometimes.
Some more apologies for Upper Ferntree Gully, because as we talked about with Chad, it was an effort from the whole team today, and it was actually really hard to do votes. I thought Fletcher Dodds was instrumental, especially in that first half. He was great. Jordan Whiteman, just the courage that the guy shows, and Chad said that he's one of the first players that he doesn't pick on. I wouldn't be picking on him. He looks pretty feisty.
Positive pick-ons. It's okay.
Ryan Silver, I thought, was great as well. He's got a couple of big mentions today from the broadcast team, and Jared Smith as well, who played his first game today in the seniors, was absolutely super, the big fella there. But 1 vote today I gave to Adrian Tapscott. We've talked about the back line for Upper Ferntree Gully and how solid they were and how solid they have been for this year as well. And they really had to stand up today to give Upper Ferntree Gully an upper hand, or even just a chance to take out the game away from home, which is almost so much tougher. So he gets my 1 vote. Andrew Godfrey, he gets the 2 today. I know he's been mentioned a few times. His game was absolutely super, and I've done it before and I'm doing it again. Tim Risley, he's a superstar player to watch. One of such a good ball user, such a courageous player, such a smart footballer, such a good bloke, a good clubman, and he's everything that Upper Ferntree Gully is about. He gets my 3 votes today.
And he also gets the Tobin Brothers Funeral Celebrating Lives Man of the Match Award. To him go the spoils. A Coles Myer gift card to the value of $50. So congratulations to Tim Risley for our best on ground this afternoon. Time to wrap up here from Porter Street. I'll start with saying a quick goodbye to our chiropedic betting boundary riders, Esmond Aponso. We'll start with you, Davis. Great work by you, taking photos as well this afternoon. So a busy day for you.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun when you multitask, and especially when you multitask in the rain. But no, what a match to come to today.
Absolutely
Good,
fantastic.
A few good snaps today, Davis, was there?
Ended up being over 2,200. That's the raw version. Expect maybe 60.
Raw version.
2,200.
Very nice. Very nice. And Esmond, if we did a 3-2-1 for the media team every Saturday afternoon, Esmond, you would get 3 every single week. You were sensational again today.
Thanks a lot for that. Yeah, I'll take the Tobin Brothers award there.
It's a great Sizzler from
great one, great match to top of the table clash. Great clash to watch.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Esmond. And the stats man over there, thanks to Choose Up in the corner, did well. And the crappy little joke towards the end kind of just lowered your colours a little bit.
We come to expect it.
Exactly
Match of the season today. Good to have our European correspondent back in the media team.
Very nice stuff. And Wayne Brasher did well today. Brasher, our 2015 Clinton Gribus medalist, and back in the fold officially this afternoon.
Thanks.
Stay tuned to EFL Sunday for that kind of insight.
Exactly right. Yes. Well, Wayne Brasher might be the pride of the East. This man is certainly very much the pride of the West. And singing his praises out there, Louie Bulzomi, back in the special comments chair. Some extra special comments from you this afternoon. Fantastic job.
No, thank you very much. And, Brasher's letting his actions do the talking, I reckon, with that response. Good work from you, mate. Good to have you back on board and working with you and all you guys. What a game. You certainly know how to pick them, you guys out here.
Yeah, before I thank you, BWS, we must thank Bruce Prest, Giggles, and the Loft Productions, and Leroy Green did some fantastic work on the camera this afternoon, picking up some great shots of the boundary umpire and, of course, the water boy as well. And tomorrow, BWS, a bumper edition of EFL Sunday.
Oh, because you'll be on.
Exactly right. They'll be coming from everywhere.
No, a really great game out here. We love coming out to Templestowe, but we also love watching Upper Ferntree Gully play, and they're one of the best clubs at looking after the media team when we go out there. It wasn't their home game today, but they brought the game to us the way we wanted to watch it. And so many people out there in the EFL land knew it was a top of the table clash, knew that both sides are undefeated, and still didn't give up a Ferntree Gully a yelp either. So everybody needs to take stock, go back, watch the stream, and watch how impressive this football club are because they have spirit, they have effort, and I'll tell you what, I'm jumping right on the bandwagon as of today.
You got
exactly
room for,
right.
You got room for me?
Stay tuned.
Come on too.
Dyson Baker, we must thank you as well. You've done a great job back in the studios. And you're coming up with the BGC Bayswater Post-Match Show. So stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere. Keep the dial locked right here on 98.1 FM Radio Eastern, the home of the Eastern Football League.